kind of just gets pulled apart from then. You've got the salvos online, you've got the Armageddon, we're both invested, you still hold on to the pit for the next coupler, and this is the scenario that we're talking about just before during that tech pause, right? It's not too unexpected that you would get a pause after a tech scenario, either immediately or the roundup.
This time of the tactical variety, that's what we like to see.
For sure. I cast my mind back to yesterday as well. We'll see in the beginning stages, you know, adjustment periods from Talon. It took them 4 rounds on both maps, on both halves, to figure out what Nongshim were doing before they actually woke up and just knew what they needed to do, the awakening moment to kind of clean house. So if this is sort of the same scenario that they slot themselves in here, maybe we see them switch on, maybe we see a little bit more, you know, fluidity around the map, better rotations, better just plays together, because we're not seeing anything too different from DRX, right? It's like the B site at the moment doesn't exist. We're just going A and A and A.
Yeah, we should just remake Icebox and just remove the B site.
Oh, for sure.
Just A with, you know, it won't be mid anymore. We'll have to call it left side. Because, you know, you can go through the front or you can go around the other way, and that's it. I guess you can leave like kitchen in there.
Let's put the other side in kitchen.
Ooh, gunman. Rare miss in this map. Will not be able to find that instant punish. And it looks like this time DRX, they might be considering the other side of the map, at least for a moment.
Yeah, for a slight moment, there's always the option that they're going to be able to go back there, of course. Not seeing any push-ups through B-Long just yet. You'll see a stealth drone come up from a back position too, generally a little bit more forward. So if DRX are at least keeping an eye on where those utilities are coming from, they know it's a little bit more of a backline angle from Talon here.
Talon now realizing that this is going to be a bit more heavy presence. Stealth drone previously only really spotting out the Killjoy. Doesn't tell them much of anything there, but Mako now lingering forward, calling for the team to rotate around. I'll wait out this stealth drum, or rather this recon dart.
We're not noted just yet, by the way.
Gunman's making noise. He's just running up, but Mako's now found it. Swings the angle, and it's one of those plays that makes you think, are they telling him to run, to bait the angle, to keep the eyes trained there, or is it all just dumb luck? Either way, it's Mako with 2. A sight opened up, and Bane, very far back linger. Here in the spawn, gets the catch on the Jit Boys. Dai gonna try to flush him out with the Guardian, but loses the fight as well.
And what can Killua do in a 1 versus 5 department but run away with his tail between his legs? The hunt could even come onto him now with the credits not looking too stellar for Talon. Get a little bit closer to your ults as Bane, and well, Estrella would pick it up if he goes a-hunting.
It looks like they are gonna have Estrella swinging around looking for something here. Lua tucked in, can hear these footsteps behind in the check. Nearly kills him. Estrella sees the one side, swoops in, and can't quite get it aligned fast enough. Kahlua does keep himself alive, weapon in hand. We'll have to rebuy the armor. But DRX now 6-1.
With Death, Australia will pick up the reckoning too, but the important factor right now for DRX is they are converting after Talon's timeout, so no value, no weight or adjustments. You see in the early stages that you're mentioning, Cruz sending out the recon dart, it's spotting nothing. You've got Primi on the belt line. They're having confidence in him that he's going to be good for 1 or 2, maybe fall back, and then the team can have enough time afforded to get their rotations out, but he's just caught by himself, no trades. DRX selling a good little fake with the util that they put over towards the B site. And again, as I said, you know, the A site is where they were kind of always just going. It's going to be back there for the beginning stages at least right now. Same ambition line to come up from Primi. Got Killua with him, so a bit of a different look this time in terms of the initiator force for Talon.
Might actually get a target this time. Ooh, top of the hat, going to be spotted there, but Bane similarly spotting out Primi in kind. Just be with Bill tucked back, the reckoning now opening up on the site. As some nanos get popped, Hyunmin waiting here on the side of the wall. Primi coming away with 1. Estrella going to be taken down. Up and over the top goes Hyunmin, and Jit Boys immediately snipes him out of the sky. Just the 1 kill answered back here for now, but DRX for the moment very much contained and held at bay as Primi is looking electric here. 3 kills found, Cruz. It does go ahead and eventually put down Mako. Just the 1 casualty. Talon finally find their 2nd round win.
It feels like we were waiting for just some sort of individual performance from Talon, or maybe a proper effort by committee. This time Primi doing the lion's share of it, but the rest of the team to watch his angles as well, to just dance around the site, dance around the reckoning. Big swatting from Jit Boys, by the way, onto the right click attempt of Hyunmin. But a better look this time for Talon, as I mentioned, changing the initiator force for them, but I don't think that's really the big thing that worked out for them. They were just ready for some sort of aggression from DRX with the right numbers.
Crucially, they get rid of 2 ultimates as well.
Yep.
Blades committed alongside that Reckoning, so it ends up being a bit more costly for DRX, despite the fact that they still have a significant lead.
Yeah,
Hit invested over at green here for the moment.
Yeah, it kind of blocks the avenue of DRX, where you're only seeing really Marco go through mid. The rest of the team over through to A, which they're silently approaching.
Change up position here for Primi, top of screen. Swing out,
Wow,
Ring,
nice.
able to go ahead and find that kill from Nest. And once again, pop the try. Buy some time here. Jitboys does have the lockdown, sends it. No Armageddon to go for a clear on this. Plant now being committed to. This means it's going to be probably a bit of a late exit. Not an exit at all. Straya taken down in transit. Hit is out here from the side of Mako. Immediate tap coming through, and Youngman scaling forward. Narrowly is able to get the weapon out in time to take down Jitboy. Swing onto the corner though. Kalua going to be good for that. As Freeing is just fearlessly riding the rope across. He's making all the noise in the world, and now it's getting frantic. Mako spraying. Barely is able to find one, and now needs to clutch it out here from within the pit. High on the approach. Over the top of the bite. Mako playing it so damn cleanly.
Nice, Mako.
Well,
Gets the 3K. You might as well call it a clutch. TRX now 7-2.
I mean, essentially so, right? The value that the pit provides for them and the time being bought when the lockdown is out too. Enough time from the salvos and the nano just already placed on towards the spike. And at that point in time, you're putting everyone into the pit. The decay effect starts to come through for Talon. That's why some loose sprays in that sort of scenario work a treat. And then Marco, very patient, very stone cold. Not faltering in that one. And it's back to normal fashion, you would assume, for DRX right now on this map.
Anytime Talon gain an inch, they lose a mile. 7-2 now is Orb's just going to be cycled back. Australia already over halfway towards that next Reckoning.
Yeah, it is just Die at the moment over towards this B-side too, with now Primi coming over to assist, with walls are up, blocking vision.
Damage onto Hyunmin here.
This would actually be a pretty good call for a fake right now as DRX. You've still got alert coming out from Bane, a lockdown in play available if needed. And the rest of the force actually for Talon are all around this B site.
They tap, they get some util out, and it looks like they want to rotate off of that. Mako though,
Midnya udah
re-clear
dikontrol
into
duluan
mid.
sama
Jitboys,
Jitboys.
he's hearing footsteps. Calling for to get some extra eyes under tube.
Oh, saling tunggu kah?
Poison Orb goes up. Mako now
Mako
not going to be
yang
ready for this
ketangkep.
fourth position.
Oh,
Australia though,
Jitboys juga
instantaneous
ketangkep.
with the response, and now because of this preset
Nice
position,
strike.
Bane able to go ahead and get a deep lockdown, but the Hunter's Fury comes through, so Cruz can clear that out.
Lockdownnya dihancurin.
Space can now be disrespected
Oh,
here by Talon as
Primi-nya
Primi.
nice.
Through the smoke, able to find one.
Dapetin
Bane
Bane.
going to be taken down. A 3v4 here for DRX. They try to close this out with Armageddon coming in over the top here from Kalua, but they will be able to escape the blast zone.
Tapi jarang-jarang loh ini Arbor.
Knives popped, stun into the corner, the drop down. Primi looking for the double, cannot make it happen. It's all on Hyunmin.
Tumben-tumbenan.
Can only find one. Still damage dealt here,
Pick lagi nih
but it's going to be
Arbor
Talon
nih.
coming away with a third round victory.
This time Marco not able to do any damage up the guts
Agak
of
beda
mid,
ini
unfortunately,
DRX,
for
tiba-tiba nge-pick
DRX,
Arbor
and with
nih.
enough ultimates online for
Ada
Talon
apakah
as well.
gerangan?
Get a little bit hot under the collar for the DRX members as they're trying to establish a plant. And I gotta say, for Talon, the rotations for all of the members essentially to just book it towards
Oh,
B,
nice one,
recognize that there's just a disconnection
yeah.
effect happening, and then all be already at the A site when the plant goes down. It does become a bit of a scrap battle to try and get a lot of the trades there, but Talon were already just holding the numbers game.
Bisa
Talon still with
75
an
kah
opportunity to
guys?
rescue this half,
Nampaknya.
now finding a bit more stability.
Posisi
Still these
bawah ya.
half armors
Talon masih
in
bisa
the mix here
ngejar.
for a lot of the players.
But a bit of a swing scenario for DRX too here. They have to be pretty careful with holding advantages, holding weaponry.
The Reckoning goes out. Should just be instant salvos from Kalua to try to go ahead and slow things up. Oh, that is a slippery
Agak
little
panik
stealth
dia
drone.
nampaknya tadi. Pemain Talon.
Nothing else got him to
Si
waste pretty much an
Kilua.
entire mag.
Reckoning out.
Reckoning to come through. Jitboys
Oh,
pushing
Jitboys,
forward,
nice.
playing aggressively. He's able to find one, and Primi comes away with a second.
Primi dapat
Just
lagi.
Kalua traded out. It's a massive trade up here for the side of Talon. Done connecting, but I mean, yeah, that's already the Reckoning expired. Mako
Makonya.
on the hunt, but not
Makonya
suspicious
nggak-
enough. Cruz
nggak
as well
ketahuan.
in a forward spot. It's going to be Bane with a hell of a headshot. as Thai,
Oh,
not able to find
nice
anything else
banget
either.
That
bandnya.
immediately turns things upside down, doesn't it, right now? From a 4 versus 3 into the favor of DRX. You've already got the
Makonya
sight
juga nggak
scoped out a
ke-spot dong
little
tadi,
bit as I
guys.
say that. But Marco gets Primi, and now it's all on to Jit Boys, and we're talking about the economic situation. Do you consider a save here to make sure that everybody has weapons in the next round? I mean, Primi doesn't have blades
Bisakah
available
Jet Boys
to back up his
clutch?
100 credits.
It's a tough call, but it seems like they want Jit Boys to try to go for this. A couple players on the side of DRX similarly don't have that much money behind.
Oh,
We'll be
nice
able to
Jet
find one
Boys.
clear the nano, but
Oh,
Mako
tapi
back
Mako
yellow. Jit Boys just having
bisa
no
trap ya.
clue whatsoever where they had scattered to. The two surviving on the side of DRX, they will get up now 8-3.
And this is where it becomes a little bit more problematic for the Talon fans out there. If anyone's on the superstitious mark, you definitely want them to be finding this next
Ini
one to not
jarang
get
sih
that
ini
9-3
hardcore,
curse
guys.
happening.
Jarang
Or maybe you do want that to be more in the favor of Talon, right? So DRX, we'll see how they're going to navigate this next round after having the flank, I guess maybe expected again, because Talon have been doing that a lot in this map so far. The fact that Bane is just able to mop them both up is quite stellar. Now in the last round of this half, it's back to the drawing board, it's back to the A site to
Oh,
begin.
hampir Primi.
Primi's position going to be confirmed once again. Drops down, eating some damage,
Tangkep
and
kah? Oh,
just getting
enggak.
shot from every which way.
Halo yang baru join.
With the 45, but still breathing, damage can still be dealt here by his hand. But if he dies in a forward spot, that means no one's picking up
Ini
that
masih
Guardian.
game pertama ya guys.
Savo's
yang
out
baru
with
join.
the stealth drone. It's going to dodge that one, but how many
Sepertinya
players is it going to be able to
8-3.
spot out? 2 towards Maze.
Ball's coming through, stun at
Hemat
pipes.
masih ada nggak sih?
DRX just holding
Kalau
the
nggak
brakes.
mengambil
Mako
timeout
trying to see
kah?
what kind of pressure comes out of B here before they really execute onto the side, it would seem.
Lots of utility exchanges at the moment.
Salvo's going through, being able to find
Aduh,
one. And
nice
Kevin
banget,
just crouching
hampir.
in underneath. Jit Boys can take it down now. Primi with 45. He's going to be backed up by Cruz, who only has a
Oh,
stinger. It's
gila,
quickly going to be
Primi.
left on the floor. Instantaneous headshot from Primi. Still on point in that regard, but it's now just Thai, and he
Tinggal
has been
Thai
noted. Mako looking to
versus
keep him held
Mako.
down here in mid, and he
Oh,
cannot find
nice
his way out.
Mako.
Mako wins those, and that's going to be a 9-3 half with DRX well out in front.
And there's not too much ingenuity from DRX, to be
Nah,
honest
ini
with you as well,
DRX
right? It's just
itu
kind of readable plays from an
mereka
outside
senang main
view.
dua
Start off
controller.
with a bit of this utility at A, see what you can bait out
Yang
from
pasti
Talon.
Mako itu
Maybe you've got a little
controller
lurk
yang
happening from
utamanya.
Marco up through mid or over through
Terus
the
ada
B
satu
side of
lagi.
things, where we see
Dan
majority of the
biasanya
time
si
Talon
Mako ini tuh
investing
nge-split
either 1 or 2
sendiri, guys,
players in
kayak
Thai and
tadi.
Killer over there, a
Nah,
small exchange with
dia
Cruz
buat
here and there,
dapetin
but there's no
dari
real
info di
massive
side lain.
adaptations, no massive A pushes, A crunches that they're trying to get
Habis
out with,
itu kalau emang
getting maybe a special
teman-temannya stuck
delivery and getting Primi on the line, getting
di
for some
site yang mau mereka
recons
tuju
as
ya
well,
mereka
right? So it
bakal
felt
ini
honestly a bit flat
bakal
from
rotate aja
Talon
ke
time and
site
time
yang
again, where
udah ada si
DRX
Makonya.
aren't really
Jadi
changing
kalau
things up too
teman-temannya
much.
bisa masuk,
Hey,
ya udah
it's
Makonya
one of our
bakal
biggest fans. She's here most of the
lurking,
days.
flanking, nyari musuh,
Going for it by cosplaying
tinggal
at Pai Pai
tangkep
instead of Bane at cosplaying
musuh-musuh yang
as
ini
Bane.
aja, yang rotate, yang
I
ketinggalan,
mean, sure,
yang
I
mau
don't know.
Yeah,
yang mau
I was gonna say it's
flanking
okay.
juga, yang mau
That is
lurking
Thai
juga,
that
jadi si
ripped.
Mako ini udah lebih siap
That's the big
posisinya.
question.
guess we'll never know.
We need to get the thing that we're missing here is the voting count to see how many votes it's got
Yeah,
between the two things.
yeah.
Tapi Talon
9-3 though,
nggak
man.
ngambil
Like,
time out loh
this
kayaknya,
is
guys.
a little bit of a problematic spot for Talon if they
Walaupun
can't get out
ketinggalan
on their
jauh
pistol
juga ya.
round as well,
Oh, for
right?
sure.
Like, it's their map pick, you're going into Fracture next, which, I mean, that's still rocky
Mereka masih-
anyways. But you definitely want
masih
to come away
gigih
with your
dengan
own map pick
pendirian
when
mereka.
you had it open, you've gone in with the choice, and you're expecting some sort of confidence on your own defensive side, some plans on your attacking side, so we'll see if that's going to
Nah ini
at least
satu
come out here in the
guys,
pistol round. Everybody
kekurangan
looking
dari
to go towards this
Viper
B
ya.
site nice and early from Talon. Everybody investing with an
Jadi dia
upgraded
tuh
pistol
kalau udah
as well.
ngeluarin wall atau
Just a full send,
bola-bolanya
steady
itu
push forward
ya
here from
udah nggak
Talon.
bisa diambil lagi guys. Beda sama
Recon sent out.
Harbor.
Mako
Kalau Harbor
caught
itu
on
kan
timing. Turns around, Clue it right there. Says
si
hello.
wall
Takes
panjang
him
itu
down.
bisa
I
di-charge
thought it was
lagi
a straight
guys.
bullet. It was a straight salvo. His
Jadi
Primi
bisa
will
lebih
fall.
fleksibel sih menurut
Frank
aku
really want to
kelebihan
find
Harbor
one, but
itu.
Strand just getting absolutely
Tapi entah
melted
kenapa
out through
Harbornya
the
jarang
walls, and this is
dipakai
the thing when you got two Vipers and then you get a Harbor into the mix
karena
as well.
jangkauan
You can't see a damn thing.
wallnya
Body
sih
still
guys
hitting the
nggak
floor though,
sepanjang
and it will be
Viper.
Talon as
Kalau
Ty
Viper
comes
kan
away
lebih
with 3
panjang
kills. Talon will
dibandingkan
go ahead,
Harbor
tie it up in
jangkauan wallnya.
pistols.
I mean, I'm talking about a scrappy second map. Let's just bring it back to
Buat
what we've got in front of our eyes right
fleksibilitas
now.
sebenarnya
A
lebih
scrappy
fleksibel
pistol rounds are coming through where there's just
karena dia bisa
wall-on-wall
dibelok-belokin
action and
juga
everyone's
kayak
just
wall
trying to
Phoenix
shoot through it
Harbor
and deny
sebenarnya
all
sih
action.
wall.
There's
Tapi
quite
karena
hot potato in
pendek
between maybe 3
dan
members
jangkauannya
of the
pendek
Talon
jadi
side.
jarang
But
dipakai.
at least they do manage to navigate their shots a little bit better towards the end
Gitu,
to finish it off
guys.
after the awkward one that we're seeing on the other receiving end of Jit Boys one there. So pistol round
Dia kalau
collected
nice
from
banget sih
Talon.
tadi.
Not going to see too much investment here for DRX.
Ty
You'll play it
bisa
for what it is,
dapetin
just
3
the
kill,
pistols. Get your guns in the next
3 atau
round.
4 gitu tadi lupa.
Really getting that pit online as well quickly here for Ty could be very good
Hyunminnya
for
gak
both
ke
plants.
Oh nice
Element
banget Hyunmin.
over the top, able to find one. Classic just puts down Jit Boys.
Langsung mundur Hyunminnya guys.
Not able to retrieve any upgrades though if you consider the pistol the upgrade there. As V-Site going to be the lean now for Talon.
Still though, unless they start committing to the plant, Cruz is getting into a deeper position.
Dan
Cap has been
dia
heard, white
Harbor tuh nggak ada
delays. Everyone from DRX here, and now
nggak
the
ada
call.
Viper
Go ahead and
speed
swing back across towards the A
kayak
site has been sounded here
Viper
from the side of
guys.
Talon.
Jadi kalau ngedelay
Yeah,
tuh ya
Cruz
udah
just doing what
pure
Bame was trying
ngedelay
to do on the
pakai
attacking side as well. Play the lurk
wall,
roll,
pakai
finds the
smoke
timing,
gitu-gitu
see
doang
how
jadi
far
gak bisa
forward you want to
ngedamage.
go
Itu
by
pun
yourself. I mean,
cuma
very
ngasih
different situation up
slow
against
effect dan
pistols
slow
as
effectnya
opposed
tuh
to
gak lama,
rifles. So he's
cuma
just going to slot
sebentar.
himself in nice and deep.
He's got himself in a fantastic spot as well here on the rafter with that stinger. Anybody pushing forward towards the screen side,
Ke spot kah?
likely to
ke
fall, but
spot.
looks like Cruz not
Infonya
wanting
masuk
to
kah?
potentially overgreed here on his position, backs away. There's a spot out on the one, Straya taken down.
Just weaponry retainment here for Talon.
Angkonya ke mid.
Well, Bane does have that Sheriff, finds Kahlua. Shot to the side of the head. Stun sent, not connecting. Primi still here, top of 410, now going to be spotted. Gunman playing off the back of that, and oh boy, now suddenly we have to pump the brakes. Ty looking for
Ty.
a third, finds it here in the round, but now getting overwhelmed, and Cruz, last one standing.
Posisinya nggak enak tadi
Still some
gitu.
time here, draws out with the Ghost
Kayaknya.
Spring, picks up the Phantom, and TRX pull off the
Kenapa?
Thrifty.
Cruznya nggak pakai
Denying
shock dart
The
ya guys.
anti-eco, and this is a Shakespearean tragedy.
It's a
Tadi
blunder.
kayaknya
That's what it
Cruznya
is,
itu
mate. That is a round that should not go DRX's
nggak
way. I
tahu
mean, the
nyari
first shot that
musuh
comes out
lagi yang
from
di
them, you're
belakang, nggak tahu
catching,
dia mau
you know, against the pistols
line
of Jit Boys,
up,
right? But the
tapi
rest
nggak
of them, I
jadi,
mean, you're looking at a
keburu.
scenario where you've got a plant down,
Kalau
you've got some
teman-temannya
post-plant
mati,
utility,
kayaknya dia
the
mau line
salvos
up
and the
tadi.
shock darts,
Nggak
but
keburu,
playing these
mungkin.
forward lines, having some belated crossfires, I personally thought Thai was going to be able to just triple down there and maybe bring something back towards
Akhirnya
Talon
DRX
and maybe win
Thrifty
out the
ya.
round, but no.
Yang
DRX
dimana
are out
Thrifty
shooting today.
itu kalau kita menang round tapi senjatanya
Wherefore
lebih
art
minim
thou
daripada
throwing?
musuh itu Thrifty guys.
Oh boy.
See what Jit Boys might be able to do here with the Guardian. Apart from that, just the pistols for the force of Talon here, who again creeping up towards this A side of things. Going to start to scope out the situation. Nothing off the stealth drone.
Masih hold aja dari DRX-nya.
I mean, we've seen stranger things. You've got two sheriffs here for the side of Talon. We could just get those Thrifties into Thrifties, the old Gen G special.
Waiting for the high tide to fall on down.
Oh
Australia going
nice,
to start things
gila
off.
pas
Close angle,
Kayak
multiplayer spotted.
langsung,
What is that?
Estrella dapet,
Ridiculous.
Oh,
Yuni
that
langsung
is
dapat dua,
insane as.
Estrella
So is
dapetin
it
lagi.
okay?
Ah, udah, Primi.
We've gone from Shakespeare to
Say goodbye
absurdity.
to Primi. Oh,
Primi
nice.
will be
Primi
able
bisa
to go ahead
dapetin
and find one as
dapetin
Hyunmin falls,
Hyunmin.
but
Lumayan
Good God.
buang mereka, buang senjata juga.
Just seen more kills through walls without any vision on your opponents in these last few rounds than we have with actual vision.
30 seconds left.
Priminya nyala
up
guys.
and over the top, the spot onto Estrella, but Estrella with the better weapon.
Tapi
3K here for him, one away from that reckoning to be online. As DRX, one away from having map point.
Yeah, you got to see Talon start to activate in a situation like this as well, right? If they drop that, well, it's going to be 8 map
Oh,
points
gila, itu
coming in
nice
towards
sih.
this map of their own
Bisa lagi.
choosing, and maybe we have a scenario where they have to just
Terus
be like
Hyunmin juga
PRX
bisa
of
dapetin
yesterday,
dua.
where you wipe off map 1, you ignore it, and you look for a bit of a reverse sweep affair. Starting to get a lot closer to these ultimates as well for Talon at the moment with Tire 1 off the Viper's pit. Meanwhile, on the flip side, no ultimates online, but an operator out for Hyunmin. quickly over towards the A side of the map.
Surprisingly, first op that we've had of this map.
Yep.
Talon just not able to really ever get into a position to comfortably bring one in when they were on the defense.
Mako udah ready.
We'll see how comfortable they're going to be able to get in towards this B
Langsung
side, not the
first
door
speed
of
buat delay.
DRX, if at all.
Ya,
No one moving too far forward on the
Buy
map.
time-nya
Again, that
lumayan,
operator
guys.
just poised over at A, and you've got Belt being looked after by freeing 2, where Talon,
mereka mundur lagi kan.
without proceeding too hard towards the B site, do you put a little bit more stock
Di
in what
A
Jit Boys is going to be
side-nya
able to
ada free.
sniff out towards A, or
Tapi
still
midnya
really
nggak
just try to
dikontrol
bully
guys
this B area?
sama
Stress
Talon nih.
spotting out plenty there. Sets up the wall,
Sebenarnya
allows him to
lumayan
escape
bisa
from back
main.
yellow, rotates around,
Kalau
sets up
bisa
the other
dapetin
wall.
midnya ini Talon.
always one of the valuable things of having the double wall comp on this map. Lots of stall ability, but there goes
malah.
Jit Boys.
Okay,
Oh nice,
was
Jit
able to
Boys
find
bisa
Bane
dapetin
there
Bane.
under tube. Just outside kitchen.
Nah, Jit Boys sama
Oh, the
Big
reveal.
kayaknya
feel
mulai
it, but
masuk
it's
mid
stripped.
nih.
This man
Kan?
is Daredevil. If you can't see it, you're dead. Either way, salvos are there in reply.
Langsung to
Comes away with
Fitri.
that one. The op just a hair
Yeah,
too late to try to
Mako
find a
sama
catch, and now it's going to be Gunman in a bit of a rough position.
Oh, they're not looking for Marco,
Oh,
not
Makonya
really.
nggak ke spot.
Oh, they turn
Kalau
back,
ke
but
spot,
still able to find
tapi
one.
Makonya bisa
22 HP
dapetin.
remaining. Mako
Gila,
repeats it,
nice
finds the
banget si
second,
Mako
and
tuh
Gunman swaps over
defense-nya.
to the Phantom, cleans up die, and that is DRX now at 12-4.
And you would assume that that might be the nail in the coffin for this map as well. That was the
Bantai-bantai
real big
semua
buyout
kalau
for
guys nih.
Talon. No, they
Lawan
will still
bracket
manage
ini.
to come out with a buy in this round that they've mainly been presented with in this map. Light shields behind rifles. Got a couple of ults to come in towards this at the next round, you'd assume as well, with one already being picked up. But I gotta say, the trade game when DRX is shooting in that one, then falling to the salvos as Estrella, Marco
Ini
low
nice banget
HP.
sih tadi Mako
finds the double.
dapetin 2 di side-nya.
12-4. See what we'll have presented to us by Talon in this one.
Off to force off the angle. And then tucking back. Drone spots and confirms. Dash at the ready. Quick little reposition here. Gets himself situated more towards back sight. Rope is heard. Estrella trying to play close. Ooh, shoulder to shoulder. But Jit Boys gets the better of it. Gets the
Wah.
jump there. But Knight is going to be grounded
Dia
into a fight.
mati
Pace
sama-
as is Kalua. How is Bane coming
Sama
away with
Molly.
2 kills on Nanos?
Ridiculous.
Killjoy sama Nano Swarm.
Spike planted.
Oh iya
Gunman just gets out onto the wider angle. Jit Boys shut down. Knives now
Bane-nya gak ke
pulled
spot.
as he's just bounding around the site. He's got
Wah,
Bane here,
Bane-nya
right
gak
there
ke
with him.
spot guys.
Gets a 3K.
Ya
And
udah,
this is
ini
now
sudah
an
tidak bisa
unwinnable
apa-apa.
position. Everything in the kitchen sink thrown at him. 13-4. DRX looking very well
Congrats.
prepared here for Talon's pick of
Campaign
Icebox.
buat
Yeah, I mean, we saw a
Talon
little bit of a
di
disrespect before the map started, but DRX can answer back
Map
with that, right?
pertama.
13-4, that's a pretty disrespectful scoreline. We don't care what you're trying to shake up
Oke guys,
in
sambil
our
makan,
mental
guys,
state before
sambil
this one.
break,
We're just
kita
going
sambil
to
makan.
belittle you into the ground in the server itself,
Kalian
where it
juga
really
jangan lupa
matters
makan,
in an
guys.
elimination game. If you're Talon and you're not stepping up too hard in the kill
Tapi
department and
ini
the strat
DRX
department,
emang,
you're not able to answer what DRX are
eh,
copying and
kayaknya
pasting
dari
round
dulu
after
tuh
round.
kuncinya DRX
I
tuh
mean,
Mako ya guys.
Why go to Icebox?
Mako
Hard
tuh
to say.
bener-bener
Granted, we
angkornya
have
banget.
been seeing more and more these days. The
Dia
over
selalu-
preparation for your opponent's picks, the under preparation
Selalu
for your
bisa
own. A lot
dapetin
of map
flankingnya,
trading in that regard
lurkingnya,
across series
terus
between
controlling
I'd
mapnya
say, pretty
juga.
much all
Dia
of the
dapet
regions.
Mako
Yep.
itu guys
This is
dari
not
dulu.
over until it is over, and Fracture is certainly a map where Talon can kick into gear, find their footing, and run this back.
Kalau dari dulu,
But DRX, they're going to be
kalau
feeling
DRX
very
itu
good about this opening map win.
For sure,
Mako
I'm
itu
very
cara
interested to see if
mainnya
we're going to
mirip
still
sama
get some
main
waylay
Pit,
action
guys.
come into Fracture
Sama-sama
for Talon
suka-
next as well, or if they're
suka
going to go
lurking.
into a bit of a different look on it, because we
Dia
haven't
nyari,
seen, again, too much difference from DRX when it
ngebuka-
does come to that map.
ngebuka vision
Some
mapnya.
slight shake-ups on the agents, but I mean, they've
Terus
had
tangkap
the
satu-satu.
very, very close win
Nah.
against RRQ, and before that,
Itu
it's 4
guys,
games in a row
bisa.
against T1.
Ya
So,
mirip lah sama
what
main
differences are
Pit
they looking to
cara
come
main
out with
gitu,
there?
guys, kalau
Yeah, they
PRX.
could change. I mean, they made the pivot here on the Icebox composition, bringing that Harbor in as well. So DRX are going to be willing to make those minor adjustments where needed. They feel like it's going to get them the advantages. It did here for sure on Icebox, but we'll go ahead and send it back over to the analyst to break down all the action from map 1.
DRX take the first map of the series on Icebox, and what a way to start. As the casters mentioned, saw a little bit of disrespect happening on the stage, but DRX was definitely not flustered of anything, perhaps a little bit invigorated by it.
Entirely unfazed. A very, very dominant first map from DRX. We saw Hyunmin, of course, leading the charge. Even on first bloods, though, it wasn't overly dominant. I think it's when that round broke down in the mid-round, and we see Mako start getting on these lurks, things like that. I just think Talon didn't have the answers.
Yeah, I think compositionally it was very hard for them to play into the Harbor comp that DRX was putting together here. They were really quite reliant on Primi getting opening duels one, which, to be fair, you can see it in the first kill department. He's done a pretty good job there. Other than that, they really had to rely on a lot of drone info. I felt like they had no way to kind of tackle the Harbor comp head on, and instead maybe they needed to adapt a little bit more on the fly and go for some more flanks and things like that. Those were some of their more successful rounds, of which unfortunately there was not many. Do have to touch on the fact that individually you're just looking at this for DRX, it's bigger, faster, stronger. You've got, I mean, I was going to say a big three instead of a big free of freeing Hyunmin and Mako, but Bane really pulling his weight on the Senti role, and every time he's been on a Sentinel, he's pleasantly surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really nice to see. I mean, I feel like we spoke before, but there's been a little bit of role instability, right, with the changes that DRX have had to go through.
Yeah.
But so nice seeing freeing back on the Teo, and I do think Bane is actually fitting this the Sentinel position quite well. You know, Mako on the controller, Sentinel hybrid that is Viper, he once again looked electric.
Maybe Bane got a little bit of an upgrade while he was getting his surgery.
Right.
You're saying he's got a robotic appendix?
Yeah.
So we haven't got like the vibrators in the shoes or elsewhere these days. We're installing them during surgery, apparently.
That makes sense.
Okay, well, we did see some awesome I don't even know what that is, so I'm going to move on.
It's a reference to chess, okay? Look, get your head out of the gutter.
I don't know what that is. Okay, it's out of the gutter, and now we're going to talk about Harbor, because we saw some cool plays.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Harbor comp brought in here by DRX, which was previously actually played by Talon the last time that they played Icebox, and you can see Primi trying to disrupt them as they take this A control. These A walls are very common when you're running the default here on the attacking side.
Yeah, it's all about sectioning off the map, right? You're able to use this wall to cut off all of this A lobby space
by the way,
and make it hard to fight through. But equally, if you're Talon, you don't just want to give them that space for free. But if you want to come forward like this, it's hard. You're having to take isolated fights. I think DRX really understood this comp, and I equally feel like Talon have no hard flashes. Breaking through these walls becomes very difficult, right?
Absolutely, and you could see Primi's trying to do his best. He's trying to get active, trying to disrupt them with the dart, as well as look for info in the mid-round, like I said, with the drone. But overall, it just was not that effective of approach, unfortunately, for Talon. And I think this DRX comp has done very well for them. It was great at denying info. You can see them run the B default instead this time with a cascade up B long. But as you're seeing from a lot of teams, Morgan, they're loving hitting the A side. B is a bit of an afterthought most of the time.
B barely exists in this map. We all know it. This is a one-sided map. But I do think that's why Harbor is good, right? He does a great job. You get all of that A lobby control, and then you can use the rest of your util to really burst onto the side. And with this composition, we saw just how great their post plants were. 9 out of 10 post plants won, but that's so easy when you have Viper, Teo, Killjoy so strong in that post plant.
Absolutely, and the other team has to push through a high tide, and then you're cycling up the Viper wall on that B side of the map most of the time. It's very difficult to retake into a lot of the time. So Harbor, a fantastic pick, and definitely the kind of comp, we talk about a lot of teams having multiple comps, it's definitely the kind of comp that you should mix in, because it's not a huge change to go from KO into a Harbor. Stylistically, it's huge, but one agent difference, and 4 of your players play the exact same agents, and your attacking side looks completely different, but in terms of player comfortability on an agent, it's not a huge change that you could implement into your team.
Earlier today, we touched upon Hyunmin and Primi because they're always consistently fragging, but the way these teams utilize their entry duels is a little bit different.
Yeah, they have to definitely be different. I do think they serve kind of different roles in the team, right? You know, Primi gets flack, right? Primi gets a lot of hate for being a little bit of a beta from time to time.
I mean,
but I do think he's growing in his role.
I mean, absolutely. I've highlighted a couple of times. Kickoff, he did not take that many opening duels because he wasn't on the duelist a lot of the time. In through stage 1, he's taken more than double the amount of opening kills and opening duels. You can see he's trying to consistently play with confidence and take space over on the side of Talon. For Hyunmin, though, you do see him be very consistent as well. He was getting active, didn't really need to do much hopping on the defense, which is what is usually a bit of a standout for me on a jet Jet player, but the way that you're entering the safety of the Cloudburst for the Jet, very, very good on this map.
Yeah, and I think one thing we saw from both of them is on that defensive side, you usually use the verticality of Jet to go fight forward on A, especially against this Harbor. That's why Jet's such a solid pick. But our MVP has to go to Mako. Once again, entirely unleashed now he's not on this IGL. So many big milty kills, and I love him on this
Milty kills. Love the milty kills.
Milty kills?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the milty kills are great.
Yeah, the milty kills.
It goes with, what do you call them, vibrating shoes?
Nah, kalian
Vibrating
2-0
shoes,
kan nih
yeah,
guys.
and other things. Marco, though,
PRX
I mean,
lawan
he's
Talon.
absolutely
Apakah
come
2-1,
alive.
2?
You love to see it. He is back in beast mode for DRX, and I mean, it's just such an iconic thing. You saw one of those iconic clutches inside of the pit on Icebox A site. He is famous for completing some big plays in that position.
Yeah.
And that's why I put him on my team.
You didn't put him on your team.
No, I thought I did.
That
I thought I
is
did, but I
very
didn't.
silly.
He's going to get
Mako.
-5 by Jing instead.
Yep.
Yes, Mako is a must.
Yeah.
He is an absolute must. And yeah, again, really glad to see him, you know, playing like the Mako that we know and love and just fragging out his mind. Just such a smart player. every step of the
Positionally
way.
so good. Like, I don't even think his mechanics are that amazing. Like, he's positionally fantastic. He is a certified phantom abuser. It inspires me at the age of 30 that I might be able to frag.
When you're watching Mako next watch how many kills he gets because the enemies aren't even looking at him.
Yes.
Or the kills he gets through the smoke. This is a positional player. He's a phantom plus mouse 1 guy. You know, that's what he does. But he gets those kills because he's so smart.
Well, how do you think he's going to do in Fracture? Because that's the next destination for these two teams.
Yeah, he's had fantastic games on Fracture lately. He has been great on the Brimstone. DRX, I mean, this is a map that they have played quite a lot of. They got a lot of quality reps on it, and picking it into Talon is a statement. Talon has had so much success with this Waylay comp this stage. Granted, they haven't necessarily played the best opposition. They've played Secret and non.
Talon lebih unggul ya guys.
The best.
Wah.
The best.
Wait guys. Kok hilang ya? Bentar guys.
The best opposition. They played Secret and Nongshim, if I remember correctly, and they stomped both of them with this Waylay comp. DRX is saying, we don't care how successful you are with this Waylay comp. We are going to pick Fracture into you, and we are going to destroy you.
So for me personally, I would like to see Primi stay with that Waylay. I thought that was the best use. We saw him, we saw him be able to dive into these sites, clear a lot of space, and then refract back to his team, and I felt like he understood how to use the agent very well. The only thing I'm worried about is if they don't change, they played in a very similar way across both of those stomping games, right? So are DRX games, right? So are DRX going to have an answer to this? Are they going to be able to catch him if he overextends too far without refracting back in time?
I think DRX has already shown a certain level of prep, even on the Icebox. Switching over to the Harbor, I think they did not expect Talon to play flashes on Icebox, and that's worked out beautifully for them. So 100% picking Fracture into Talon here, knowing that they played the Waylay comp. This is prep coming in for DRX.
But also, I have to say, Talon love being terrible in map 1. They've done this a lot. They lose map 1 so many times and end up sweeping out the series. So Talon fans, don't be too disheartened, and I do think Fracture is still a good map for them. So
It is.
I got to say the reverse sweep's still on the cards for me. I'm not doubting just yet.
Okay, I do want to ask you guys a bit more, but we don't really see Waylay anymore. It's been dumped by most of the teams. This is one of the few teams that makes Waylay work, that makes Waylay look good, the way Primi works with the rest of the squad here.
Yep, he's back on it. So they are going to play that Waylay comp. Talon, honestly, Primi playing the Waylay has been some of the most convincing Waylay play I've seen in VCT, and the way that Talon play it on this map is fantastic, particularly their attacking sides. They've got a lot of set executes and set ideas that work an absolute treat, but they've had to show a lot of those already in the group stage, so we'll see how DRX tries to break that down and deal with that, because you saw DRX on their defense be very good at disrupting the other team with the Breach Teo Brim.
Yeah, they're very fast, DRX. Hyunmin on that Neon. DRX not really making any changes either. This is the comp that we saw from them previously. Bane on that Cypher is the one to watch. He's going to be the one who needs to shut down Primi.
Well, I think we're getting ready to get started.
We are.
Yeah, something a little bit different on the capture.
Oh, absolutely. Look, we've taken Paper Thin. He's turned 40. We've taken him out the back. See you later, and we've replaced him with someone younger. So we'll throw it over to Achilles, Kilios, and Komodo.
Thank you for doubling back to get that correct. But yeah, you're right. Paper Thin Glue Factory. It's over. Mono, my new duo. As we will go into map number 2 for anybody who's wondering where the bald man is. He's in Shanghai. He's doing another esport.
He's betrayed us.
We didn't know that those existed.
Sinyalnya agak-
No, I thought it was just League of Legends and
Nampaknya
this one. But,
sinyalnya lagi
Yeah, which
agak
somehow made its way
down
into
nih,
this
guys.
broadcast in the
Sinyal
halftime
waktunya.
shenanigans.
but
But
he's not doing League. He doesn't have the brain for it. But he barely has the brain for this one. Anyway, we'll stop talking about Paper Thin and we'll start talking about the game. As DRX looking for a bit of a trap play here on the south side. Reinforcements being called over as it's just going to be a tuck behind the box. And Streya's going to be taken down.
Jadi kayaknya
Trap
di
sprung
kalian
right
bakal
back
ada
over onto
turun sih, guys.
DRX. Nice little setup there. Good counteraction. Talon find the opening kill.
gotta remember though, if you want to contest with DRX on this B side, it is always Bane's territory. Keep an eye on what he's going to be doing around tower specifically. See if that's going to come into effect as well. But with the player advantage and Australia going down, so with the idea of coming back towards this A site, and that if it is the right read here for DRX, they will have 3 members that can defend.
Swinging off the relay bolt. Just tiny damage there on a cruise. Freeing. Flies to it, swings over the door. Finds one. Hyunmin coming away with a second.
Oh, gila, nice
Eventually can
banget.
take it down. Drop. Going to be noted and heard here. And Mako catching a glimpse of the gun. He's able to find the head of Jit Boys.
Yeah, there was
Player advantage now in a big way.
There was a trap wire up at the dish as well, so they did know someone was coming from there.
Mako now just going to be sat here. Backside underneath. Safe behind the wall. Trying to cut across in towards spawn. Looks like the answer is yes, but Bane is there and he's noted it as well. And now they're flushed back in. The time is just not going to be there. 12 seconds remaining. Instant headshot found.
Oh,
Down to the last 7. Freeing closest member. Now just goes for the delay, and it is over. Plant cannot be found. Freeing will lose his life. Ty will come away with another 3K here in a pistol. Get the plant for a little bit of extra cash, but DRX will go ahead and take this opening round for themselves.
Yeah, a bit of a unfortunate one for Talon though, right? When you consider they got the opening kill, and then it's the hold in main from Ultimate Hyunmin as well as Freeing, trying to just dance around and get the kills. But good, just level-headedness from DRX. The right read to come back towards this A site, the right utility placed as well at the right time, getting all the info off the trapwire drop as I mentioned, great timing on the salvos to deny things. Might have to see Talon be a little bit more decisive with time. Of course, it was a bit of a blunder over on Icebox as well when things get quite low. Sometimes courtesy of DRX, but secondary round here, just scoping things out. Bring on the drone, going to be noting the Jit Boys lurk is going to be.
Scaling forward, looking for that cipher here.
well, Jit Boys
Shots
sendiri
out,
lawan
Cruz
Freeing.
able to avoid getting tapped is Freeing, almost getting timing,
Hampir
but now
aja.
Jit Boys need to backpedal frantically. And
Oke, Jit Boys
damage in,
ketangkep.
but cannot find much more than that. Cam going to be spotting out multiple players. Bane just going to be sat here in tower as he often is. This is his spot.
Halo yang baru
There's
join.
Cruz not ready for anybody to be there on the plat itself.
5 versus 3 angle for
Enjoy,
DRX.
guys.
Just try and hold what you can, come in towards the next round at the moment. Maybe deny a plant if possible as well.
Wah,
As Talent will pick up an ulti orb on
hanya
die. He
masuk
will be
tapi
1 away,
Freeing
so with death,
masih
an orbital
masih
striking the
stay
bonus.
kah?
Death or plant, we'll see which one it's going to be, but DRX now very much understanding where they're going to be looking to go.
Wah,
As it's going to be a quick little
Timingnya
rewind
mantap
there from Premi.
banget
Snaps
tuh.
back over towards that drop position. Freeing running out of bullets will end up falling. It's going to be the one casualty here as the Spectre will get scooped up. And DRX start things off 2-0.
oh wait guys, maaf
And
guys.
this is the situation for Talon as well,
Yeah,
right? Coming in
benar.
towards this map. Maybe an expected pick to come through from DRX, but maybe not with the scrappy affair that we've seen from them so far in the
tadi
group stage and the course of
Freeing
their
bisa
play
nangkep
this
guys,
year.
bisa nangkep
For
Jit
this map,
Boysnya
a
itu.
lot of very close ones going, you know, 13-11, some overtimes. It's not been the most confident map for them. But for Talent, you know, the installments that we've seen with the Waylay at least, some pretty decisive
yang baru
results.
join.
Despite Primi, you know, not having the greatest showing in one
Guys,
of them.
kalian dukung
but still getting
Talon
the
atau
job
dukung
done.
DRX guys?
Gunman is just rushing forward here. They'll turn the check onto the opposite side. Salvos set and ready for Cruz. But here comes the
Ah,
push.
It's
just stuck on the
ketahuan
iPad.
terusnya.
Does get taken down, and DRX likely going to be more than satisfied with that pick. They go backpedaling, riding the rope now. Is Jit Boys. Bane with that stinger. Go ahead and
Mereka
find a
tangkap
kill.
satu-satu
We're pushing
nih
up in towards A main
dari
though, able to
Talon
find
nih,
Estrella
guys.
here in Halls. A real solid opening they have for the moment, freeing just where it goes to try to hold the door. Does get the smoke off and looks to reposition. Oh,
Wah,
dash
langsung.
forward. Is a little jump back, but still able to trade for another. Kahlua now on the floor of the
Di-delay
volley
lagi.
here, just in front of their feet.
Pakai Molly Brimstone.
Hyunmin,
He's got Mako from drop as well.
Hyunmin slipped into the right spot though.
And he absolutely has. Primi still doing well to find the kill. Smoke dissipating, puts some damage down, but exchanged back.
Mako, Primi.
Now arriving with a weapon upgrade. Primi tapping, just trying to see if he can suss out where the Cypher is going to be coming from.
Masih hot kah, Primi?
It's going to be even more damage taken.
Oh,
Well, Bane will find it. Second one for him.
ketangkep juga
And a
Primi-nya,
bonus
guys.
converted. 3-0 start here for DRX.
I love the push through from DRX at the trade position as well. We
Apakah
saw
akan
a
bantai-bantai
very
lagi
nice
dia tadi,
ace from Buzz
DRX?
yesterday on the Neon, just really dipping and diving around with the lightning fingers as well. So yeah, I do always like to see a great little Neon play to come on out. Talon though in this round not able to bring any stability, not able to get on top of the trades. Again, a lot of great timing of utility components from DRX around the map too. Never going to be able to contend with Bane in tower. Feels like the orbital strike, if you want to try and find him, is going to have to be the investment to remove him from that spot. But in a pistol round such as this for Talon, probably not going to see that utilized
Split
unless
kah,
there's
Talon?
already an advantage or a post-plant scenario potentially.
High already here at the start of the
Oh, yang
round.
di A-nya udah mulai. Wah,
Now
A sama
14.
B-nya udah mulai ke spot. Sama DRX kayaknya, guys.
There's a Mako getting the spot out, swings,
Nah,
and is
Mako
eventually
dapat
able to snap
Primi.
on. So Primi
Udah.
going to get picked up to
ini
pieces.
tinggal B.
Spotted out
Nah,
Lawrence.
kan.
Hey, Mako just coming
Mulai
away
ketangkep
with another.
satu-satu, guys.
And we start off the
Tinggal
round.
Kai seorang
Tag
diri.
down is going to be the last one alive here for Talon as DRX look to go
14
4-0 in
HP,
flawless
dia
fashion.
low, parah.
Hunman just steadily swinging forward.
Ya,
He gets it done for a second. I believe
Aw.
maybe it wasn't going to be a flawless. For a shot
No, but
sailing
they
right over
won.
his head, but is able to go ahead and get the readjust.
And again, like I highlighted a bit earlier, right? 4-0 was the time for Talon that they needed to recognize what's
kalau
happening on
dia
things,
nggak pakai
right? To
timeout
call
loh, guys,
something,
walaupun
call a timeout potentially, and
udah
start to get back in
ketinggalan
the
dia
map.
juga.
Highlighted very
Kenapa ya?
effectively on Ascent yesterday for them. So we'll
Dari
see
map
if that might
pertama,
be ringing true again here.
mereka ketinggalan
Otherwise,
juga, tapi nggak
from what we
pakai
saw on
timeout,
Icebox, I
padahal
mean,
lumayan,
things
guys.
will maybe go one back in
Buat
their way,
ngerusak
and then it
momentum
just
dari
looks
DRX
even
ini
rockier,
sih.
right? So this is the time for
Siapa
them that they
tahu
really
ya.
need to start to achieve some opening duels, achieve some trades at least. Just look a little bit more decisive. But I
Buat
like the
ganggu
adjustment from
momentum
DRX.
DRX-nya juga gitu.
Pushing up towards the north side.
Stealth drone not getting the spot out here. Mako just tucked in behind the boxes. Tripwire spotted and cleared. It's just going to be a backpedal as
Di ulti,
Armageddon does get
nggak akan
sent.
ada
That's
siapa-siapa.
free.
Ultinya juga lihat,
Expecting that there was
Guys.
still going to be some pressure coming through from that arcade side.
seolah-olah
But
itu hanya
you can
mengas.
tell Talon, no one was
Asal
there to receive
ulti.
that damage.
And
Kayak
Marco's just
ulti-
used the incendiary, by the way, as well. So
ulti
that was some more
pasrah
stalling
gitu loh,
power
guys.
that DRX had up their sleeve for
Dari
the tree
cruise-nya
choke
tadi.
point. But now, sub 1 minute will tick on over, and Talon's going to pivot towards this A site. Leaving to see what the two
Balik lagi
members
kah?
around B may be
Ke
able
B?
to trickle on and find.
They-
But yeah,
There's
they've
some attention over here. 3 players now on the rotate.
Oh, tapi B-nya masih
Reinforcing that A
hold.
site here from DRX.
Sama Mako-nya masih hold.
The exec getting ready to come through.
Oh,
As
kena
stun, connecting,
kontas.
Bane just backpedaling, orbital
nggak
strike,
masalah.
trying to flush them back into the
Oh,
spot.
nice
Mako
banget
still gonna get
keduanya
caught.
bisa dapetin
Bane
Mako.
still stunned up now, out
Nice,
into the
keduanya
open.
dapat Bane.
Ends up falling one by one. Talon will pick them apart as Cruz is able to find a little bit more. 3K for
Cruise-nya
him.
lumayan dapat.
As he will now have his
3
own Armageddon
kill ya,
online,
guys.
and Talon will get themselves on the board. You mentioned it, that 0-4 start.
yeah, I
Could be true again.
talked about decisiveness, right? That's something that we need to see from Talon there. It looks like they got a just better
Walaupun
crosshand
tadi
placement in that round,
agak-
at least the orbital strike. Not the
agak
position that
percuma
I
ya
thought that they would
ultinya
do
ya
it, but when you're combining that with
di
a
round
fault line,
sebelumnya.
it's always going to work a treat. You got Selva's behind it as well. I mean, you're pretty much not escaping in that sort of thing. Good confidence from Cruz as well, just marching on forwards. But as you say, most importantly, right, the 4-0 mark. There's one on the board for Talon now. As we see Hyunmin bringing out the operator. Going to see no one home in the position that he is
Oke,
placing
langsung
that out. But at
berlima.
least confirmed in the
Tabrak
map now
langsung
with
kah?
the destruction of the camera.
Stealth drone to hunt.
W Gaming.
Be at least one spot.
Aduh,
And Jet
Jet
Boys
Boys-nya
at
bisa
the ready.
dapetin
Finds
Hyunmin
the headshot.
langsung,
Hyunmin
guys.
knocked out of the park.
Tapi
Well,
belum
the shot,
belum
operator now lost.
belum bisa
Cruz with the
dapetin
Armageddon.
player Talon yang lain dari DRX ya.
Go ahead.
Belum bisa dapetin player Talon.
Hoping sure that they can close out this round. Spot on the one though.
Nice
Will still
swing,
fall, freeing,
Threat.
getting
Ya,
that hit.
lumayan
The
lah ya.
swing in, and Klua can't quite
Aduh,
steady the
itu.
aim. Straight up there with covering fire, able to
Jangan
find
lagi.
it, but great distraction play. The Waylay goes diving forward, and that allows them to find the punish.
Nyawa kok semambing.
Ship Boys, however, trying to hold things down on that arcade
kill.
side, ends up falling to the wayside. Kill found, Spike now dropped.
Oh, susah
in
sih
Marco's
guys
grasp.
dapetin
Yeah, but
spike-nya.
difficult situation of picking that one up from as well.
Posisinya bener-bener di depan
Salvos
Marco
just-
banget
I
tuh.
mean, Cruz is a
spike-nya.
full kit to try to utilize here. Primi though, absolutely nothing.
Nah, ya.
Just kind of needs to hit the shot.
Oh,
He's able to do so.
Marco-nya ketangkep Primi.
Ultimate now online.
Oh, but the push up from Cruz. Maybe unexpected for Bane here.
Find the timing though, Primi.
Cruznya nyari
Plant's
Bane.
done. Here behind the
Ah,
box.
di
Ooh,
ulti,
yeah, he
guys,
knows exactly
Bane-nya.
where this is, and he's ushered him straight into Cruz's open arms. Nicely done here from the side of Talon.
Nice sih
themselves a
buat
second round
bikin
win.
Cruznya
Yeah, great
kabur
spotting
sih.
from Primi as well in
Hey,
just recognizing in
kok
the middle
bikin
of the
Cruz
round what he
bikin
needs to
Primi-nya
do on the waylay as well,
di-positioning
right?
gitu.
As you mentioned, being the distractor.
sayang
Unfortunate
banget
for
tadi
DRX, the
Primi-nya
opening
nggak
scenario
dapet
too. An
pakai
operator on
overhead.
that sort of line you usually like to see or generally are getting a bit of an opening kill statement there. A lot of backwards and forwards ability in this sort of round, so you're just needing to see these teams adjust really well, but it kind of, opened up on that B side by
akhirnya
Primi, and it's
timeout
closed
juga
by
nih.
Primi as well. Converted pass, I mean, a bit of an
Dek,
expensive
ternyata di
ultimate to be
RX
throwing
yang
in, but you
timeout,
do
kira
get it
bakal
resulting
Talon
in a
yang
round of
timeout.
victory, and you also bring
Kayaknya
out
di
a
RX
timeout
nih
from
udah
DRX.
mulai
Yeah, I think there's going to be a bit of a breath of
agak-agak
relief here for the side of
ngerasa
Talon.
si Talon
Right,
ini udah
DRX,
mulai
yes,
step
still in
up
with
nih
an
guys, udah
advantage, but
mulai
economy getting
mengancam
whittled
mereka,
away at
makanya
here with these
mereka
last
tuh
two
ngambil
rounds. First two
timeout.
consecutive round wins that Talon's been able to get in this series.
Tapi
They
ini
have none on
Talon
Ice Box.
sendiri
So
gak pernah ngambil
I think
timeout
DRX is going to be
guys.
very well
Bingung
aware
aku.
of how streaky this team can be when they start getting that read, when Cruz starts having an understanding
Mereka
of your
mau ketinggalan
tendencies.
segimana juga
So
tadi
wants
match
to try to
pertama nggak ngambil
throw a
timeout.
spanner into the works here.
And something that we haven't seen from Talon so
Nggak
far
ngambil
when running
waktu
the
buat
waylay
mereka
on this map that we have seen from them and from some teams in
gitu loh,
China as
guys.
well who are
Ya,
running a
lumayan
similar
kan
sort of
timeout
comp is
ini.
getting the spike on the waylay to
Buat mereka
dash on in, get
reset,
the plant, dash on out. You're playing
buat
a
mencuri
lot of
momentum
posts, right? You're
lawannya.
doing that from a dish. You're trying to drop a lot of that utility to just deny the spike from being defused. We've not really seen anything like that come out from Talon too quickly just yet, so I'm kind of waiting for that sort of scenario to see how prepared DRX would be and how adjusted they would be. Back to normal fracture things, you'd say, though, with the A-main aggression to try and be gathering it, but...
I don't think Primi got much
Union?
information.
No.
Scott is fully blinded out.
But you do,
Just has to
Oh, did he
get out of there.
you kind of
Union?
waste the ultimate, though, if Hyunmin here.
Yeah, that is very true. The overdrive
Ya,
did get
tapi
popped in
sayang sih
response, and
karena
will
ke-delay
just be waited out.
Hyunmin-nya jadi
Talon just more than happy to stay
ultinya
tucked here
percuma.
outside of halls.
Yeah, big reset on towards the round, essentially, for
Saling
DRX,
tunggu-tunggu
where you're
aja
investing that
sekarang.
ult as the kind of instigator to gaining advantages, getting kills, siphoning weapons.
Nah nih, kita lihat Jet Boys
Falling
nih.
Thunder going to be sent astray his way. Does get the hit.
Apakah
Fast lane in
bisa
response
menangkap
to
Bane,
stop
Jet
the
Boys-nya?
really aggressive scaling up through main.
Oh, gak ke spot. Jet Boys-nya
I
gak ke
wonder what
spot
Jet Boys
kah?
is going to be able to do on this lurk, by the way, too. Bane still, of course, in the tower with two trap wires positioned to the
Kayaknya
arcade
gak ke spot
side
deh.
of
Jet
things.
Boys-nya guys.
On both sides. Cruz, though, now getting in
Tapi
position
info
for
masuk
this
sih.
flank, or maybe even just the pivot call to shift back across to A if he can clear it out. Shit Boys tagged very low. Now going to be stunned up.
See him?
Oh,
They haven't
Ready,
quite
check?
noticed
Nah.
him until this very moment. Walks straight into his thing, and Estrella is there. Finds the kill. In the meantime, though, the rest of Talon working their way across to A, getting
Wah,
ready for the plant.
gila
Yeah, an
Jet
open
Boys
site, and remember
sendiri
it is a lesser buy for
bisa-
DRX here too, so planning for main.
They have a
bisa
Bucky
sampai
on
bikin
Bane.
panik berlima
He's now
gitu guys,
rotating
semuanya
around
ke B.
About to make contact here, alone, against Die, and I don't think he's going to be able to find too much value there.
Ya, oke sih maksudnya.
Just going to stay tucked.
Jet Boys-nya mati juga tapi
Drifting across.
Oh, you say
man,
that.
never mind. Just draws out the
timenya
classic,
nggak
and
usah.
he's right as rain.
Kalau udah dapat
I take it down.
Dapat
Weapon now
waktunya
recovered.
tuh
Either way,
lumayan loh
decent
tadi.
damage being dealt here from the side of the RX.
dari
They're looking
Talon
for
tapi
another
nggak bisa
thrifty.
manfaatin.
Cruz from this defender's side, able to find one. Estrella comes away with another. Now a 2-1, and they know Cruz's position. The salvos have to be baited out. It's going to be a hold to half Estrella, giving his life.
Oh nice.
Trying to make this
Mampu
clutchable here
Cruz,
for Mako.
Mampu Cruz.
Just needs to never really find it,
Wah,
and will
no
not be
time
able to
kah?
do so.
No time
The
dari
back
DRX
away,
guys.
Cruz gets out. It's a Red Bull clutch.
Hampir
As Talon
guys.
will go ahead and pick up a third, not allowing for that thrifty to come through.
One of the more awkward clutches to come on out in that scenario with both players where
Semuanya nih
missing all
Talon
their
udah mulai
ammunition
ngejar nih
and
guys.
having a couple reload. Yeah, you're always going to give a bit of a valiant attempt to sticking it through the salvos
Nah, ini
there,
sih, ini
trying to
sayang
get it
banget
half
sih,
to
tainya
give
nggak bisa
Marco an
dapetin.
opportunity in that sort of
Nggak bisa
situation.
dapetin
But
golnya tadi.
damage really done by Cruz, by Primi. Try and bring some sort of stability and then allow Cruz to come out with a clutch at the end by default.
Get a little bit silly.
But now
Oh,
Talon
nice
knocking on the
step
door
up,
of
guys.
DRX,
Talon,
3
nice
in a
step
row.
up.
Full gun rounds to be presented. Operator back in the hands of Hyunmin, though not going to be seeing too much for the time being over at Dish.
Spray across
Oh,
the bane, just
nice. Spray through the
anticipating this.
smoke yang
Goes through the
bagus
smoke,
dari
tries to
Bane.
really disguise Mako's
Satu,
position,
satu.
and he finds even more.
Wah,
Killua
itu
is
kill
now
gua
down to
keteknya
4.
dalam banget,
Yeah,
guys.
Jit Boys
Gila,
at the
itu
same
tinggal satu
time
hit.
does get scaled forward over towards drop. Called a pivot, not been sounded quite just yet.
He is essentially just going to be sitting here, waiting to see if the team is eventually going to make their way through main.
Masih
See if
saling
anyone is
hold
going to
aja.
be presenting him with a duel, which Hyunmin, just aware of the situation. Things go bad to worse for Talon in this one. Killua, 4 HP, courtesy of the
Masih
spray
di-delay
earlier,
lagi.
and just ultimately a 5
Talonnya
versus
sama
3,
di RX.
where you've got a Rolling Thunder on
Dikasih
Australia,
smoke. Dikasih tadi.
and a more stacked
Di-delay pakai
B
drone.
site here too.
Di molly.
Camera just over the top. Eyes should
Ini
be
tainya.
right there in view.
Another Sky
Smoke
Smoke
lagi.
that kind of just locks you out here.
Wah,
Just keeping it quiet here for the moment.
di stun.
Fault line on main. Aftershock at the ready for the pinch from Arcade in towards the site. Talon, gonna be
Wah,
okay.
di ulti
Gonna be
sama
happy.
Killua-nya.
They've gotten this out. They've already made the sound to call. DRX
Ah,
not
no time,
realizing that,
guys,
wanting
no
to ensure the
time.
round victory. Send out the Rolling Thunder, and Talon just kind of get that ult out for free. DRX, they win the round, yes. But now that's one critical retake tool that they
Kayak-
don't have to worry about.
Yeah, not for a
Kayak bingung
while, of
banget
course.
Talonnya mau masuk.
You may see that be picked up
Nah,
again
delay,
for Australia
delay
in this
sana
first half
sini.
here, but this means that you
Akhirnya,
can potentially see something a little bit quicker
mereka cuma diem
for
doang.
Talon now come to these next sort of rounds. Get really early on a, quote-unquote lesser defended site when you consider
Mereka
how
akhirnya cuma
DRX
diem,
been
guys.
playing.
Sekarang
No
ke
4-1
delay
stacks, no
bingung.
complete stacks.
Gak bisa masuk.
So we will wait and
Utility
see.
delay
I
dari
mean, I'm
DRX-nya
noting the
banyak
positions
juga
just
sih.
currently while we've got this one of what Talon are looking to set up. And by location, it actually does give me the vibe of them wanting to try and get into this A site real rapid.
Yeah, completely off on the
Udah
opposite
roket.
side, peeking out
Udah
towards
roket
Tree.
Penjo. Terus
They're not
ada
rushing their way in quite just yet, but
Equilibrium.
applying steady pressure here from both sides.
Bisa di
Drone cleared out, freeing.
kongkas
Potentially
sama
going to be in a bit of a
bridge-nya.
bad spot here as Tripwire gets sent. Fault line's going to be
Wah,
exchanged, and yeah,
nice
the pitch
banget
comes
sih
in,
itu.
freeing going to be taken down. Headshot found there by Estrella, but cannot confirm that kill. Mako now dead, and this quick hit here from Talon works a treat.
Yeah, a bit more silent in the very beginning of it, allowing the util in A
belum
main
ke-plan
to
kah?
bring attention to the forces of Talon. But apart from that, quick in towards the site, quick plant goes down, 5 versus 2, save call forced for DRX. And in a hunt scenario like this, I mean, you look at the credits of Talon, it's not the worst thing to try and remove the operator, for
Wah,
example.
ini cari masalah nih.
Well,
Udah
they
aku
know where it
bilang
is.
cari masalah kan
But
dia.
can they
The
get
question is, do you want to take your chances?
Sayang senjatanya
They've got enough
lumayan
money.
padahal, guys.
Pretty much to last out the remainder of the half here, barring just heavy buys and catastrophe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Talon will be in a good enough spot, so could go for it. But if Primy's not going to be able to find it, they're more than happy to not give over any additional kills here. So Talon, along their way back into this one, will find a 4th round win. DRX still set here at 5. Money to purchase, but it's that echoes of that Rolling Thunder coming back to bite them in the previous round here.
Yeah, potentially
Ini
so.
nice banget sih
You
yang dari
maybe see that
dropnya,
one
guys.
positioned onto the side itself or over
Sama-sama
towards Dish
dapetin
from
dua.
Australia in that sort of
Terus dapetin
situation. It's hit
Mako
3
juga
members and
di
that's
situ.
stopping any aggression in towards the site. So that's the different sort of position that they seek themselves in using it in the previous round. But for the new one, of course, one away from Convergent Pass as Primi, should be a given that he's going to be picking that one up. So you might again see something a little bit more fast-paced from Talon towards this B site. When they get it.
Again,
Talonnya
Red
mulai step
Arcade,
up, guys.
the
Walaupun
spot,
tadi ada
peeking down and towards main to really
kebingungan ya. Start,
anything
nggak
here.
bisa masuk.
Bane
Talon
does get a glimpse, gives him an idea.
di
What
delay.
they're going to look to do
Cuman,
is Primi inserts himself over in towards
Dia nggak-
Canteen. Can re-trigger
oh,
to go ahead
dapet.
and
Oh,
rewind
nice
back
break.
and just going to be an exchange here on the side itself. Primi
3v3.
ignoring it.
Priminya, oh my god,
Lingers in
tidak
spawn,
cek
and Mako
corner.
not prepared at all. DRX now in a tough position again where they might have to consider
Wah, Priminya
save
berani
if
banget
they can
ngambil
try to
ngambil
get out
space-nya.
to a better position. So Hyunmin just sending out another pot
Hyunmin.
shot, rotates back, grabs a Vandal, wants to try to play this one out.
Let's find Cruz first.
Here on the close angle, the fast lane is available, and he's going to
timing.
almost get timing. Seems like now that he knows where he's at, he might want to try to play this, but it's been a reposition from Thai. He creeps up over towards that arcade side, so the call to save the operator will be made. They need Hyunmin's credit to try to spread out some more firepower
Bener
here
guys,
across the rest of the
Talonnya
team.
mulai step up,
Talon now
guys.
going to be tying things up at 5-5.
Yeah, a couple of different options for Talon in a scenario like that one where you've got Primi one away from the ultimate. You could pick it up, use it
Mulai
onto the
ngejar,
side,
guys,
slow your
Talonnya,
opponents, and
guys.
try and get in that way, or change it up a
Wah,
little bit and
apakah-
be a little bit unorthodox, unexpected.
Apakah
Getting him in
akan
through
ke map
canteen
3
there is
juga?
something that definitely DRX did not expect
Talon bagus.
whatsoever. You've got a lot of
Bagus sih,
trades
guys,
happening on
lumayan
the side itself
statistiknya.
that Talon are winning.
Statistiknya nih
So
Fracture
coming out with a couple of these
dibandingkan sama
you
di
know,
RX
battle heavy rounds
sebenarnya
as
ya.
well that they can weather should
Walaupun
give a
tadi
lot of these
awal-awal
players some
Talon
good confidence coming into the
agak
last few rounds of this half on the attacking
struggle.
side too. Now tying things up
Seiring
5
berjalannya
apiece.
round by round,
Almost
mereka
breaking the
men-step up
economy of DRX. You
mengejar
need to see
DRX,
some
guys.
heroics from Hyunmin or from Bane, who do have the heavy weapons. Speaking of,
Forward to be played out here in the half. And yeah, Hyunmin coming away with value right off the rip.
Oke, kayaknya
Straight
tetap komit ke
Peeking
A
towards
kan?
Halls, getting the
Talon.
spot out.
Ya, temannya kena
Gonna be some stuns
kena
exchanged here.
pongkas.
Actually, no, that was just Cruz getting stunned by Kahlua.
still, Talon
Tainya
creeping up to the
Tainya di
entryway of
belakang.
this A site.
Nah, mereka tetap komit A.
Just waiting the strike, the dashes at the ready. I mean, Primi
Apakah
gets the
Ciluk, Bang?
ultimate in first. The answer's gonna be no. Goes up and over the top of Estrella though.
Estrellanya udah
Stunned up there
kejepit,
on
nggak
top
bisa
of the salvos.
kemana-mana.
Ends up getting taken down.
Nah, tapi di delay.
Green within the smoke, just that sheriff. His plant gets ready to come through in the corner. Primi now just continuing to hold on to the weapon to try to deny any kind of retake. Shuck at the stim, trying to open the door. Glimpse is found, but shot does not connect. All players from Talon now contained here within the site, but DRX needs to still try to find some way to
Oke,
flush them out of
refleksi
this.
kita lihat, wah ketangkep.
First one falls,
Yunminnya.
solid headshot.
Wah,
Into a
nice, Tai
follow-up.
dapat
Tai
dua.
ripping them to pieces, looking for the third Bane, or rather Mako. Doesn't manage to find it.
Tapi
Or I
Cruz
thought it
tuh
was
bisa
Bane.
dapetin
And then
Mako.
and it's going to be just freeing, sliding away with a Vandal in hand. Op will be left on the floor. Ult's going to be retained and obtained here from the side of Talon going into this final round of the half as they will get themselves up to 6. So tied at worst,
Apakah
in the
Primi
lead at
ketangkep
best.
freeing?
Yeah, I noted in that one when Freeing dropped the salvos to buy some time for the team when the plant started to go.
Primi
He,
nangkep free. Nah,
he just
read it
Primi
so
nang-
well.
he
nangkep
disconnected
free.
to get the gun up at Dish, but then had no value for the remainder of the round, essentially trying to save the gun at the end there, trying to, as he does ultimately fall. You also see
Oh,
Cruz
bener
trying to pick up
guys,
the
kayaknya
ulti
bakal
orb, but the
ke
door gets opened, an opportunity
Dibawa
maybe in that
ke map
spot for
ketiga
DRX to
kita.
start to come back, but again, just some level-headedness from the rookies at the moment. Thai been pretty stellar when it does come to this map in Fracture. He's always getting
Apakah
active in
Jinx?
these duels when his
Aku
job's
mau
essentially done as the
2-0.
smoker, when he's provided the pathway for his
Akhirnya
team to get
Talonnya
in.
mulai ngejar, guys.
And now last round of
Tapi
the
kita
half,
belum
you've
tahu
got some
sih,
stellar ultimates to be able to
attackingnya
utilize
di
talent.
RX
No
nanti
off here
gimana?
for the side of the RX, but Jit Boys has one in his own hands. He's looking, waiting over there at B main, trying to see if anyone's going to come pushing
Wah,
forward in towards him.
Yunminnya berani banget.
It's Youngman on a very aggressive line, slides over into the corner.
Wah,
Kahlua
gila itu
able to
berani
find
banget sih
the shot.
Yunminnya. Terus
Armageddon
Primi
sent.
tapi
Orbital
ketek
set
setengah
there as well
HP.
from Mako. It's just going to be some damage onto the players of town, but Hyunmin now gone. Tip the spear, cut off. All's going to be sent.
Oh, di delay lagi.
Mako just having to send out the volley to try to
Oke,
peel off
volley.
some of this pressure that might be wrapping around.
Still definitely trying to go towards this site though, aren't they? They can put a pause on it
Ya,
at the beginning here. See if
Balik lagi.
Jit Boys can get anything when that smoke starts to
Wah,
fade.
ini
Same can be said to
bahaya
Marco.
nih Mako kalau nggak
Here inside of the smoke, looking for a timing,
Wah,
swings out.
dapat
It's only going to be good for
ketangkap
one.
juga.
Kahlua now with that kill. Rolling Thunder does get built up. Goes across into his
Oh,
back sight, but Estrella able to do a
aduh.
180, turns back,
Jit Boys
finds
ini
Jit
sampai
Boys.
Estrella.
The orbital now crashes down here onto the site, but Freeing already going to be dealt with.
Nah, stuck
Trail
lagi nih.
swung out wide, joining in alongside
Oh,
Bane. They'll
gila.
find one apiece, but nothing more. Tie, last one standing. They'll get the
Pick
round
yang
win
kurang
for
baik
Talon, 7
dari
to 5.
player
Need to lead
DRX,
at the half.
guys.
Yeah, really great recovery from Talon after those first four rounds come out in the map. I mean, that's
Nah,
kind of
kita
the
lihat defense-nya
be-all
Talon.
thing for Talon at the moment. Most recently, it's very shaky in the beginning of a map if they aren't out at the very pistol second, third round. They have to have a little bit of time to recognize how their opponents are playing, what they need to do to come on back, and they have actually been getting a lot
itu
better
sayang
at
banget
doing
sih.
that in the recent times. So it's really good to see for the depth of this series when you consider that it is an elimination game for these teams here, that they're not just bowing out really easily.
Solid run back here. 7 to 5, starting on the attack. We'll see now how the defense is going to fare for the side of Talon. What does that mean? It's the best right hand. Just
Maybe
like,
the best
who has
clicker?
Best aim?
Best clicker?
Yeah. Why not just say it was the best aim?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because even in Korean, it does say like just right
kiri, guys.
hand.
Yeah.
Setahu aku yang kiri down.
I mean, if it said right-hand man,
Player
like,
player lain
yeah,
mana
what a
yang tangan
forearm.
kiri guys, saya Batman.
Quickly got that one ready, didn't we?
Turn me with a big
Cuma
smile or
Batman
turn me in
doang
full
yang
rage mode.
kiri
I
down,
think that they
guys.
both have their promises. That's the photo from today.
Yeah,
Sure.
That's what I was saying. They just like slot that in. Find a way to work that into the broadcast. Do it now. Well, right now he's neither smiling nor in full rage mode.
Yeah, I feel like he's a lovable like bear, right? He can go angry mode if needed, but he can always be a bit huggable at times.
I mean, I think, and I've said this before, he's had a pretty good approach about this stage with all of the things that have been, thrown his way and thrown the team's way.
Yeah.
That even if they don't make it to Toronto, that he's confident that they'll take away good things,
Okay,
good lessons,
kita
and
lihat.
learn a lot.
Yeah.
Which is a
Attacking dari
fantastic way.
DRX-nya.
To kind of approach that, because I think most people would be like, we're making it to Toronto or bust.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember that the big old prize for the year is always going to be Champions 2.
Yep.
So if you can still get to there as one of the 4 teams from this region.
Oh, hampir.
Spot on the 1, Sheriff in Permi's hands
Spot,
going to be
tapi
confirmed
belum
as Bane
ke-tag.
now. Just exchanging some pressure against
Tapi
Tide.
Bane-nya
Both
udah
players
ke-tag.
tagged for 30.
Lumayan
Self-drone
seperempat
immediately
XP.
destroyed over in main by Hyunmin too. So there's an idea already for Talon that there's some forward progression in A main.
Oh
Commit
my,
A-side
Sand
kah?
to catch on the Hyunmin. No!
Wah.
Plants his feet, finds
gila.
2! How's he done that?
Dan ini bisa
He's
dapetin
worked down
dua.
to 10 HP. Chip Boys will
hampir.
finally bring an end here to this Neon. But a havoc has been wrought. Push out of the smoke here from Mako. A double take from Chit Boys.
Wah,
Putting his
Chit
pressure
Boys-nya
in front of him.
ngeri.
Down the 10. Gets the cam. Trying to hit the shot.
Ini
Mako
sampai-
looking back in the main, but now the wraparound comes through. Premi
Sampai
arriving
Mako
over at
kalah
drop.
sih.
The swing out. And
Wah,
Premi's there on
ada
the cross
Premi di
angle.
situnya.
Talon will pick up the pistol. 2-2 in that regard, and now up by 3.
Well, you talk about Bane being able to lock down B generally on this map. How about a Jip Boys bunkering down over at the A side? 4K to come out from him. Low HP. When you think Hyunmin trying to get some damage out, and you're thinking ridiculousness is afoot.
Wah, itu padahal udah
Just a little bit
kena
better
sendiri
from
loh,
Jip
Hyunmin
Boys here,
nih.
who hasn't been able to find too much on that attacking side in his lurks. So some individual confidence, you would hope
itu
that
Jip
that one
Boys-nya
installs in
percaya
you. And
banget
more
sama
importantly
temennya.
too, a pistol round
Dia
finally,
langsung ngebalik
again,
ke
going back towards Talon, only
arah
picking up the
lain.
second.
Karena dia tahu
in
ada
both
yang
these maps.
masuk juga.
I suspect Mako was likely getting the read that it was going to be Premi rotating through that defender spawn as well.
Nice, langsung ketangkep Hyunmin-nya.
Just a peek in towards main. And,
Remy
get
has the better right hand there.
the- in this case, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just pistols for DRX though. Wouldn't mind seeing some orbitainment,
Itu
but
kameranya
Premi wants to
bisa
stop
di
that.
situ. Ketangkep
Peek in,
lagi.
Finding one.
Lagi
Mako
kah?
just, hip fire
Wah,
action.
ketangkep lagi,
Looking to
guys.
steady it. Eventually
Empat.
does.
Ace kah?
The Jit Boys
Premi?
wasn't able to find the ace. Premi now. Similarly low HP. Gonna be looking to see if he can find one, but for now, we'll just go ahead and scoop up that orb.
Or maybe Jip Boys can
Jit Boys takes
steal it back, yep.
Only these two players get ult charge, nobody else.
I mean, I wouldn't actually mind it when you think about the defensive side for a Cypher roll here, going
Sure.
into a bonus. You can definitely see that picked up pretty easily.
He's got crept up here
Oh, he's got a
through
Premi.
the
Udah
sewer.
ditungguin
He's
sama
got the
Premi.
angle at the ready.
Kelihatan sedikit aja langsung.
Bring, just
Oh
walking right
gila,
into it.
Ace Premi-nya.
And there you go. Predator ace found as Premi looking electric here on this waylay. 9 to 5
Ngeri.
now. Talon well out in front as we go into their bonus.
Yeah, very sharp shots to come out from him when the scope is there. The
Dua.
hipfire ones,
Ini
though,
no scope,
looking a
yang
little bit
ketiga.
awkward for the one against...
He got the
Juga
flick
no
kill.
scope.
yeah, he gets the hard ones,
Oh,
it's
empat
the
kena
easier
siri,
ones,
guys.
though. But no, nevertheless, a great ace for him to come out there. One away from Converge Pass now coming in towards this next round as well. And a bonus
lihat
variety.
beneran,
It's not the
guys.
worst
Ketiga
weaponry for
nampaknya.
Talon either.
How much do they
Talon mulai
realize
step up.
about this judge?
Sudah mengejar.
The RX themselves have been bringing shotguns forward into tower. As
Siapa yang
frantically
inspect
looking
dia?
for some damage there
Oh,
on
yeah,
the reveal.
benar
Unable to
gitu.
find anything with the Guardian. Bane just pushes forward. Shiftboy's going to be taken down. Sight now opened up as Kahlua just strafes in. I believe Estrella blind, maybe
Mulai
blind shot.
ke pick off
Is able to go
satu-satu.
ahead and
Tapi
find that
guys,
kill.
player-player Talonnya
Full position. Freeing. His shot's just dancing around his head, but he's got his sights trained on Cruz.
Or sending the Guardians here, look for some damage.
Still just the bonus here for Talon.
Kayaknya
Dropping
mereka
this
masih
round. Still, we'll have them up by 3.
belum dapat
He's in the
info
cozy
di mana
position.
player-player
Kermi.
DRX-nya
Kill or death. We'll have that
Terus
ult
aku.
online.
di dice. Oke, Hyunmin-nya dapat.
See if he's going to be able to find anything. Otherwise, it's looking like a flawless here for the side of PRX. Backpedal, getting away
Akan
here
mati
from
spike
the
kah?
angles,
Primi-nya?
creating even more distance. So, yeah, it seems like Primi not quite going to be able to get
Oh,
it done.
Dia
They're
nggak
rushing
mati
forward.
spike, guys.
And overall, nothing going to be spotted. Some noise made, and
Ketangkep.
Estrella will just swing out. Says, "Yeah, I would like to get my rolling thunder."
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and hand the ult over to the Waylay.
Yeah, there was always a chance there as well. I was thinking to myself, well, let's just let him live and not get it, right? Very real possibility for
Wah,
that
ini
one, but nevertheless, a
kerusuhan
very
di dalam
quick
smoke.
one into the B site for DRX. I saw on the radar as well, every single member of Talon that was
Dia
over at the A
menangkap dalam
site
smoke, tapi
immediately booked it
gagal,
over there
guys.
too, so not
Talonnya.
being, or not having any focus on a potential flank to come on through too.
Akhirnya Talon time out juga
Early timeout here after dropping the bonus round. So Talon
setelah
looking
dari
for a bit of an
sebelumnya nggak
idea
time out, akhirnya
earlier on
time
as
out.
opposed to what they did in the first half.
Curious if this is going to be some kind of set strategy here with the Waylay ult coming through. But I think it's also very similar stories for both of these teams when it comes down to just getting that momentum going, getting that streak built up. And we saw it from the RX on Icebox. Give them that tiny bit of space, they will be able to take a mile, start running away with a map. So even up by 3, one away from double digits, Talon not feeling super comfortable quite just yet.
Now, if they're able to get their first gun round on the board and, you know, either doing it with the play with the Waylay
Sekarang
or
DRX
if they're
yang
doing it
bakal
just
step
together
up.
as a team and
Kita
making sure the
belum tahu,
fundamental
guys.
utils that they
Ya.
can repeat a lot of the time happen, it would be good. We've got an
Talonnya
operator out for
benar-benar
Primi,
step up,
however, though, here.
guys.
So expect a refract challenge, potentially. Having everyone spread around the map, though, quite largely for Talon in this one. Meanwhile, Hyunmin already very far forward in towards A main, team in tow.
Shot sent out there as well, nearly
Oh,
finding
langsung
fishing shot over
didobrak
on towards
begitu
Shipboy,
saja
but it's going to be Kahlua
dua-duanya.
instead taken down at the straight. Finds that kill, opens up the rope. Primi repositioning, shifts over, gets over towards drop,
Ketangkep
but
lagi.
now is alone. I'm trying to hold this
Priminya
side,
bisa
finds the first
dapetin
hit.
satu
Freeing going to be taken
untuk
down, but the plant
operator.
still going to be coming through. As Cruz noted on the flank, but do they know that Thai is also on the approach here from the angle?
Cruz sama Tai,
I'm going to be cleared out. Only
Cruz
Bane
sama
spotted thus
Tai.
far. Mako just
Baik
around the
main.
corner.
tapi ke spot.
There to reinforce. This ult is going to be invested here. Mako though, peeking in the
Makonya
door,
dapat.
able to find
Wah,
one. Bane
itu
going to be taken down.
Cruznya
Primi
mantap
finds
sih.
the op shot now. Mako and Estrella needing to try to fight their way out of this one. The ladder has fallen. The fuse being held to half the swing in.
Ah,
Mako
udah.
with a 4K.
Karena
Give
Priminya
DRX
juga udah low
that round
banget
win.
gitu.
2 in a row
Udah
picked up
terlalu
here in the half
dalam
for them.
attack-nya.
Decent damage dealt from the hands of Talon, but a couple players on their side. Cash is in a wobbly spot.
Yeah, the immediate A presence from DRX there actually had Cruz go for the flank through tree pretty quickly. He destroyed the trap wire really early on, forcing out a second one from Bane too, but didn't really hang around too much to watch for the flank, because the idea for Talon there is to wait and see what Primi's going to be able to spot first before having to put in the ultimate towards the site to allow his team to get into holes. I just feel like it was left a little bit too late for Talon in that sort of scenario, and this is the spot where DRX can look to bring some stability on their
Langsung
attacking side.
tabrak lagi
Really
kan.
heavy stack.
Side-nya.
Chance for this to go sideways. It looks like they don't want to take any chances. In fact, as the Rolling Thunder is
Langsung
going to be
di
sent
Rolling
out.
Thunder.
Can't get in though behind it.
Yeah, just going to be held back. They spray through and widely,
Langsung di-spray
nothing
semuanya.
is gained.
Wah, Jet
All
Boys
10 members
keteknya
on this
dalam
alpha
sih.
side.
Sama Primi.
No lurks, no lingers, no flanks.
Tinggal 1/4 HP.
Ty about to push up here and instantly die. Solid headshot there from Bane. As now it starts falling apart a little bit here for Talon on the thrifty attempt.
Yeah.
For the start, it was looking very possible.
timing
Jiggle
kan?
peek, Molly going to be set. Cruz just swinging out, trying to strafe over the top of that one with a shorty in hand, but
Ini
it's
udah
only going to be minor damage found. As DRX
kecicil
for a
tadi
flawless.
guys HP dari player-player Talonnya.
is going to go back pedaling and sprinting
Di
across the
RX-nya
rope.
itu nggak
There is a trap there that he would have to
ulti
destroy.
Got
pakai
one
Rolling
trap, goes to
Thunder
the other.
langsung di
Otherwise, he's just going to have to wait for
spray
a
through
potential
the
exit
smoke.
here because he does need
pada
to
ketek tuh lumayan
minimize in
keteknya
this round.
3/4.
Just going to see if he can get any kind of catch here.
If Hyunmin did get the kill, he would have the ult online too.
Catch him plenty. I think, you'd
Wow.
rather get this over to Freeing.
Yep.
And we'll be able to do so. So Team Ace, flawless round here for the side of PRX. One away from tying things up now.
Yeah, good
Go back into
dismantling.
another bye.
Good dismantling on that side as well. When it doesn't really matter what weaponry
Yeah,
that
guys,
Talon do have, right? The presence of
Oh,
5
yeah,
though, you
I
can
think
still
they
come
guys
out with
play, yeah.
something a little bit shaky, something a little bit worrisome at times. So I don't mind the investment of all the ults and the Rolling Thunder in the very beginning, although it not really finding too much value, which has kind of been every instance on this map so far from Australia.
Yeah, I said it twice.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, both I think understandable.
understandable.
But in
situation,
the
yeah.
hindsight, you're like, well,
Yeah,
not
something for
much
them
value
to-
is found.
Langsung di line
something for them
up
to go
sama
back
Makonya
towards
dong.
and review potentially. And
Molly towards tower.
Hyunmin
Hyunmin
langsung
sprinting
gas
in, trying to find a
tower.
catch. Jit Boys, does he get caught by that?
Di terobos.
Spray
Oh,
across
nice
it. Yep,
through the
just
smoke
hits
dari
a lot of place
Hyunmin.
there, tight spotted. Jit Boys,
Tapi
however,
Jit
on the
Boys-nya
jump,
bisa
still gonna
dapetin
get for
frag.
one, but Freeing quickly trades it back.
Walaupun tidak bertahan lama ya.
operator for Primi here as well. Definitely needs a line of sight.
Freeing with the plan gives him the Armageddon now.
And also no smokes because Thai was down first. It makes this retake a little bit more difficult.
Priminya flank. Apakah bisa nangkep satu?
Do they toggle the camera at all? Bane does. Does he spot him? I don't think it did.
Nggak ke
Freeing has
spot.
no idea.
Wah, gila
Right there into
nggak
the
ke
elbow.
spot kamera.
He's going to be kicking Bane.
Kameranya.
And how'd you not see him?
Just remember, orbital strike for Marco here.
He's tucked down into sewers. Has it at the
Makonya udah
ready.
ada ulti.
There's a stun. Orbital not going to be finding any eliminations, but shoves them
Nice
back,
play.
shoves them in towards tower. And the
Selelanya
shots right
dapat.
now being hit
Tinggal Primi nih.
are damn clean. It's another Team Ace, this time far from
Ace.
flawless. But DRX, they have successfully tied it up at 9-9, running back 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah, ever since the bonus round that they're able to get here. So the operator of
9-9
Primi,
guys.
trying to find some damage, trying to find some kills, not able to work with the team,
Oh ini
getting
bagus sih itu
things done
timingnya.
by himself. I want to see some sort of team play come through in the early scenario here because whilst you're always going to understand that it's a difficult retake to come on out, right, for Talon in that sort of scenario, there's a couple of spots where Dai gets caught out really early on in the piece. He's not in the
Dua
right
digit
position
duluan guys,
to
DRX
play
atau
counter to
Talon nih.
anything fast like
Ah,
Hyunmin is just
diterabas
sending out right now.
langsung.
Spotted up in the
Oh,
early, has
correct.
him lined up, and
Terjadi.
Cruz still will take quite a bit of damage there on the
1 per
collapse,
1.
down to 53. Keeps himself alive here for the moment. Just a 1-for-1 thus far.
Oh, Mako
Peeking
bisa
in,
dapetin
dead.
Primi.
Mako finding the kill. The
Di
Armageddon
ulti,
is rolling out
langsung
that
sama
red
Cruz.
carpet here.
Buat delay
Shoved
aja.
it back. Cruz is going to look to fill the space here, chasing the explosions.
Ah,
And then on the peak, he's
Australia
able to find
ketangkap
one. Now,
Cruz.
answering Armageddon,
Di ulti
keeps him locked in
balik.
position. Bane finds the
Sama
headshot, gets the neural
Free-nya.
depth reveal. And that tells all for Ty and Jit Boys.
Nah,
Set
itu
yourselves up
dapat
for a
info.
post-plant scenario now as well. Marco's
Sisa
still with the
player
incendiary
lainnya
counter
langsung
neural
cari
theft.
info.
Know that they
Wah,
can
langsung
safely
bertiga ke
themselves
situ.
through the door. Bane swinging out, dead. Wanted to try to get the peek there before that final ping had come through. Fring now going to be forced away. A molly from Mako can hold the door for a little bit longer. Ty is going to look to try to create some split pressure. No, both of them doubling
Balik
back.
lagi merekanya.
Marco was watching this
Ke
before.
DRX-nya.
But now just
Ah,
hooks into
belum
the corner
ke
this time.
spot.
Starting to
DRX-nya
get away
mana?
from them a bit. The
Ya,
straight
ya,
forward.
ya,
Both players'
free-nya.
position confirmed. Mako finding the first.
Free-nya.
Swings out, Shit Boys. Has the headshot.
Nggak dapet
It
kali
has the
free-nya. Kalau
defuse.
free-nya dapet kayaknya
Thought
DRX
maybe
itu
Mako would send
round
up
ini
the volley,
menang
but
guys.
didn't think that he had enough time. They capitalize. Talon now once again reestablish a lead.
Always a risky thing, isn't it? When you try to bring out some utility and you hear the stomps on the floor, you think that they're a little
Ini
bit closer
nice
than they might
flex
be.
itu.
Love the investment of the Armageddons as well and the space that Cruz is able to find behind it. But similarly, just the right timing and spotting from Bane. Capitalize on the counter Armageddon that comes on out. It does all get ripped away a little bit though when you consider that Talon do get the round and stave off those ults there. So they'll be the first team to achieve double digits in this one, and also still having to be a little bit careful of their own investments. Light shields across the board, a Judge in possession again here. It's going to be Cruz this time holding that one.
Their ult cycle's in such a strong position as well, though.
Yeah,
Remy,
sure.
ready to go. Thai, one away. Kahlua, 3 charges for the Rolling Thunder.
OBG split.
There's Estrella and
Sama
Mako
free-nya juga nge-split.
about at the halfway point towards having theirs.
Yeah, Thai is towards this B site. Some good timing on a
Kayaknya
Sky
B-nya bakal
Smoke
ditabrak
and
nih.
lock out DRX for a little bit. Gonna try and sniff out where this trap is though first, Hyunmin.
Kena wire,
Gets the
ketahan kan.
catch, he's going to be ping revealed, spray across, and
Wah.
Jit Boys eventually able to find it. Retoggles the cam, steadies the
lagi
spray,
ketangkep.
Estrella going to be taken down, Jit Boys at 8
ketangkep.
HP,
Wah,
still
terus ketangkep.
finding value.
Wah,
Comes away with a
fragnya
third, and suddenly as the dust
tukar-tukaran
settles, we're
kill
in for a
mereka.
2v2. Both players approaching from Talon, making their way up through tree. Ult at the ready, sent, invested, dodged.
Nggak ada yang kena.
Both sides not cleared out. The snapback coming through, he survives. The
Oh,
Bane is there to
nice.
capitalize.
Not planning for him.
It is not planned for him at all. Thousand's kill, let's see if he can add another one on top of
1000
that.
kill
Off the defuse
achievement
is
Bane
Kahlua, and it's
di
going to be a
VCT
Red Bull
Pacific,
clutch
guys.
as Bane crests the 1K mark. 10 to 10, we're tied up once more.
This one is close. This is the sort of level of Valorant that we wanted to coming in towards
tegang
a
banget,
elimination
tegang banget,
series like
guys.
this one.
Kejar-kejaran terus ini
Glad to see that we're
skornya.
getting this one. Glad to see that we're seeing teams and players in the server
Semoga
not scared to
nanti
go for these duels, not
PRX
scared to
lawan
hang
Boom.
around and try and fight it on out, right? Do see a lot of teams just try and shift and
Kejar-kejarannya,
scurry
guys,
away and
PRX
play
menang.
retake. But Talon
Menang gampang,
recognizing that they
semoga
can't
ya.
get out of dodge.
Pacific Achievement 1000
Bane with the clutch
kill
though. And now it
dari
swings in favor of
Bane.
DRX with the economy. I mentioned it just before, right? Yeah, the ult game was looking a little bit stronger for Talon, but the weaponry mark, yeah, not so much. They take a knee. Down on the pistols here. Hope to find a cheeky round.
Jit Boys has been doing wonders here for the team, but in this position is not going to be able to do too much. Just a classic
Agak-
there to try to hold down Bane.
agak
The site now
sedikit
wide open.
greedy ya itu Jet Boys-nya.
Thai clearing out the camera there with the Sheriff. He's a
Terlalu
little bit of
maju.
damage. Orbital strike going to be a bridge well too
Wah,
far.
itu nggak ke spot kah? Nggak dicek kah?
Barring some kills being found here in the next few seconds, but nothing spotted quite just yet. Mako, shoulder
kalah,
not
makanya.
noticed. That's going to be a
Kalah
weapon
dua.
nearly handed over. Bane is there to try to
Semakin
protect, sees it picked up, knows where Kalua's position is at,
Uh-oh.
and he's a little bit off on the shot. Now stunned up, now about to be taken
Wah,
down.
kill
And
wire nice
suddenly,
banget
that orbital strike
rankingnya.
looks a bit tastier here. The Pring though, able to find one more. Primy going to be taken down.
Kabur sih,
3v3,
kabur sih,
gonna be
semuanya kabur
sprinting
sih,
around,
no
gets a
time.
headshot on the Cruz. Things getting a little bit scattered here for the side of DRX, but a round of
Kayaknya
victory still is going to be
Spike.
found. The lead theirs, and wisely in the end. Talon do hold on to their ults
Oke,
at all,
DRX
after
dua
all.
lagi
Yeah,
guys.
no, definitely the right call for them there to have them available into this next round because you're getting
Kalian
into
lebih
the end
pilih
moment in this map as
ini
well, right? 11 to
2-0
10,
langsung
you need to
ke
make sure that
PRX
you've got
lawan
kind of
Boom
everything up
atau
your sleeve available in these
ke
sort of
map
scenarios.
ketiga,
When you also
guys.
consider that
PRX
Talon did
lawan
lose a
Talonnya,
map number one of their
guys.
own choosing, right? So they have to win this one and push us into the third
Kalau
and
aku
Lotus.
sih pengennya ini
This
cepet
round's
beres
quite
ya, jadi
stacked. So I see
2-0.
Marco one away from the orbital
Kita
strike. I
langsung
see
nonton
Estrella
PRX
and Free
lawan
both
Boom,
2 away
guys.
from their ults. I mean, even Bane's 2 away from his ult too. So there's going to be
Langsung
plenty of options for
rematch
DRX in a
antara
map that is
PRX
stacked with ulti
versus
orbs.
Boom.
Yeah, last couple rounds, decent little swing for them as far as the ult economy is concerned. Oh, Young man on the jiggle, goes back in, spots out even more, and he's able to slide away.
Been really impressed by Primy's quick saturates as well to counter Hyunmin's aggression and speed. Definitely the right value proposition when you consider a
Bane
waylay.
sama free-nya ada di B.
Fact that
Split mereka
Everyone gets
guys.
away scot-free, no
Cari
damage
info
suffered.
nih, cari info nih. Gini guys,
Little bit
kalau main
shocking,
cari
but
info.
Bane just trying to create some pressure, clears out
Kalau
the cam
stuck
over on
tetap
that
harus
beast,
cari
that
info,
A
jangan
side of the map.
diem-diem baik guys.
Oh, Cruz, I'm interested, but yeah, Cruz now sliding forward, taking space here with the
Nah,
smoke.
itu udah mulai ke spot tuh jet
Slightly
boysnya
red,
tadi.
and he goes out on a
Wah,
timing,
itu
maybe thinking that it was just
Cruz.
going to be one player
Ngapain Cruz
lurking
nih
here,
itu?
but instead it gets a rude awakening as he spots 3.
Because when you see a player that deep in A main, you do consider that it is just
Bisa
going to be a
nih.
lurk scenario there
Nah,
for anyone
ya,
hanging
mereka
around tree. Quite unfortunate for him, but
masih
now with
lama
things pivoting
masih
towards
masih
this other
punya
side of the
waktu
map,
di
you have to
RX.
contest with the Cypher utility that Jip Boys does have
Kayaknya
at
bakal
now
forfeit
the
A.
A side. Bit different.
Still proved to be difficult to try to get into. That Rolling Thunder is available. They're going to go ahead and open up with the
Oh,
overall strike
aduh,
with high.
Estrella yang ketangkap.
Repositioning. Plants his feet to find one. Estrella going to be taken down fast lane, only going to last for so long, and they get unstunned
juga
just in time
ketangkap.
as Mako finds a headshot. High now dead, Orbital, not something that they have to concern themselves with on the side of
Jet
DRX
boysnya
now.
belum ke spot.
Shit Boys flushed out, it's just chaos, no one knowing where anyone is. But it's DRX with the player advantage.
Dibajuin
on the
kah sama
drop down.
Priminya?
Being spotted, the re-swing,
Oh,
the double face,
langsung double
and now the
swing.
match point.
Picknya bagus.
Bing finds the
Wah.
final shot, 12 to 10.
Match point
Talon
guys
needs 2 in a
DRX.
row to take this into overtime.
Itu
This will be their
Cruz
stage 1
tadi
coming to its conclusion.
terlalu over sih
Top
guys
10,
kata aku.
another round where a couple of key moments that it could have gone either team's way. Not able to find a lot of value off the Cypher utility
Nice,
on the side.
itu
You're
double
flushed out by the
swingnya
orbital
bagus
strike.
tadi.
You're trying to buy yourself some time as well, just on
2-0
the
kah?
rolling
Bisa
thunder that you
jadi
send back.
2-0
But as the
kayaknya
Suns do
guys.
fade, as you say, it's DRX going with some great ideas.
Kalian pilih
It's
2-0 atau
the double swing
2-1
as well.
guys
So
Talon
now it
lawan
has to be
DRX
flawless
nih.
for Talon. They'll stampede in towards Tree to get some further
Aduh,
information. And
ketangkap
Killer
Hyunminnya.
will open up the books by finding Hyunmin.
And a good kill to be found. Primi still pushing forward. Mako
Jet
reading
Boys sama
this, but
Kainya udah
Bing
ready tuh.
now picked apart the rope ride.
Kepotong.
Primi, he's right here. They
Dipotong
spotted him out. He
langsung.
finds the first, but he can't quite get that second. Still though, damage dealt a 2v4.
2v4.
Talon
Kill-nya maju
looking
nih.
like they are in well positioned to get this within touching distance of OT.
Covid B kah?
The idea for DRX now to play contact as well, silently to the choke entry of this B site.
Surely you just hold on to this ultimate unless you can get it to a close position. Oh, there's
Wah,
the smoke
nice
out.
banget
Mako gonna
Cruznya.
be dropped. Estrella now left scratching his head.
Yeah, they do have investments in the next round, of course. Marco maybe
12-11
requesting a weapon though.
guys.
Not a spot like
Penentuan
this
nih
for
apakah
Australia.
overtime
30
atau
seconds to
enggak
go.
nih
Priority
next
on
roundnya nih.
dropping the gun for your teammate or looking for damage against Talon.
Halo halo yang baru
Being very
join.
fickle with the economy. It's going to be the earlier one though, so a bit of time for the team to talk as well here and what they want to try and navigate towards the next round. Wouldn't be surprised. Timeout
Penentuan kah
still
guys?
usable.
Could come through.
Apakah ditutup oleh DRX
One away from pushing this into OT.
atau
Talon
akan
clawing their way back, but for Estrella,
overtime
a bit
guys?
too risky. Cruz one charge from having that Armageddon online, having
Enaknya
combo
sih
that with
langsung
an
ya
orbital.
guys, langsung ditutup
Yeah,
Could just be
2-0
insurmountable at the end of it.
daripada overtime
The
dulu
right place
terus
fault line
langsung
from
ke
Killer
map
who
ketiga
would
di bawah
absolutely
map
give DRX
ketiga
bad
sama
day.
Talonnya.
Similarly though, you can throw it the other way, right? Because they've already got them online. They've got the Armageddon online. They don't have an orbital strike, but they have something
Aduh,
else.
Priminya juga bagus banget udah nungguin di
So we go into
Udah
the
nungguin di
last
rocket
round
duluan.
of regulation, and there's that timeout that we were just mentioning will probably come on through. Of course, you get another one going into OT, so why not use it here?
And yep, it will be from the DRX camp. Both teams had one remaining, so DRX will go ahead. The first one to pull the trigger here on Fracture, and the last, unless this does in fact go to OT. Given the run back, given the ults, is very, very possible here.
Yeah, but I mean, I cast my mind back towards Icebox as well, and I know we've seen a lot more from Talon on this map, but having 9 first kills and only converting that into 4-round wins too, right? DRX had less first kills, and they were always winning these lesser equipped rounds, lesser played rounds, so in towards this next one, it is very vital that we've just got some sort of advantages held by Talon to try and push us into OT.
kah itu guys?
Of course, these sort of scenarios as well, on the back of a timeout for the rookies, if they get in their own heads here too, right, that could absolutely spell disaster. Killua, Die,
Oke,
Primi to a
penentuan
degree
nih
too,
guys,
right?
apakah
Still relatively new
akan
to this sort of
ditutup
scene.
oleh DRX atau
Kia.
dibawa ke overtime nih?
So let's see what's going to happen. The last
Kita
round of the
lihat
regulation.
It's looking like a B-side crunch
Penentuannya
here.
di round ini guys.
North and south side both occupied here from DRX as Primi just jumping up over the top, getting himself onto the box, and this is going to be maybe a bit more of an unorthodox position to try to anticipate playing against when you have a waylay on the opposite side.
Yeah, we haven't seen it at all.
Boleh-boleh tuh guys, posisinya
So if
Primi
you have a
dicontoh
raise,
kalau pakai
definitely give
waylay tuh
credence to
naik ke
Jet as
situ.
well. This could certainly catch them completely off guard. Now for now though,
Wah,
at the
udah
ready,
ke spot.
Cruz, he's able to find one. Hyunmin taking out
Wah.
Cruz, finding a second. Does eventually get picked off here by Estrella. As ults now starting to get dumped. Orbital strike, catching Bane.
Wah,
Taking him down to 10
Bane-nya
HP.
ke-tag-nya dalam.
And that's
Ditinggal
just going to
satu
be
hit.
immediate reset onto
Halo,
the
halo
round,
yang
isn't
baru
it? Cruz
join.
has done massive work to find the two towards
Time
Arcade.
kah guys?
Molly sent. Bane not within it. Does manage to get that neural theft reveal. Ping out knows. This one's just on the opposite side here
Bane
of
masih
the
dalam
site.
smoke.
Tries the swing for it.
Wah,
Finds the
nice.
headshot, but Primi over from that gen position.
2v3 Mako Estrella.
No smokes available for Marco.
No corpse here for Jit Boys. Unless he can get himself over to Arcade. Estrella anticipating the pressure here in
Wow.
the position on the side.
Langsung 2v2 guys.
Plays off his util, finds the shot. Primi looking for a little bit more.
Wah,
Comes away with it. And now it is all
kecil
down to
duanya terlalu
Mako.
maksa.
Molly
Sudah
having to be
kau kataku,
invested.
guys.
Primi trying to get the catch here. Slow up his time.
Okay,
as Mako swings
overtime,
out.
guys.
He is double facing. Talon clean up the round. 12 to 12. We're going to OT.
And now they're not going to be plagued with
Kita
any
akan
haphazard
nonton
buyers as
overtime.
well. They're going to have what they need. They can consider if they want to get another operator back out, but I think Premi's looked a bit better, for example, on these rifles. So, on the back of the timeout for DRX,
pilih
not able to
DRX
convert
menang
it.
2-0 atau 2-1 guys. Ke map ketiga.
Just trying to see what Bane could do around it. The fact that he's able to find
Jadi
one kill
ini-
there with 10 HP
wah,
as
itu
well, trying to
Estrellanya
give some options to his
Kalau
team to be able
kataku
to
lebih
clutch it
banding langsung
in
nge-cross
the
sih.
end. And the
Daripada
multi-frag
dia
round to come through for Primi,
duel
and now we see
tembak-
ourselves
tembak
in
gitu.
the fabled OT, where DRX definitely have a better OT scoreline result, but it also means that they've gone, you know, a lot of deep ones, especially on Fracture too. 13-11s, overtimes, always seemingly the name of the game here for them.
So last one versus T1.
Mulai
They'll get in,
tegang
kinda get
suasananya
out
guys.
relatively quickly on that, but right now it looks like Talon going to be a bit of a different beast here. No operator in sight, no glass cannon. It's going to be straight up rifles
Mid
on
back
both
ah,
sides.
langsung.
Big push out from Talon at the moment. Checking in towards B.
Suruh cepetan.
Wary
Aku mau
about
nonton Boom
Aggressive
PRX.
pressure out of A.
Aku juga
Yeah,
pengen
where's it
nonton
be
Boom
usually? Bang.
PRX
Back
ini.
towards the tower with his setups as well.
Pengennya sih
By Marco,
langsung
but apart
N
from
ya
that,
ini
rotations
2-0.
now, because
Gak
look
usah,
who's gone north side by
nggak usah
himself.
ke
It's
map
freeing. He's
ketiga
getting all the
ya.
information, destroying the camera. So it has to be the south side call now for Talon to get this A-holes
Ayo
control.
DRX menangkan ronde
spotting him out.
ini dan
Quickly just backpedaling as Primi go
ronde
diving forward.
selanjutnya.
A minute.
Nah,
They
di
get on a
delay
slow approach here.
terus.
Estrella sending out that fault line. And
Lumayan nih
that's
delaynya
enough for
lama
Talon to want
nih.
to pivot back across. Mako does slide up through Canteen to reinforce this B site. Spike is there. You still have 3 players trying to sell an A hit.
Trying to toy with the rotations at the moment. Meanwhile, freeing is
Nah,
still
masih bingung
happy
nih.
enough to
Talonnya
frolic
masih
around the
bingung,
north
guys.
side of the map.
Tapi Talon emang
Jit Boys
tadi
walking forward.
waktu attack tuh
Cam
sempet
check and Mako
beberapa
now.
kali bingung
Just there,
geraknya mau
striking from
kemananya
behind.
guys.
Expected there's going to be some follow-ups. The Molly does get set. Gunman at the meantime. Here, trapped the top site.
Yunminnya nggak,
Stunned up.
Yunminnya ke spot.
Covers, but then Primi is right there on
Terlalu
top of him.
cepat
Headshot
Yunminnya
found.
keluarnya.
Estrella giving away his position. Strafing back
Estrellanya
as the salvos fly towards him.
Repositioning,
Plan going to be interrupted here for the moment.
ring masuk dari
13
drop.
seconds remaining. Primi eating a little bit of damage with the spike now on the floor.
Big Sands one here.
Oke, sabar dulu DRX.
Stand to open the door. Kalua to try to hold it. The backup coming through.
Oh,
Cruz
nice
here
kill
shoulder to
banyak.
shoulder with his teammate. They go 1-for-1. Mako, however, fighting back as freeing
Oke,
finds Primi.
tinggal Tai.
And Ty's position is known.
Tai-nya udah kejepit.
Time still on their
Wah,
side, but
Tai-nya
now
masih
into the
bisa dapetin
1v1.
satu.
Ty looking for it,
Oh,
but Free
nice.
finding it. It's the
Free.
headshot as he's popping off. And TRX will once again
Match point.
themselves a match
DRX,
point.
ayo
Yeah, they had 2
DRX,
chances
bro
to try and close it off in
DRX.
regulation, right? Talon pushing us into overtime, but now DRX back in the lead and switching back over to their attacking side. It was
Ayo.
Talon that opted to start on
Teman-teman,
attack
kita
on this map, by
berdoa.
the way. So So it is the side that DRX is just
bisa
essentially
langsung
coming from.
menang ya, langsung ditutup aja gamenya biar gak lama-lama.
Hero moments here. Really just boiling it down.
And the timeout comes through.
Sama
You
Talon
get
nih.
another one coming into overtime, right? So
Once again, I have the question, who is it?
Talon, I would assume here on this one, being down in the OT count. No, it's DRX instead.
DRX.
Okay.
Oh, DRX masih punya time
They want
out
to try and end this
ternyata.
one early here and get a 2-0 clean map 1, unclean map 2, but yeah, it's entertaining.
Where was this Termy? The first two
Kira
seasons.
DRX time outnya udah habis
Actually
guys.
recognizing timeouts exist.
Yeah,
I can talk to my teammates. What?
he really wants to bring this one to an end. Not allow for that further reset, for this to go deeper.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about teams trying to have consistency throughout the year, right? EDG not going towards Toronto, Team 1 not going towards Toronto,
player sama coachnya semua
DRX were our
deg-degan.
victors and master
Penontonnya
reps as
juga
well just
deg-degan,
previously. If
guys.
they also bow out,
The setup for a wonky year, missing out on that middle section and having to rely on champions to make another appearance, to have an opportunity at a trophy. We'll see though, we can tell how desperately both of these teams
Hyunmi-nya langsung
want that
terobos
final
kah?
slot.
yeah. Back towards this A site yet again for the setup of Jit Boys. A bit different in the actual placement of the trap wires as Hyunmin is stunned. He is in the site and not having to contend with any
untung
of the
Hyunmin-nya nggak kena
traps
roket
just
itu.
yet.
Does get situated. Cam over the top, looking for the spot out. Now going to be cleared here.
Oh, this could be a 5 versus 5 post plant. These
Ah,
are
pas play-nya.
always so
Mako
scrappy.
pressure on both
Wah,
sides.
ini Mako
Here's
kejepit
it.
guys.
Faces it.
Mako
Has to
kejepit
backpedal away
sih.
though as the plant coming through here on the side. Steadies for one.
Oh,
Looks
nice,
for a
masih
little
bisa
bit more.
dapetin.
Reswing
Ah.
some damage. Delta Stray going to be dead at the same time as Cruz is able to find that kill now.
Sudah
A 4v3
seperti
Bane.
bilang
He's riding the
Mako
rope.
kejepit.
Do they hear this?
Swinging around the back.
Bane-nya ngejepit
Right now,
kah?
no pings. Softens it as he
Dijepit kah
arrives here
sama
onto the
Bane?
south side. And this could be
Wah, ini nih
absolutely
Bane bahaya
devastating
nih.
for Talon. Bane
Posisinya
is
nih.
looking to undo them.
Kalau sampai
Swings
nge-spot.
in, sees one, sees two, strikes
Wah.
down Gunman at the same time.
DRX
Able to
kah,
find Tail back
guys?
on the site. It's just Kahlua. If he finds the one, he gets himself a rolling thunder. 8
Dia
bullets,
ayam-ayamnya.
but
Oh,
no
bener
open hell.
DRX
Kevin
guys.
will get the 3K.
Gila.
DRX get the series. 14 to 12.
Kita
Push to
dipercepat
OT.
langsung
But out
nonton
of it swiftly once again here
PRX
on
lawan
Fracture.
Boom.
They send
Hungry
Talon
Beast
home.
atau W
Cracking here in the
Gaming
stage
yang
one
akan
playoffs.
menang rematchnya
As
guys.
DRX now will have their sights set. One more matchup. Boom or Paper Rex.
GG
To see who's
DRX.
going to Toronto.
And for
Walaupun
Talon as
tadi
well, no
Talon sempat
clean
step
series
up-nya,
that
hampir
really feels
ngejar.
like their lost win
Ternyata DRX
trajectory is
tetap
still
masih
coming
bisa
true here.
mempertahankan
Not
keunggulan
able to break
mereka.
that one. Again, coming back and not able to break that map number 1 curse on Icebox. But I gotta
Ente
say,
buat
the game
Talon.
against Gen G looks scrappy. They have some
Oke nih,
resilience against
sekarang tinggal
non-Shin Red
DRX
Force.
nunggu
But then again, you
bakal
still have
lawan
some
siapa
missing
nih
components from them.
kedepannya.
And a lot more missing, I gotta feel like in this one today. 13 to 4 on your own map pick is not something that you're gonna
GGWP
absolutely come away
Talon.
with any good feelings. And map number 2, you gotta feel like you were
Hampir
starting to
lampiran
find some
nih di
rhythm.
map keduanya
and
Talon
it's just
lumayan
ripped
nih
away from
ternyata. Bukan kaleng-kaleng ternyata
Pop
Talon
across
nih.
trying to steady the emotions there of the younger players. You talked about it. Having that pressure really meet you at the end. It seems like it did catch up with them a little bit. But for TRX, they stay afloat here in stage 1. Still an opportunity to get
Cuman
themselves
Mako loh guys
both that stage 1
yang
trophy as
stay
well
di
as the
di
appearance
DRX,
at
teman-temannya pada
Toronto.
pindah
But
ke
the road, it doesn't get much
pada
easier.
pindah tim. Basa Mastek
Just
pindah
one
ke
more, a
T1.
team that has
Terus
been able to overcome some pretty
yang nggak tahu
incredible
pindah
odds this
kemana
stage.
lagi.
Oh, for sure, changing
Ini
players,
Mako
changing
bener-bener
roles as well. Always a
setia
difficult thing.
banget sama
That it is. Well,
DRX
we'll go
ya.
ahead and get ready to send it down to Bella, who's going to be standing by for our winners interview. Get the thoughts of DRX and maybe hear who they think they're going to be playing against in that next series.
Hello, hello, Mako. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요, 마코 선수. 현민 선수 뭐 하고 싶은 얘기 있나요? 도망가나요? 알겠습니다.
Nah,
마코
Hyunmin-nya
선수 인터뷰
Hyunmin-nya mau diajakin
만나보겠습니다.
interview
박수
tapi Hyunmin-nya nggak
부탁드리겠습니다.
mau guys.
Hi guys, it's Bella. I'm standing with DRX's Mako. DRX is not going anywhere. They're taking that win, and let's hear from Mako what he feels about today's win today 와, 오늘 탈론을 상대로 승리를 가져가셨습니다. 오늘 승리를 해서 토론토 여행 기회 문이 아직 열려 있게 됐거든요. 오늘 승리 소감부터 한번 부탁드리겠습니다.
일단은 탈락 위기 속에서도 이기게
tinggal
돼가지고
satu
또
spot
기쁘고
lagi buat
이왕 이렇게 된 김에
ke
꼭
Toronto
올라가겠습니다.
guys.
I'm really glad that we took that win because we needed it. And hey, since we took that first win already, might as well take that ticket to Toronto as well. And not only is this the first clash of the two teams in 2025, this is your first time facing off with this all-tie roster. Were the expectations any different before you headed in today? After you played them, tell me everything, Mako. 이제 올해 들어서 탈론이랑 첫 경기를 하게 된 것도 있는데 또 이렇게 5인 타이 로스터로 만나게 된 것도 처음이거든요. 오늘 예상했던 대로 경기가 좀 흘러갔는지 좀 예상을 빗나갔던 순간들도 있었을까요?
예상했던 거는 좀 많이 힘들 거라고 예상을 했었는데
Siapa di
생각보다
sini yang
쉬워가지고
ngerti bahasa Korea guys, yang pernah belajar?
쉽게 이긴 것 같습니다.
Hey, I thought that it was going to be a tough match today, but hey, it was easier. So yeah, that was fun. Easy from Mako. Alright, next we're going to be playing, your next opponent is either going to be PRX or Boom. Do you have a preference, or who do you think is going to meet you at the next one to battle for that ticket to Toronto? 이제 딱 이번 승리를 가져가셨으니까 한 번만 이기면 토론토를 가게 되거든요. 다음 상대는 PRX 아니면 붐인데 만나고 싶은 팀, 만날 것 같다고 생각하는 팀? 마코 선수는 어떠세요?
솔직히 PRX가 보여준 게 또 많아가지고
Wah, Mako kayaknya pengen lawan
PRX가 올라올 것
PRX
같은데
guys.
사실 그 누가 올라와도 이미 다 그만큼 지긴 했지만 다시 이길 자신이 있기 때문에 그 누가 와도 상관없을 것 같습니다.
PRX has always shown that they were a very good team, and I think, well, I was gonna say that we defeated everyone, but we did get defeated by Boom. But hey, second time's the charm. We're gonna take that win, so it doesn't matter. Anyone come at me, says Mako. All right, thank you, congratulations to DRX for that win, and I'll be back after PRX and Boom match. 마코 선수 인터뷰 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
승리 축하드립니다.
GG. Siapa udah nggak sabar Boom lawan PRX guys. Tapi kita lihat statistiknya dulu ya. Kita lihat statistik dari DRX lawan Talon.
DRX close this match out and continue on their lower bracket run towards Toronto.
Yeah, undoubtedly going to be the favourites to be taking that spot over at Toronto. A lot of people would have expected them to go through the upper bracket. A tough map, particularly here on Fracture against Talon. They definitely made them work for this victory here, but you can see why DRX had so much confidence to pick it in against Fracture, against Talon here on Fracture,
kejar-kejaran
despite
banget
the
skornya
success
sih
that they
guys.
found with that Waylay comp.
Padahal
I
aku
think the
kira
Defeater
dari
has gone
awalnya
very, very well for them.
Yeah, obviously a
DRX
very
bakal
close map. I felt
bantai-bantai
like this
lagi
could have
kayak
gone
di map
either way, but
pertama.
I think one thing
Ternyata
that we have to talk about is the
Talonnya bisa step
individuals
up.
on DRX, right? You know, DRX are well
Dan
known to be
akhirnya
this fantastically
kejar-kejaran
structured
skornya.
team.
Wah, ini
Everyone
bikin
talks about Termi
tegang
and the
banget sih
coaching staff,
guys.
but in this map particularly, I felt like the players
Sampai
showed up as
overtime,
individuals. They
overtime-nya.
won their fights. They got those multi kills.
Cuma sekali
They got those
overtime ya,
clutches.
tidak
They all had that
terus-terusan
kind of X
overtime.
factor that really is what you need to get to those international events.
Absolutely. I mean, they are kickoff winners after all, and they did have a really strong performance throughout stage one. Talon,
Kita
like you
pindah
guys
dulu
said,
ke
they started
atas.
picking it up later in the second half. We started seeing an interesting usage of that Waylay, but it was too little, too late. DRX, this is
Ya,
going to be really
Talon
interesting
panasnya telat sih guys kalau
moving through the lower
di
bracket.
map kedua.
Yeah, for sure.
Dan
You know, they've got an
kalau
interesting
Talon
opponent to
panasnya
consider
dari
as we go
awal
through our next
sih,
series, but commiserations to Talon. They
kemungkinan
played
Talon
once
bisa
again a
menang ya,
fantastic
bisa
stage.
sampai
They
map
made it pretty
3.
deep in
Kalau
through the playoffs here. Not
lihat
quite as
dari
deep as
cara
they did
main
over in
Talon
kickoff, but they've
tadi
been
sih,
betting in a couple of
yang
rookies.
benar-benar step
Yeah,
up
great to
banget
see them bring this
dari
full tie roster. And
ketinggalan
look,
jauh
despite
tiba-tiba
what
ngejar
we
gitu.
did see
Wah itu
in this series particularly,
Talon
they are a team that
panas-
can, at their peak, beat
panasnya
anyone
cepet sih,
Pacific, and they've shown a
kayaknya
very, very
Talon
good
menang
performance here on
guys.
Fracture against the RX. So, look, it's going to suck to see Talon not go
semua
further in the tournament because
player-playernya tuh
they
lagi
bring a
pada
lot of
nyala
spice. They're always that
nembaknya
team
juga
you don't
guys.
know what to expect from, but
Dari
I'm looking
DRX
forward to
lagi
seeing
pada
what they
nyala,
can
dari
put together in
Talon lagi
stage
pada
2.
nyala.
Yeah, I think they'll come back in stage
Tapi
2
Mako
swinging.
tetap sih.
But on the side of DRX, I mean, it's hard to say that they don't deserve to be here. You know, like
si
you say, in that
jangkar
upper
dari
bracket, it was so
DRX
close.
ini
They could have gotten away with it, and now they are having to
agak
run the
sulit.
gauntlet. Mako is our match MVP
Dua
here,
kali
almost
MVP dia,
unanimously.
guys.
I mean, he was just
Dua
fantastic.
kali.
Just lights up the game
Maksudnya udah
once again.
aneh
He's
sih
so
Mako
good at
MVP
this. Now he's not on
juga
the
ya.
side of Yoro. as we've said before, this is the Mako of old, and we love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
dia
I mean,
emang-
you know, you can see now that he's not on
Emang
IGL,
bener-bener
he's able to kind of focus
bisa
a little bit
ngangkat
on more
timnya
his
juga
own
sih, guys,
game,
Mako
and
ini.
he's able to, you know,
Mau
play that
clutch,
positional
mau-
kind of gameplay that you love to see from him.
Mau
Love
dia
watching him on the brim. He's so
flankingnya
good with his
dapat,
sky
jaga
smoke
flankingnya
timings and
juga
disrupting
bisa
what the
dia.
other team wants to do on attack.
Absolutely. Mako, the king, continues to dominate. Now, gentlemen, it's got a little colder in the room because we got Mind Freak with us from PRX.
Oke, ada
Woo!
Mind
Hello
Freak,
and
guys.
welcome. Now, you guys have witnessed a lot of crazy things, speaking of spicy, yesterday's matches, and you guys are playing again today. Do you have a favorite moment from yesterday's game?
I would say it's probably the knife kill in the last round. That'd be like a little bit of like sweet moments, I would say.
Yeah?
Because we lost against them in kick-off, right? Yeah. So it's like sweet moments, I would say.
Do you not get freaked out watching your boys like go in like that? Like, what if Stacks just killed all of you?
Nah, I don't think so.
Not going to happen. I mean, we've seen you sitting in the assistant coaching booth, and you do have a lot of controller experience. So, did you give something any tips before the Fracture game yesterday?
Yesterday for Fractures game, I don't think so.
Okay,
That wasn't you. That wasn't
might
you.
help him out
Wasn't
next
me.
time. I think
Wasn't me.
Yeah,
Bisa
actually,
diungkit
speaking of the coaching
ungkit,
booth,
Yeah,
guys,
I wanted to
masalah
ask, like,
something.
Can you understand now after being in the coaching
Yang
booth why
kemarin-
Alex gets so angry in there? Is it so much easier to like see those mistakes? How have you found it compared to being in the actual server playing?
Yeah, I think for sure, like sitting beside Alex, I think creating a new point of view, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I kind of understand why sometimes he lost in the sauce, but like yeah, it's kind of like creating a new point of view.
what's he saying? We can't hear the thing.
Like yesterday, or what do you mean?
What's he saying? Like, we only hear his mouth going like.
I think like during timeout, he just like give the advice or anything. But like if not timeout, I think he just like yapping around like, why the hell they doing this, that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, full
Just
Singlish.
getting the emotion out, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now, your team's gonna be facing Boom today. You know Boom really well, obviously from Indonesia. You've played with some of these guys before. Who do you think is gonna give PRX the most problems today?
I would say probably Famous, because I think lately his performance has been good, and then like his operator is hitting shots lately, so I would say probably Famous. Yeah.
Ah, okay. And
Emang
you know,
Famous ini
since
kayaknya
I feel like this is gonna be a very
bener-bener lagi-
Indonesian theme
bener-bener
for
nyala
the
banget,
next
guys,
match,
di
and
di
everyone talks
VCT
about the
Pasific
Indonesian
ini.
super team. So if there was the Mind Freaky team, I'm gonna name your team Mind Freaky. Who are 4 Indonesian players you would put on your squad? It
If
could be
not-
from anywhere. Yeah.
Could be anywhere. Non-franchise.
Yeah. I mean, aren't the good ones here? But you can pick
Alright.
anywhere you want.
I pick my friends Severin, Lilo, Madeline. For second.
Jason. Okay.
Indonesia World Cup team.
Yeah.
Go.
Dude, that's a pretty sick team.
Yeah.
That should become a real team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we do have a couple of Indo representatives in franchising, but maybe, you know, chuck an extra slot in there for Indonesia. Some pretty good players over there, so
Yeah.
might go all right.
So, what do you think this is gonna pan out? 'Cause the last time PRX Boom faced off, obviously PRX didn't win. It was a 2-1 situation. What do you think is gonna happen today?
I think we're gonna win today, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we're
Uh,
gonna win.
Something's changed
Gila.
since last time.
Main
Like-
freak pede banget.
I think adding Batman towards the roster, making like a new environment and stuff, and sometimes teams really need to do that, you know.
Hmm.
So I think yeah, we're gonna win today.
Oh.
How important is like momentum for your team? Like obviously you've won the last couple of series in a row, and now you're like in the lower bracket. Compared to the groups, I feel like Boom was winning all their games in the group. They're coming off a loss. You guys are coming off a lot of wins now and just looking better and better and better. So do you think that is one of the most
Memang
important
Batman,
factors for this series, or do you think
bener-bener
that
bawa
you could get a
warna baru
different result?
sih buat PRX,
You
guys.
know, after you see teams come off a win or a loss.
I think for sure. I think our team right now is really need the momentum, because in kickoff and then like the first month during the group stage, which is like last month, it's been like really rough. So I think momentum is really something that we really need today in a late history.
So to follow on from that, obviously before the last game, the team had like 2 weeks to prepare, a really, really long time.
Alright.
And now they have a very, very fast turnaround where they played yesterday and they have to play again today. Do you think that that momentum is on your side after having won yesterday? What would you prefer if you were down there playing, you know? Do you prefer those long breaks where you have a lot more time to think and anti-strat, or do you just want to go straight back on the stage?
I think for our situation, I think we really need a break because we just changed roster, right? So
Yeah.
we need to like have some time to fix everything. So I think probably the breaks.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
Well, fans should be feeling pretty good right now. You look like you're feeling good. And both coaches from both sides, Alex and Six Fingers, actually, they were your teammates at different times of your life. Who's the better teammate?
Who's the better player?
Yeah,
Who's the better player?
No, actually true. Good teammate doesn't necessarily mean better player.
Better player. It's pretty hard to say actually because I only play with Alex as a teammate probably only 6 months, but with Six Fingers I play with him for I don't know years. I think like 1 or 2 years. So it's pretty hard for me actually. It's really hard for me. It's like different player have like different.
Strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like pretty hard for me.
Tell us about Six Fingers actually. What do you like about him, or what do you hate about him?
I think he's kind of stubborn. Oh, actually, there's a similarity between Alex and Six Fingers. They
Yeah.
both like stubborn actually.
Okay.
Ternyata
Is that a
dua-
coach thing? I
coachnya
don't know.
dua-duanya guys.
I think you do have to have some stubbornness as well to
Yeah.
be a coach or be a head coach, and because you kind of want to get your way. Look, yeah, I wanted to ask you a little bit about double duelists. Do you think that the prevalence of double duelists for PRX is been good for you guys coming back to that kind of play style?
Yeah, I think for sure it's better than the single duelist stuff because I think when we run the single duelist, which is Jason duelist, it's not balanced. The team is not balanced. When we run double duelist, everything is like comfortable and everything is on the flow. So I think double duelist is really suit for us because we used to play really good back then when we run double duelist, right? So yeah.
Now you don't have to answer this before I send you off, but I know we're seeing different teammates all playing the controller role. Are we gonna see a duelist mind freak one day?
No. No way.
All right. Okay, well, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past you guys. Anyway, with that, thank you so much, Aaron Mind Freak
Thank you so
from
much.
PRX.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, you can see right here, we are going to have a really short break, and when we come back, we are going to see Boom versus PRX. Who's winning today, Aaron?
PRX.
PRX. Well, heard it from here. Guys, don't go too far away.
Bye.
Bye.
Oke guys, kita break dulu guys sebentar ya.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back to VCT Pacific. I'm your host, Victoria, alongside Pilsky and Big Time, and we are so back for another series of heartbreaks, heart-pumping moments, and of course, heart attacks, especially when it comes to these two teams. These two particular South Asian teams, Boom and PRX. Now, Boom have been on a really good streak until their very first loss, stage 1 against Genji last week.
It's time to prove they're not group stage merchants, okay? We had one bad series, that's fine, okay? No one panic, we're in the lower bracket, it's gonna be hard, especially against PRX, full momentum. But Boom are still a very solid team here, guys, and I think that one bad series against Genji doesn't mean it's over.
Yeah, I mean, there was so much pressure on them that last series, right? That was the qualification game. That's the first time this team as a whole has had to play a game that big. Succeeding in the group stage is one thing. I think they showed such a high level in that, but you add on top of that all that added pressure, and that's where things went wrong for them compared to that Genji squad, who were much more kind of organized and used to that kind of pressure, right? So I do think the pressure is, it's still there today. It is lower bracket, it is elimination, but I don't think it's quite the same. So they're looking to bounce back and, like you say, prove that they are more than just group stage merchants.
Kita akan
Absolutely,
menonton
I agree with you guys. I don't think they are just group
rematch
stage merchants, but they are facing a
e-sport
PRX that
lawan
is
PRX.
finding their footing again. They're starting to look like the PRX we know and love. They are on a 3-match win streak right now, and then we're also seeing another layer of Patman being, like the Patman onion being peeled away to reveal a very formidable player.
I saw them just handing out meals as well. They're feeding the players after they get wins. Otherwise, no
Main
food.
pingpong dulu,
No food for anyone until we
guys.
win some games. So
A little bit of table tennis.
oh my God,
Yeah,
getting the
this is
reactions
how they
going.
warm up now.
Whoa,
Okay.
get me in the room. What do you mean? I would school all of these guys.
Bro, whatever. Sure.
Where's
I
my
believe
invite,
none of
PRX?
Apparently,
Ping Pong Rex.
guess who the best ping pong player is on this team?
It's got to be David.
I can see it. I can see.
Yeah.
I think he's got power in that arm.
That's a good guess, but it's actually something. According to them, something. Our Petrov, Brimstone, Yoru, Jet is the best ping pong player. But we saw a fantastic performance from them yesterday. Aside from the first map, we saw something that looked really structured, something really strong, and something very scary.
Yeah, absolutely. Their Ascent, I mean, these guys can play Ascent now. Their Ascent is really solid. They absolutely destroyed T1, and then we headed over onto Lotus. Same thing again.
Ini nih,
Make no mistake,
kalau
guys,
Ascent
T1,
di-pick lagi,
huge underperformance in the second
kayaknya
two maps. But PRX played very well, and they were
PRX
playing
bisa
in
lebih
the way
bagus guys
that makes
dibandingkan
sense
waktu
for their
ketemu Boom
team, and
pertama
it's
kali ya.
promising. They were getting active, they were
Karena
communicating, they were playing off of each other. They
kalau kita
were
lihat
the assertive
kemarin,
force in that game, and
PRX
T1 was
benar-benar
simply along for the
bantai-bantai
ride.
ya di
Yeah, I could
Ascent.
definitely. I think from that
Terus
game
di-
from T1, I do think they looked improved. But yeah,
Di
where were
Lotusnya
T1 in
juga
that game?
kemarin bantai-bantai banget.
I think this PRX roster is improving,
PRX,
and as you say,
semoga
I really like the way they're heading with their roles. I think it's a
PRX
much,
bisa
much better fit
bantai-bantai
for
lagi
the
kayak
team.
kemarin
But
ya
they still
guys.
have a long way to go to get to Toronto,
Walaupun
and they have to get through over a
map
boom-shaped
satunya
hurdle today,
agak
which,
aneh
as
ya
we know, are no
playstyle dari
pushovers.
PRX ya.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a really interesting evolution of this team, but I do kind of want to point out the last time these two faced off, it was Patman's very first time playing with this roster, and it still did go to a 2-1. They pushed Boom
Ini
further than any other
highlight waktu mereka
team
ketemu
during
di
that group stage.
Yeah, I mean, I
group
do think
stage.
Patman takes some time to warm up. That was not his best series. And on the flip side, we saw Famous go absolutely crazy
Famous
with the
bener-bener
operator the whole series.
ngusahin
So
banget
I
mau
think-
lawan tim
I do
apapun
think
guys.
in this series in particular, this was probably some
Famous
of the
tuh
best we saw
bener-bener
them play and
ganggu
some of the
banget
worst we
dari
saw
Boom.
PRX play. PRX still getting a map though does bode well for them, and I do think they are coming into this game as the favourites. I do think they'll feel like they should be able to get the win today and rewrite history.
You can see here on Ascent, 10 and 2 on defense. They came into Ascent with a fantastic game plan to shut Boom down. We had Fracture as the decider. It was kind of a close game, but I felt like Boom was kind of always in the lead, and they were going to get it along across the line at some point. So I think you saw a well-deserved win for Boom there over PRX in the group stage. But these two teams are coming off, as we kind of mentioned with Mindfreak on the couch here, very different situations. And now head-to-head, going to be Famous versus Jing. I mean, Famous, up until that game against Genji, was the highest rated player in the competition by every observable metric. But Jing, I mean, you've been putting him as your duelist every single week for a reason, every single time PRX is
Gak
playing.
beda
And it's been
jauh
paying
ya
off,
Jing sama
frankly
Famous
speaking,
ya kalau
especially
dilihat
he
guys.
does play well on the Omen, but as a duelist, he is also just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, when
here we are looking at
peak match performance, we can see that
agennya
Famous
sih
was against PRX, 302 ACS.
Famous
He
lebih banyak.
absolutely dominated PRX
Dia
last
lebih-
time these two teams played,
Yeah.
but
lebih
obviously
bisa mainin
Famous in the
banyak ya,
playoffs
dibandingkan
last
Jin.
game, he was not there. I
Kalau
mean, I think
Duelist cuma
there's three
mainin
things that are
Duelist
certain in
doang,
life
jarang
so
main yang
far.
lain.
It's death taxes and Famous choking in big matches. He
sebentar,
has to
guys.
rewrite that today. He has to rewrite that. He needs to be a huge part of the team if they're going to win, because that's what it took last time to beat Paper X.
I think there's a history and a narrative there for sure that does exist, but I feel like the Ascension Grand Finals, he played very well for himself, and look, honestly, that game against Genji, not great, but I've seen him overcome that kind of issue before, and that's why I've got some confidence in Boom today.
Yeah, he is a very experienced player. He's new to Pacific, but he's got a lot of experience there, and hopefully he can have a repeat performance today, and that's definitely what he's looking for. Now, performances that we might not want to repeat would be map 1 from something,
Net,
but
guys.
Poor
he
guy.
definitely never did.
Statistik
have you
something
guys
kemarin
seen
di
that-
map
that
1
gif of the
fracture.
oof meter? Like, that is maximum
Bener,
oof on the
bener,
brimstone
drop
there.
banget,
Like,
parah.
definitely don't want to be seeing that again. I mean, to be fair, that was a very poor game of Fracture for PRX, but something was phenomenal on the next two maps. And
Yeah.
you see this
Tapi
duality from
untung
something a
something
lot
di
right now.
dua-
And even on the Yoru on Lotus, he
dua
can have
map
a poor performance or a really good performance. So
setelah
I think he
fracture
is
dia
the
benar-benar
X-Factor
bisa
player
step
for
up,
PRX.
benar-benar
Yeah,
bisa
when we talk
bounce
about the
back.
role issue, this is the role issue, right? It's when something is on that duelist, he does seem much better, especially that jet. But when he's having to flex around, do these other jobs, you know, we've seen him on Breach before, you know, now this Brimstone, it's like, if he's not on that jet, if he's not on that duelist, is he going to struggle?
That is a fair question. I agree. He didn't look great on the initiator role, but on a
Kita lihat
Brimstone,
statistik
I feel like this is
keseluruhannya.
they just didn't play well on that map. I'm going to make an argument for that, but we'll have to see
Head-to-head
today.
ya,
They
menang.
have played Fracture before,
Menang
Boom
Boom sih
and
secara
Paper Rex
keseluruhan
here,
kali
and I'm not going to be
head-to-head
surprised if it
mapnya,
ends up
guys.
being pulled out again today.
Boom
Now
menang
we're
10
hearing
kali, kalah
their
4
head-to-head
kali
data from
mapnya.
group stages.
Yeah, we are
PRX
1 and
menang
0
9
for
kali,
Boom there.
kalahnya 8
Overall,
kali.
still great stats despite
Lihat
Genji
mapnya.
pulling those down quite a lot.
Attack
For Boom, they're
win-nya
topping
ya
most of the categories that you
11-12
see here. But
lah ya.
Paper Rex, much
Cuma beda
improved from what you
sedikit
saw in the earlier
statistiknya.
stages of the group
Defend
stage. You know,
win-nya
you can see
lumayan nih.
9 wins, 8 losses, but the stats are
Boom
very
defend-
respectable, especially
defendingnya
first kill
lumayan.
win percent. They're doing quite well for themselves. They're climbing
Pistol
up the board in terms of
roundnya-
pistol wins as well.
pistol
So
roundnya Boom
I think this is going to be
bagus.
quite a competitive series. And I think if you
Terus
filter
skillnya
PRX
ya, Boom
down
juga
to the
sering
second half of
banget
the
nih
group
dapet
stage into
skill
playoffs,
tiap-
they would be right up there.
tiap main.
They are a transformed team right now.
Yeah, Paper X got a lot of stick all the way through the
Dan
group stage. But, you
dua-duanya
know,
kalau
they
udah
kept
dapetin
taking
first
those maps.
kill,
They kept being close.
11-12
So
sih
this
pasti
was not a
menang.
team that were totally down in the dumps, and we can see that from the stats. I just think it was about them clicking, finding the roles that are going to work, and getting that confidence back.
Yeah, that is. I think
Dan
that's going to be
ya,
a large part
ini.
of it, right, for both of these squads.
Ini
About that confidence, about playing to their absolute
Map
best. But
pick mereka
historically,
ya.
even beyond these stats, these teams have played before in various iterations, other teams,
Dia
in
kemarin
scrims.
brimnya
So there's a lot of
something
familiarity here.
Yeah, I
kayak
think looking at the map stats,
kayak
there's a lot of
brim
different ways that this video
ade-adean
could go, but I
guys,
think
nggak
you've
bisa
seen both
apa-apa
of these
kayak
teams
main
kind of banish
kompe.
maps they haven't had success on. Haven has been a
Brimnya.
permaban for PRX since they've been losing it. You saw Boom
Bukan
try to
turnamen
turn a trick
kemarin
against
brimnya, brim
Genji. It did
kompe.
not work. They let split through. They got slapped on that map.
Yeah, I mean, the map draft definitely is the question. They do have some overlaps here
Kita
of
lihat
maps that they like to
picknya.
play.
Yeah.
Like you said, definitely no Haven Fracture. I think,
Heaven
I
di
mean, I think
ban.
Paper X might still play it. I don't know.
I mean, Haven taken out, Split taken
Split
out.
di
I'm
ban.
not surprised about that at all. Boom, I
Better
think
for Boom.
they've learned that from that mistake last time around
Oh,
against
map
Genji.
pertamanya
I'm
Lotus.
happy that they banned that. PRX coming in with the Lotus pick here.
Yeah.
Keduanya
Boom taking it
Fracture.
right back to Fracture after yesterday. I think that's not a surprise. We've already seen Boom beat
Decidernya
PRX here, and obviously it did look like a little bit
Ascent
of a
kah
weakness
guys?
yesterday.
I
Ascent
think PRX
nampaknya
selecting
decidernya.
Lotus, it's been one of their better maps. They are playing the double duelers with the Yoru. They were absolutely running circles around T1, particularly on that defensive side. They get very active on that map. And for Boom, they don't really actually have great reps on Lotus. Even though it's a map they played for a long time, even going back to Ascension Jakarta, you haven't really seen them take on that many solid teams, except for the game you saw against
statistik di
Global,
Lotus.
where they absolutely destroyed them. But I really feel like, again, that's a game with an asterisk. There's been so many of these
Dari
games
agen
where teams are rolling
komposisinya.
another team that doesn't even turn up to the server,
Ya,
and that's
mirip ya,
the win that
sama-sama
Boom's got there on
Domain.
Lotus.
Yeah.
I
Ada
know we're
Breach,
looking at
ada
Lotus Theater
Tejo,
right now, but I
ada
saw
Viper.
Ascent, being in that decider map. That's a very interesting
Tapi
decider
kayaknya
as well,
karena
given their previous performance.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen
PRX
Fracture and Ascent be
nge-pick
the two maps in this
main di
series,
Lotus
and
2 kali,
those are
jadi
maps
dia
that they played in the group stage.
mereka
You
udah
can
ada
see the 10 and 2 defensive path on Ascent from
komposisi
PRX.
agen
They were
lainnya
very well prepared
di
for the Phoenix comp that Boom
Lotus yang
played, but they now
kayaknya
swap back to the
bisa
Yoru,
lebih
which didn't
comfort
work
juga
well for
buat
them against
mereka.
Gen G. We'll see if they stick to that
Si
when we get to that
komposisi
third map
itu
decider.
yang kemarin
But
dipakai.
also, Fracture was taken by Boom last time. It's been a map that they've been quite comfortable to play, and PRX not a great performance on it yesterday. So I think that's why you see Boom just picking
Sedangkan
something that
Boom
makes
tuh
sense in
selalu
multiple
nge-ban
regards for
Lotus,
themselves.
guys.
I do want to ask, do you think Boom, who's the
Mereka
underdog?
jarang main
You
di
know, is Boom the
Lotus
underdog?
Boom ini.
Boom are the underdogs.
Boom
I
will
think
for
Boom-
sure
the
still
underdog.
I
underdog.
think Boom,
I think
yeah.
after the performance Boom had, it was diabolical against Gen G. We can't sugarcoat it. It was horrible against Gen G, and I think it was a hard choke. And PRX just come off the back of a win, and I think we'll see it whenever we get to our predictions, when we get to the viewership predictions. I would be shocked if it's not in the way of PRX. But I think that's exactly where Boom want to be. Boom were at their best when they were the underdogs. They came in, everybody said they'd be terrible, but
Well, it's time for the little SEA reunion. We're going to send it down to the stage to welcome Paper X versus Boom.
Oke, sebentar lagi mulai, guys. PRX lawan Boom Esport. Apakah Boom akan kembali menang lawan PRX, atau PRX yang bisa membalaskan dendamnya kemarin di group stage? Kita lihat saja nanti, teman-teman, bagaimana hasilnya dan jalannya pertandingan ini ya. Ini dia. Ini dia yang ditunggu-tunggu kita semua. Boom Esport melawan PRX.
Friends, former teammates, familiar faces, but only one team survived today's playoffs.
Dostai
It is
Famous
wild
and
to think
Slicer
Paper X, former
bersama
champions,
Zero.
grand
Seperti
finalists, now
biasa
fighting
line
for
up
their
book
lives
ya.
against Boom, a squad that rose from
This is
Ascension and
Slicer,
captured the heart
Famous,
of Pacific fans.
Dostai
Guys, give me a woo!
versus dan
let's
Zero.
go. Today is the day for Boom, if you ask me. They're back to being those underdogs, as I was saying before. This is where they want to be. They thrive on doubt. They
Hungry
thrive
beast,
on the
ow.
haters. And I think they're ready to show the world why they were so good in the group stages yet again today.
Now their opponents are
Ini
Paper X,
Paper
and
X.
there are viewers newer to VCT, welcome of course, and they're wondering what the big deal about
Line
Paper X
up-nya,
is. Well, just
Jing
yesterday we
Persekan
finally got
Dafai
to see a
Samping
true
dan
glimpse of what
Batman.
Paper X once was, and why so many fans have been desperately waiting to see them rise again. Now, guys, do you have to agree that Control Chaos, it's started to evolve a bit?
I mean, Paper X are looking the best they've looked so far this year, as far as I'm concerned. They're going from strength to strength. You're just seeing them be active, be assertive on the map. It's exactly what we want to be seeing from them. There are still some lingering role issues on certain maps, but on the maps where they've got the right approach and they've got it figured out, they are truly looking like one of the better teams in Pacific right now, and I can see why a lot of people are trusting them to make the lower bracket run into Toronto.
Now coaches are out. Ooh, what? They did not just do that. Oh, I love it. They did like the double fist bump to make up for the last one there. Little reference. Coaches are very familiar with each other, Six Fingers and Coach Alex. Now this map draft, we were touching upon this earlier, very interesting. I also want to know what your predictions are coming into this match.
Oh man, I mean, about looking at the map draft, I think it really could go either way. Like, I feel like there are a lot of map drafts where I feel confident for a team. Actually, seeing Icebox and Fracture back-to-back, I was feeling great about Talon's chance of a 2-0, and I just have no idea what I'm talking about. But
Apakah
this one,
PRX bisa
I actually
langsung
feel like it's
dominasi kayak
pretty
kemarin di
even,
Lotus,
to be
guys?
honest. Like, I think this really could go either way.
Yeah, I have to agree. I am leaning towards the side of Boom. I did choose to predict them for today, and I think that's because that what we saw against Gen G was such a one-off from them. I feel like they can perform better than this. The pressure isn't quite the same as before, so I really want to see them
Apakah
really deliver
in
like we
good
saw in that
mood
group stage.
Yeah,
PRX-an.
Absolutely. And here are our predictions. You
Or
two
in
are
bad
the only
mood.
ones who chose Boom today. I do wonder though how
Kita lihat
how
prediksinya,
divisive this is,
guys.
like as how much confidence they have in PRX today.
It comes down to a lot of recency. PRX have looked fantastic. Boom looked horrific in their game against Genji. No doubt about it. But I think
Wah,
Boom is
prediksinya
still a very solid
sih
series. A
lebih
solid team
condong
rather.
semua ke
And I
PRX ya,
really
kayak
have seen
dilihat
Boom
dari
have these choking
match
issues in the
perform
past and
kemarin
overcome
waktu
them and deliver
PRX
good
lawan
performances.
T1
And I have a lot of faith that they're going to be able to do
yang
that again.
tiba-tiba
I think
di
even if Boom play their best game
map
though,
kedua dan
there's a
map
chance
ketiga
PRX will still beat them. To be honest,
playernya
PRX
semua
looking
nyala
very scary right now.
I
tembakannya.
mean, for me, I'm in the same boat. I think they choked before, and I think they'll learn from that and do better moving forwards. We do have the agent competitions coming in,
Komposisi
and no surprises
agennya
really here.
PRX.
Over across on the side of Boom, they're playing
Ada
what
Rex,
they know.
Omen,
They like this group
Vice,
player
Yoru,
style on this
Fate.
map with Famous on that Neon.
dengan
I think
Boom,
PRX have
Bridge,
seen
Neon,
multiple
Omen,
games of them
Viper,
playing this comp
Tejo.
now. Boom are a team that has good prep and a good read, and you've seen Lotus be picked into this series. We need to see Boom respond to this aggression from PRX, particularly on the defense. They love to get active. You see them arc rows flashing, C mount, and taking duels, trying to find openers over there. You see them fake that A main control and leave something on his own. You see the rubble fights that they're able to win every time. How will Boom deal with that in this first half? Because they are a momentum-based team that needs to start hot here.
Yeah, my advice is slow it down. That's what they need. Don't let PRX pick up too much speed.
Yeah, definitely not. And Famous with an operator in his hand can be one way to stop the speed. Now it's going to be Boom
Akankah
versus PRX here, and
terjadi
all
duel
we are just
operator
passengers
antara
and
Famous
along
dan
for the ride. We're going to go track
something,
by
guys.
track with this, and our casters Achilles and Komodo drive us straight into the chaos.
There's no driving here. The hands are off, the pedals just pressed, and we're just seeing what happens.
Where it takes us, what
Yeah.
direction we go.
Just like I've seen in Fight Club, just take your hands off the wheel and flip the damn car, I suppose.
Flip the car.
Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to probably be a bit of a brutal one, a big back and forth we're anticipating here between these two squads. We got our traffic light Valorant out of the way. Now we go into the train track Valorant to see which one of these teams is going to be going up against DRX in their next series for that last spot at Masters Toronto.
I'm just hoping for a train wreck not to happen in this one. I just want to have a really good game of Valorant. I don't want this one to be a blowout. I'm at least happy that we got Fracture,
Sure,
close.
in that regard.
But also, if we've got a team that is just very clinical here, I mean, that probably speaks some good value and hopefully would turn into a good game against DRX as well. Because when you look at this one, Boom, I mean, they've got a good track record against teams throughout this
Kalian
group stage as
dukung
well.
Boom
But when
atau
you look
PRX,
towards the crowd
guys.
being against them in a couple of their
Ajak
series, it's been a
teman-teman
lot
kalian
closer.
juga,
So if
guys,
you're actually taking
buat
that as a little
join
bit
di
of a
sini
fisheye
biar
view, the
kita
crowd was
makin
against them
rame
here from
watch
their walkouts where we
partinya.
heard it be a little bit more excitable for PRX. So how much does that actually hold here?
We are about to find out. This series ready to go.
Oke,
As stated, winners
PRX
going up
dengan
against
strategi
DRX.
biasa.
Boom will be them.
Ya,
Gonna try to take down another Korean
satu
squad.
side di stack 4 orang, yang satunya ditinggal.
Will it be that RX Derby to settle who goes to Toronto?
Tapi Boom kayaknya ke B.
PRX here on the defense to start. Couple ghosts here in hand. A
Mau
sheriff for
crossing ke
Jing.
C kah Boomnya?
Similar firepower in the hands of Boom on the attack as the door gets tapped. See sight for the moment wide open.
And this will show Boom's preparation in watching yesterday's game too, with what to do around the C site. Though, that's a lot of shots as you bait out the shield
Famous
wall.
ketek.
Bates it does not that much damage for how many shots were going his way. Tagged to 78. Certainly could have been worse, but now PRX getting clustered up
agak
in the right position. Just going to be
agak
something
slow
still left
sekarang
back over
Boom
towards
mainnya
the A site.
The arc rows as well, poised to
Ditahan
flash
dulu.
everybody who's looking to come with through the choke.
Smoke over towards Waterfall, but they're in
Oh,
ahead of the
nice,
fight.
Jing.
What a track on the
Oke,
headshot.
langsung
Bates
dapat
gonna be
dua.
down there on the slide. Just meant to
Jing,
find Patman, but
double
Jing,
kill.
he's able to come away with 2 kills. The spike
Walaupun
now
Batman
dropped for
ketangkep,
Saken,
4 second,
moving out.
nice.
Finding
Levi
one.
oke.
Dos
Oke,
9.
langsung dimenang.
Just the 1 kill
Terus
bounce. The 2
Toraunya
casualties.
dimenangkan
Jing
oleh
with a
PRX,
3K.
guys. Apakah
PRX
ini
with the
pertanda
opening pistol.
bagus?
That's a pretty clear case
Untuk
for PRX
PRX.
as well, of just getting the right read and having the right numbers rotated nice and early, setting themselves up for a good little combo of utility on the site choke point as well of C. Do like to see that from them, immediately hitting their shots out of the
Walaupun
gate as
Batman
well.
langsung ketangkep kan,
Meanwhile, for
langsung ke
Boom,
delete
moving into
sama
starting
Famous
adjustments
tadi.
early for them because they are the
Tapi
team
Jing
that has
bisa
come
langsung
through,
dapetin
the
2
upper side
kill.
of things. They have had the longer preparation coming in towards this one.
And one team that made it into the playoffs.
Ini
with the
Boom sih
very
harus
clean
ngambil
record.
control map ya. Control
themselves
mapnya harus
potentially.
lumayan nih Boom.
In a risk of elimination here. As the shots flying through the wall just gets an immense amount of damage.
Nah, kan
Famous can't see
per second
anything at
udah
all.
mulai
So
naik.
Forsaken's able to go
Jing
ahead,
dapat 1,
quickly take him down. Jing
2,
clean with the
3.
taps. Gets himself another
Oh,
3K.
langsung dihabisin saja
As
guys.
it is going to be a damn near flawless anti-eco here for the side of PRX.
And we're going to have to see for Boom if they want to try and contend with any A-Rubble control. What are they actually looking to do in their layered approaches with fault lines and with drone, with salvos? If PRX are going to continue to contend over towards A, you need to be making
Nice
sure that
place
they're not
dari
just
per
able to
second.
dance around it. You know, we saw a lot of weaknesses for T1 on just gaining any sort of space, gaining any territory, especially over towards C. How scared were they of just Device's presence of utility?
Ada binatang guys di
Try to scam him.
monitornya.
Look at the stack, look at the setup, the read here from PRX going into.
Oh, Famous
Their
langsung
bonus.
sendiri kah?
Well set up to try to contend with this.
Oh,
and Jing
Jing
gets up over
through
the
the
top.
smoke,
Now he's got a
dapetin
showstopper,
Famous.
he's lobbed it in.
Oh, akhirnya
And
Jing
C-Slasher
bisa
is dead.
kena juga
And this
ultinya.
round is damn near over.
Oh,
Dawes
Dawes lainnya
right
belum
here
ke
within the
spot.
smoke. Looks like not really being given too much of a
Oh,
consideration.
ke spot juga
Just
sama
managed to push
Davai.
out to find Patman, but Davai massacres
3
two with the
Berserks.
Stinger, gets a hefty upgrade. And Berserks has nothing to do. Something wants to get involved, wants to find a piece of the action. He's going to be drifting around the back, and he's going to be finding a
Nice.
headshot.
Something.
3-0 start.
Gila, PRX guys, 3 ronde awalnya.
Leave the station for PRX, of course. Boom.
Semoga mereka
They want to be the
benar-benar stabil
derailers, and in
mainnya
that
guys,
sort of bonus round
konsisten.
as well, they are certainly nowhere near any of the action. I mean, you just look at the space
Wah,
control,
itu
you look
Jingnya
at the
mantep
early
sih.
stack from PRX as
So,
well,
stoppernya
having the
dapet.
right numbers and then just the right utility.
Nah,
When it
Dosnanya
comes into
langsung
the scrap
ketahuan.
battle, you know that's where PRX
Langsung ke
can
spot.
thrive.
Davainya untung.
With a lot of their players,
Untung
you know,
Davainya
able to
ngeh
chop and change
guys,
between roles.
peka dia.
How many duelists do we have on this squad?
Fighting their way forward here. Huge start for the side of PRX. Boom. If they have any kind of magic here with this Bucky in hand for Famous. Beats out the wall.
Something
He's
sama
actually in
Davai
front
udah
of the
ngambil
side, yeah.
control mapnya.
Oh, yes, he is.
Oh, Famous
Jing
sendiri.
is hitting
No
a
backup
little
kah,
bit different
Famous?
these last 2 days. Device similarly.
Wah, Davainya
Alive and
ketangkap
well,
sama
Dawes
Dosnai.
9. Does manage to find a headshot.
Aduh,
Jing will
ke-pick off
suffer his
1-1.
first death. As this does get brought into a 3v3 with a weapon upgrade.
You're going to have
Wah,
to pick
sayang
up
banget.
Spike as well eventually.
PRX-nya ke pick off
Still do have
1-1.
both controllers available for Boom, so you can toy with these rotations as well with the Viper's toxic screen over towards the A site. Just 9, wait to get his smokes back online, but really you need
For
to
a
find
second.
timing.
Oh, timing kah?
How
Bersup
did he
juga.
spot him?
No ping down. Either way, wall gets raised and he's going to have to tap the door, you would suspect.
Oh, ke spot juga akhirnya
Forsaken will
bersup.
just go ahead and find the headshot. He's slashing out, recovering a weapon. Swiftly puts
Aduh,
it to use.
nice.
Keeps it now
Nice
into a
banget itu
2v2.
NC Slicernya.
Spike is trying to be brought through the baby door and around. 30 seconds remaining, but
Nice,
PRX
something.
double stacks this angle.
Wah,
Dawes 9 now
terlalu nafsu.
clearing out one, trying to fake the exit towards A, and looks like Patman does bite the bait.
Batman-nya
Does
ke
have a
A.
seize and a haunt, depending on what
Defect
angle
kah?
he can come from.
Segan
They
Dawes
can
9?
be
Seconds, he can rotate to
good.
C.
Yeah, and that'll actually provide a little bit of assurance
Oh,
time
Dawes
as well.
9-nya ke C.
More time that you can play with the just Spike. Bit of an open plant here. Where does he want to go though?
Ketemu di
Trying to push up
waterfall
to
kah?
put a close angle here. Waterfall. Footsteps are heard. Should have the jump. Ooh, the shot rings out. I'm not sure if Patman had actually cleared him there. No, he's got a haunt in the seas. Tucks
Oh,
back
nggak ke spot.
around the corner and it's just going to get caught
Wah,
there.
nggak ke spot
Red
Dawes
Bull clutch
9-nya.
from Dawes 9 will go ahead and get Boom their first round win effectively
Dawes
in that
9-nya
thrifty.
nggak ke-tag dong.
Real cheeky one for them to be able to find there. You're looking at the lesser weaponry, getting some of the early damage and the trades as well, and then affording a little bit of reset time for the team to upgrade towards the Vandals as well. A bit of overzealousness from Jing in that one. You think, all right, maybe some stability will be brought back, but it's a trade game.
Terlalu
and
nafsu
it's
itu
the timing
somethingnya
and
guys.
positioning of DOS 9. You know, one of the key members that we were seeing go a little bit missing in the one against Gen G, specifically Famers as well. So if they are your key pieces to be online in a series like this, getting the first round on the board, having them activate would certainly be well worth its weight in gold.
The Odin there from Forsaken, looking to try to flush them over to this angle, but something does get noted wisely here. Red from the side of Boom, setting out that stealth drone, anticipating that forward presence at Mound. Able to avoid catastrophe for the moment.
Arcros just confirming more players are still around the C side of things. I mean, you would have heard that from the orb being gathered as well by NC Slasher to get closer to it.
Waduh, nggak kena
Trying to go for the
sampingnya.
flick, and DOS9
Tapi
taking
ketek
down a 6 HP.
Dust9-nya low.
You don't want to contend with the thorns there. That one is quite understandable. Now the minute mark to be hit, and PRX are gone looking.
Patman pushing forward here, but not overextending. Little bit of noise made there.
Okay.
Something of note as well. Patman, no more Prowlers, Jing, no more Boombot 2, so it does come down to these more deeper stages where the
For
rifle action
second
is going
udah
to be a bit more
stay
prominent.
di 3
As the harm.
dengan Odin-nya.
See when that does get sent. Something for now.
30 seconds left.
Just hang back, dodge the stun. Famous, ready to push.
Oh,
but
nice,
just
something.
a little bit snappier with it.
20
Takes him to pieces. Yeah, 20 seconds, and there's still that Odin locked inside of tree. Forsaken's just spraying through now. Finds the first. NC Slasher going to be taken down. In this round,
Oke, no
it's
time
over.
kah boomnya?
They need the breakthrough, and they just absolutely cannot. Wall never got popped.
Yeah.
And there you go. No back-to-back going to be found. PRX continue. Now 4-1.
I mean, when that shear isn't popped in a
Okay.
potential B split, you do just have all eyes essentially towards outside the baby door, and then you've got the spam to come through from Forsaken. Not too much of a wide angle that you need to think about there. It's a very sharp one though from something with the operator in this round as well. So far you've only got one round on the board as Boom, and it was on that lesser equipped one. Well, now you're back onto a bit of a lesser equipped variety.
Sebentar, guys,
Maybe it
wait.
is a situation where you need to go a little bit faster, right? You're getting really close to a couple of these ultimates though. So maybe the faster one might be in the round after this.
Love to have the overdrive to the point, but Famous just hasn't been able to find that impact to build this up fast enough. Forsaken repositioning, just spraying through here, hoping that he gets somebody trapped with this shear wall.
Yeah, just trying to find them when the expectation is going to be to bait out the shear, which now will be done successfully.
Stealth going to be sent, and Forsaken
nice.
he says, well, I'm it up
Forsaken.
for now. Famous. Couple
Crossing
bullets
ke
to the
C
brain.
kah?
Odin claims his life.
Tapi Dust9.
Forsaken will get
Ah,
caught off
timing
guard
banget.
here. Solid reposition from DOS9, sliding
Ayo
forward
guys, dirame lagi
unanticipated.
komod.
Yeah, it was,
Will answer one back, but that
Chat-nya,
Odin did not get
guys.
scooped up.
it was when Forsaken was actually paranoid, so he didn't hear it. So really nicely done from DOS9.
A little bit of a slower read, a pivot across towards A, now realizing that it's going to be on the C site.
Spike planted.
Just lobbed into the corner.
Oh,
NC
nice,
Slasher finished
Jing.
off, taken down.
Paint shield-nya dapat.
Solid paint shells there from Jing. DOS9 up top of the box. Does that get anticipated? Push onto the corner. Shiro able to find one. Jing not looking up though. DOS9 does manage to catch him by surprise. Still found Patman though. Quick peek
Okay,
out.
nice.
DOS9 dead. Turn to the flash. Double facing forward.
Oh.
Something. Doing as something does. Bounds forward with the shorty in hand.
Something
down to
things,
size.
guys. Itu
Damage
guys, namanya guys.
Still cash up plenty here for the side of PRX.
Yeah,
One
slight little
touch
moment
sambil
of worry in that
belok-belok
round
dengan
for them as Jing
shorty.
satchels in, and he actually bopped his teammate off the line, and he fell because of that one, but he still manages to have a little bit of recovery in towards the round. There were no
Ini timing
ultimates
banget
going
sih
into that
Forsaken-nya,
retake
guys.
scenario
Dia
as
reload.
well for the likes of
Dia
PRX,
nggak tahu
but
Dust9
a
udah
great little
masuk.
combo to dispatch of NC Slasher, who did pick up the Rolling Thunder. You could see the idea that he wanted to deploy that one in the round as well. May very well have been needed for Boom's chances there.
Siapa yang gak bete,
But now
guys,
you come in
kalau di
towards the
pick
next
kayak
round where
gitu,
you do have full
guys.
investment. You got a lot more ults online for both of the squads.
Armageddon Rolling Thunder combo. Potentially there. PRX though another showstopper for Jing as he's 12-2-2.
Yeah, having an absolute heat up.
Oh, hampir.
Trying to go for the quick peek. Eats a bit of damage. Berserks similarly though. Tagged up at 55.
Lucky to get
Sama-sama
away though with that
Tukar
peak.
damage dulu aja.
How many members Boom were just waiting for in spawn?
First round though. Reposition of the shear wall. Actually setting it up on this C site.
Noted.
Spots it. And clears it.
Ooh.
Nope.
No, they.
Now they clear.
Okay. Second attempt to try and do that. Meanwhile, you've got some repositions from PRX as something gets on the A lobby line. And the rest of the squad playing 2 and 2. Devi and Patman a lot to do on this C site though, if
Oke,
that's where things
Boom
will
akan
eventuate.
commit C kah?
Berserks just around the corner.
Oh,
and Jing
nice.
just a little bit faster.
Langsung
Previous
di
damage dealt to
wallbang oleh
Berserks,
Forsaken.
making a bit of a difference there.
Davai hold side
Picked apart.
sendiri.
And these are the situations where you expect
Datang
something to be
Batman.
using the dimensional drift to
Di
pivot some
ulti saja
information
oleh
for the
NC
rest of the team
Slicer
and allow
guys,
Jing to
diusir.
get on in, but Boom are changing it up.
Wah,
They wanna
pensilnya
go.
kena.
Up and over the top.
Nice.
Scoop is stopping him
Wah,
there,
Jing.
but he actually dies to
Ya,
fall
Jingnya
damage.
jatuh.
Bit of a king moment there as now the Armageddon going to be rolling out.
Davai
In the push
sendiri.
forward ahead of this one,
Aduh.
but DOS9 is there. As the angle has the headshot, something arrives on the site. Still just the
Wah,
off hand
Forsakennya
though.
gagal.
What a flick and a half. I have no idea how he managed to find that, but they have bought time. The spike never planted throughout this here. Now being committed to. Splash sent up and over the top. The peak coming in.
Nice,
Batman leading the charge,
Batman.
finding
Okay.
them both. PRX continuing now. 6 rounds secured on the defending side here of Lotus.
Just a lot of distraction from PaperX sent in towards that round, isn't it? When you got the dimensional drift that's coming out from
Sayang
something,
banget
keeping
tadi
the Boom
Jingnya
members on
jatuh,
their
guys.
toes, getting some utility thrown in there yet again. You've got Jing
Dia
making sure
loncatnya
that he's finding
ketinggian,
Berserk,
lihat.
but it's this moment here with the showstopper. It's 36
Dus.
HP that's actually taken
Show me
there
this
in
flick.
the fall damage. He's seen his
Wah, itu flicknya
but he still
nice
has to
banget dari
vertically
samping.
hit that one. 2 versus 2 scenario, and it was vulnerability when you're trying to establish a plant. So that's the sort of
Boom
sticky
langsung
situation.
timeout,
Had
guys.
Boom got the plant down earlier enough, maybe coming out with something different. But 6-1, as you mentioned, Boom calling for the timeout.
First one committed here. The wolf in the dark. That is adorable. They did not coexisting creatures, as it turns out, as far as their timelines.
No, neither is a meteor and a dinosaur, as we found out from yesterday.
Yeah, that's the one that missed.
Yep.
The percentage was increasing. They said, oh,
lagi.
there's that 3% chance it's going to
Lagi
strike Earth, and
ngerusak
then it just
momentum
it went
PaperX
away.
dulu guys,
Past
boomnya
the Earth.
di timeout sambil
Well,
bikin
fans,
strategi baru.
from across the pond there, and the cheer on at PaperX, and right now they are being well rewarded for their fandom.
Yeah, Lotus to pick off PaperX for good reason. I mean, when you consider the good amount of wins that they've been able to pick up with the repeated play for this map, one of the ones that they've played the most this year. And you kind of do see why at the moment. A really good idea on this defensive side. Still, economy not really toyed with for them as well, so they're going to have buys on buys unless we really see
Oke,
something different
B-nya
come out from Boom.
dilepas sama
Timeout for this
PaperX.
round coming into an albeit thrifty essentially.
Forsaken
Famous
dapat
can't get
kontrol
anything done with the
rubble-nya.
Bucky. You gotta see the ultimate invested.
Something di C
Be a
sendiri.
thrifty, but that's the one round that Boom got.
Udah nge-spot
Was a
tadi
thrifty.
somethingnya NC Slicer ke spot ya.
Credit was given
Sama
to the Red
something.
Bull clutch from DOS9.
There's just no space yet for Boom that they've really been able to find. Of course, the Shearer is over to the seaside yet
Forsaken
again, but that's
langsung
being
spray
protected
aja.
by something first on the operator line. You got things motioning towards this A side for Boom. They're going to have an investment of a fault line and the stealth drone from Shiro to get Famous on in. But apart from that, now you've got control. That's just going to bring rotation
Langsung
from
di spray
PaperX.
lagi oleh
Dodging
Forsaken.
damage there. Not going to get caught there by the shots. There's a Divine. Gets
Oke,
position
masih
over at
Boom
stairs.
masih punya
And then
waktu.
backed up by Jing. Jiggling forward. They're taking the space in behind Boom.
All of the information now is known. PaperX 100% know that Boom are locked into A.
Trapped here. That tree perhaps. Fast lane. It's going to be holding down M1 is Forsaken.
Wow.
Salvo sent, but not
Kena
displacing.
damage.
Three steadies in.
Oh.
Wah.
Diving right into it.
Famousnya mati
Cash
sama
Shiro
teman
with a
sendiri.
solid follow-up shot.
Nice,
Trying
Davai.
to get them back into this, but Divine comes away with the kill as NC Slash is going to be taken down. The stun going to be sent his way, but now Jing pushing forward as the door gets hit. Something finds
Oke,
the
mulai
headshot. Spike
dimajuin.
is on the floor.
DOS9 yang
is in
dicari.
heaven. Top of the rope is Jing
Halo
will
halo
go
yang
ahead.
baru join.
Find the last kill, 7-1. Timeout call. Not leading to a thrifty, but can it lead to a round win with a buy behind? We're about to find out.
That's the early game right now. The Boom are struggling in. It's finding any advantages. It's finding any space that they're not really being contended with by PaperX, who just have a great fundamental understanding of where they
Itu
need to put
Famousnya
their
mati
pieces.
sama teman
Very happy
sendiri
enough to have
guys.
something looking at an operator line by
Agak-
himself more often than not, having
Kayaknya agak
Odin go
salah
Burr
ini
as
sih,
well.
salah
And then
comms
meanwhile, you've got
kayaknya.
some good timing on Patman in the roster now with the Prowlers, right? He's layering them
Zero
around the
sama
map
Famousnya
very
salah
nicely,
comms
I
kayaknya
say.
tadi guys.
Gotta see what the difference on this buy-up is going to be for Boom this time, though. Controllers up through pillars already to the front of B. Patman, the one on the side itself.
Oke, masih hold dulu aja.
Drone against
Semuanya
something
saling
just gonna
hold.
back away. goes for the
Something,
peek, and Famous with a
somethingnya
great
ketangkep.
headshot. Beats him down. Dawes9 looking to try to reposition. Gets himself in deep over by C.
Dawes9-nya langsung
One-way
ambil
Finally, a situation
knock
as well for
control
Boom where
ya.
they can get the plant down and have enough time to set up for a post plant.
But they don't have the pit to try to go along with it.
Devi can
Kill guard
actually, yeah, remove the guns.
Says, let's put you back on a Thrifty. Overdrive going to be popped though and Famous. He likes those odds. Pushing forward, able to find one.
Wah,
Dawes9
sayang
holding
banget.
things down at the back. As
Wah,
Famous
sayang
comes away
banget
with a
ultinya
third.
sih.
Forsaken now has to do the lion's share of the work, and that is an immense amount of immediate
Langsung
damage. Famous with a
dihancurkan oleh
4K.
Famous begitu
Boom.
saja, guys.
First proper round victory, and a second one here on the board.
Converting with the opening kill as well is actually monumental for Boom, right? They need these sort of advantages and they need to be able to
Tapi
have
nggak
some
apa-apa.
time to settle down, figure
Masih
out a
jauh
bit of an
bedanya,
adjustment
guys.
plan. Not dropping in the pit this round either. It's just the timing for something over at the C mound side of things, you know, generally if you'd see
Sekarang
Devi put
Famous
the
pakai
Arcos over at
ulti,
mound, he could be
dia
flashing
jadi
first to allow something
wah,
to go
bisa
for that
dia
pick a little
bisa
bit more
masuk
comfortably.
terus
Just
gitu,
the
guys,
timing,
tanpa
Famous gets
adanya
across
masalah.
and then is able to overdrive in towards the site and really just destroy PRX.
Big change up here. Planting Jing forward.
Okay, nice, 4 second.
At the same time, Forsaken, he just peeks
Jingnya
out
belum
B,
ke spot.
finds Shiro there in spawn, and all the chaos that's ensuing around towards Mound.
Yep, and they can disconnect now. They've got the opening kill on a Shiro. That removes the salvos, that removes some information.
Repositioning lagi
Absolutely
semuanya,
pivotal
guys.
for a team like Boom right now to have something like that online, because if you don't, I mean, there's no real information. You've got to sacrifice bodies now.
Masih di hold aja side-nya.
Famous just going to try to find anything that he can get here.
Something sendirian di A.
Maybe a jiggle peek. This angle, though, be a hell of a flick on the Jing, but now is a bit more realigned.
Things going towards this A side with a potential pivot through the baby door back towards B, though.
Oke,
And
di
everyone's
delay
starting
lagi
to rotate towards
A-nya.
A.
Waduh.
There goes Forsaken.
Yep.
Famous bisa
will
dapetin
find
per
it.
second.
After shock, hold off the approach here. Jing swooping around, two players
Ini
now.
bahaya,
Jing back behind
Berserks.
this smoke. Berserk's going to try to hold the line, but gets full
Wah,
time.
nggak ke spot.
Turn
Oh,
around.
untung
They're able to
Berserksnya
find
juga.
it. For a second, looked like it might have ended with disaster.
Wah, Jingnya ketahu.
Double push
Jingnya
forward into the
ketahuan
smoke, shorty
langsung.
in hand. Jing
Dipus 2 orang.
ends up falling to the wayside. Now 3v3. Famous looking for the shot.
Nice,
Maybe
Batman.
Batman finds it. Just over the shoulder with the op. Doesn't find the contact, and now like opened up to start getting tapped here. Swing out, Devi. Holding from the one angle, loses out the fight. Patman now asked to clutch this out. And see Slasher down to a sliver, dead. Does he read the reposition?
Wah, no
Has the
time
shorty. Seems like he
buat
has an
PRX.
idea,
Hah?
but the time is starting to dwindle. Footsteps going to be heard. Gets it down to half. and
Oh,
Patman,
nice.
does he actually have it?
Apakah dapat?
Oh,
Wah, tipis,
0.3
guys.
seconds away from pulling off what would have been a monstrous clutch. But Boom, narrowly scraped by.
I mean, that doesn't give you too
Cuman
much
beda satu-
confidence as
sekitar
Boom.
satu
It's a
detik tadi
sigh of
kayaknya,
relief
guys.
that they're able to come away with that one, isn't it? 4 versus 5 conversion that they're able to get in. I mean, Berserk gets absolutely completely
Wah,
blinded,
itu
so no
Jingnya
pit
kayaknya dia
to
nggak
be able to
expect
put
bakal
on
dipus 2
towards it.
orang.
And I thought that actually PaperX noted that both of those members had gone in towards the Heaven location earlier on with the double peak and the shorty spot, but you never really know if they repositioned with the time or went for a bit of a flank. Valiant attempt from PaperX there, but finally we got another round on the board for Boom. It's in succession as well.
And now we also potentially get some off the off.
Yeah.
Oke,
Or
Rabelnya
grab
langsung
something, just
dikontrol
give him
selama 4
another
second.
dimensional drift.
More importantly though, for Boom, the pit and a Rolling Thunder, if you can
B-nya
set it up.
juga langsung dikontrol.
Jump out. Gonna be one and an exit. Batman left to his own devices, but the Seas will cover his retreat.
Masih mau kah Batman?
Smoke set,
Dia
lingers within.
sneaky
Meanwhile,
sneaky
double
di
push
smoke.
around the back. It's Forsaken.
Ah,
and a
4 second.
readjust, but
Oh,
Jing
nice
right
Jing.
there.
Nice
Play off it as
trade.
well. And Shiro now putting his sights through and losing the fight.
Wah,
Jing comes away
somethingnya
with
terlalu
another
maksa, guys.
Another kill as something does end up falling. Breaks open the C site here. The last 2 remaining players with both of them tagged up.
Batman-nya
Flank
flanking
click
nih.
Famous.
Oke,
Doesn't matter about the
bisa
HP.
dapetin Famous kah? Karena kayaknya no
Climbing
info.
down from Batman.
Oh, NC
Runs
Slicer
back,
jagain.
watched here by NC Slasher. The first shot missed here.
Oh,
Batman in
nice.
Perfect position to
Distract.
capitalize. Doesn't read NC
Wah,
Slasher's spot, but now
ragu
has all the
Batman-nya,
info that
guys.
they need. From here, the Rolling Thunder, far too risky. 14 health remaining.
Oh,
Jing,
nice.
he'll
Jing.
peek out. He'll see the shorty, and he'll shut it down.
Yeah, just already tagging him up makes it a little bit easier for Paper X to come in together as a team at the end.
Sebentar
A really
guys,
great idea to
aku
just get through the A
mau nyalain
lobby
lampu
earlier.
di rumah
You know,
dulu.
the
Salah
respawn
nyalain
as well
lampu
from
ya.
Patman's Prowler, noting that Shiro is still up the guts of V as well. So you've just got a really great plan from Paper X in this round to have the components for the trades available. Really lock a sticky situation in this one for Boom. The real only way they're getting back in that sort of scenario in the 3 versus 2 is if the shot is hit from Famous for a 2 versus 2 and they're rolling thundering one side where they're expecting the opponents to come from and setting him up on another offline.
And now look at what you have for Paper Rex. That final kill from Jing in the previous round. Another showstopper, his third of the half at the ready. If that pit comes into play, you've got something who can scout. And the Rocket that can flush out a Viper, but something, never mind, is going to be taken down. Rocket does go flying. Damage found on a Famous, but kill not coming through. Swings in with the Stinger. Jing finds the headshot. Is able to shut down the enemy Neon. Ultimately a trade up here for the side of Paper X. Player advantage in their hands. Now everyone from Boom committed and contained within this Rebel position.
Big duel to actually win here.
They're going to think that they can rotate out, and Forsaken is lurking with a Judge around the corner. If they choose to go into B, they might just save themselves, but otherwise, a drift towards C, towards Mount could cost them.
Oh, but it does look like they're toying with the idea of C.
They're clustered up. This could be devastating. There's one. Can't find the second.
They're actually going to beat Paper X towards this C side too, so maybe finally we're going to get the pit in play for Berserks.
The two players with ults at the ready. NC Slasher gives it a consideration. Opts to go ahead, save it here, perhaps for the post plant. Pit goes in first, but Patman on a little bit of a faster timing, pushes forward, finds him. NC Slasher now has to do it all, but the peek over the top, the spike never planted. Jing in pole position strikes, and Paper X are up 9-3 as they now swap to the attacking side of Lotus.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than the 10-2 half that they got against T1 if you consider Boom's side of things, right? But it's just another story where Paper X have really great ideas on this defensive time. They've got great recognition of the gaps around the map. And Boom, I mean, we've seen that they haven't really played this map too much, right? A really big win against Global Esports. But that was in, what, week 2 of the group stage? That was absolute weeks ago. If you've not been prepping and being ready for this one here, and you're watching the game yesterday, you're still allowing this map to come in towards this series? I mean, not good yet.
Oh, this is revealing. Do you like seeing your boyfriend suffer?
I mean, he's not been suffering too much lately with the wins they've been getting, so...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But that might mean that she's suffering, if that's what
right.
she prefers to see him angry.
Yeah. Goatable animals, who takes the crown, the dinosaur or the wolf? I mean, one of them's extinct, so...
One of them is also just a category.
Yes, this is true. Which dinosaur?
Yeah. Which one?
I guess
what we
Tyrannosaurus Rex, right?
Triceratops, Raptor, T-Rex, like this, you know.
Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl, another good choice.
Yeah.
Brachiosaurus.
I like the ones that can fly,
Brontosaurus,
because we can't do that. It's just an avenue that we don't get to experience as humans. Yeah.
Maybe one day.
9-3 guys.
Flipping up on the half though. Let's see if Jing is going to be able to carry on with this absolute destruction that he came out with on the defensive side, by the way. Or if Boom are going to be able to answer back now with
Paper
the
X
double
akan
controller
menang
setup
di
that
map
they have
pertama
deployed on
ini.
this map.
Yeah, I think
Kita lihat saja.
Boom could run this back.
Wah, langsung
Defending side.
diprediksi.
Be able to take this map. It would be one of the biggest comebacks that we have seen.
Oh, nice something.
Included. Flashes out onto multiple
Aduh,
players.
itu
Shiro able to
Shironya.
find one, but I mean,
Nice.
he's lost in the sauce. It's a fall
Oke,
for something's
Davai
hand.
masih
Dawes
nunggu.
Nine out, nice little lurk behind the box. Finds Patman,
Wah.
finds Davai. Dawes 9 continuing to try to be the hero here
Nice,
for the
Jing.
team, but Jing cutting
Jing
him down
versus
with the
Famous,
sheriff.
oke,
Finds the
dimenangkan oleh
follow-up on the
Jing.
Famous. Both pistols in the hands of Paper Rex as they get themselves up to double digits.
Kita
that makes
kedatangan
things
tamu guys.
monumentally more difficult for Boom now
Lihat
into this
siapa
map.
ini.
I mean, maybe it is another scenario
Oh,
like it
sekejap.
yesterday where Paper X had to just write off Fracture in their minds when they had an abysmal performance there and look to have map 2 and map number 3 go your way. Maybe that's too early to say at the moment, but Jing getting active yet again with a lot of the kills. We did see on Haven, for example, Primi come out with a really good half with 19 frags on that attacking side and ending up with 25. I mean, I think Jing is looking to do a little bit better than that as an individual performance.
Oh gitu mau nonton.
hell of a way to start things off for him.
Something? Oh, nggak nge-spot
Kind of having
somethingnya.
the game that we were maybe anticipating to see from something, given how he played the Euro just yesterday.
Yep.
Jing. Absolutely outpacing him so far. Still fairly light on the pie here for the side of PRX, considering the lead that they do have, not wanting to take too many risks.
Commit A
Sticking
kah?
to the game plan no matter what.
Yeah, and if the plan right now is end at A, well, you
Masih
only have to
Slasher
contend with
sendiri.
NC Slasher, then you can play it to your heart's content and have a pretty easy close to the round. Meanwhile, C Mound, little counterplay from Boom over there, but it's going to have no value.
Probably checking, not spotting. NC Slasher for now, still hidden here at
Wah,
backside.
belum ke-spot nanti Slasher-nya.
Boombot
Ke-spot
ends up
juga,
bouncing
oke.
one more time and Forsaken
Forsaken bisa
plays on the back
dapetin.
of it beautifully. He rides the
Ya,
rope. Must not have been blinded. Finds the headshot. It's
agak bad flash ya tadi Forsaken
Taken down
kena
and Jing
teammate-nya,
gets
tapi
spared.
untung masih bisa dapetin kill.
Back. Forsaken continuing to challenge the angle.
Yeah, it was a bit of a team blind, unfortunately, there from Forsaken that got his little friend. Yeah. It was the Paranoia and Salvo combo from Boom over at Mounds.
PRX is about to get silly. Looking for the flash out. Nothing really noted there. Something finding the shot.
Nice something.
Continuing to run forward.
Oke,
and all right, they get the
langsung
cleanup.
saja.
It's going to be a flawless here. As PRX
Agak
in the
menegangkan
heart
ya
going.
tadi
Making
kalau
me
mereka
concerned. I thought they were going to
salah,
rush out, lose a bunch
langsung
of weapons.
rata itu
They
lima-limanya.
just want to add a little bit more entertainment towards this one. They can't win a map cleanly. They have to do something silly. But no, good to see that all 5 are alive. You know, they come into that round with a couple of pistols as well, so you can potentially see now this bonus round look a little bit more stronger with holding for the rifles, which is exactly what they do. An operator, meanwhile, for Famous, glass cannon style. At least it's out early, right?
Ini
Last time we saw
Boom
Boom play, they have, what, 2 operators
nampaknya
in play
performanya
total?
turunnya dibandingkan
Took him 6 rounds
di
to be able
group
to get it.
stage. Kayaknya ini
The
bukan
first time
Boom
out.
group stage nggak
But
sih
yeah,
guys?
Glass cannon, no
Karena
fast lane.
setahu aku Boom di group stage tuh mereka benar-benar
Setting up the smoke now is
menakutkan,
well aware
control map segala
of
macamnya.
this off being in play. Makes a
Tapi
TP.
ini
It's a little bit of an investigation here onto the site. They were thinking maybe he could be
control
backside.
mapnya kayak nggak ada ya guys.
Where does he want to go, though? Just sit here?
He's just smiling.
Yeah, wait for your teammate to see if you can reveal any opponents. I mean, it's putting a little bit of pressure right now onto DOS9.
Oh,
who,
DOS9
well,
dapetin
doesn't feel
Forsaken.
pressured anymore that he's found Forsaken.
Shrugs that off. In the meantime, Shirov did get tagged out. 10 HP remaining there on Boom's Tejo. Zek into the B side, getting ready to come to fruition. Thorns that just go ahead, hold off that back angle, upper to get the spot on NC Slasher.
Masih Slasher ke spot.
As something checking around towards
Oh,
hits that
nice
headshot
something.
through the corner.
Dapetin
Pivot towards the A
Famous.
side now as well, and I'm looking at the utility of Boom. You have nothing really to play for on this retake.
No paranoia, just a fault line, and it's already going to be sent as they try to get themselves into positions, but you still have a
Oke, Jing di
Viper
bawah.
that's along the
Ah,
way. Jing, however, does get caught.
ke spot
Nos 9.
juga akhirnya Jing di bawah.
At top, does manage to go ahead and find the one. Flash
Defy,
into the swing out.
nice.
Defy, collecting another.
Oke, double kill Defy.
Himself two.
Batman.
Finishing off that low HP member.
Wah,
but
Berserks.
Line him up.
has them lined up.
Berserks bisa dapetin semuanya.
PRX recounting back
Sayang
to
banget.
Master Shanghai. Themselves stacked in front of one another. Die together, and that does give Boom a round win.
Yeah. Not bad for Boom, but not the way that you wanted to be getting another round on the board, is it? Into the bonus rounds where you only take out one weapon, albeit the operator, so you'll at least be okay that you take that into the next one. Timing and rotations
Such a quick shot.
from PRX. Still given a massive crack in this one. Just want to see this last kill and how they do line up for him.
Wah,
It's a
itu
bit of a
agak
launch
bad
for
pick
Berserk.
sih.
Yeah, I mean, he's just shooting through his teammates, falling corpse at that moment. Still,
Dari
Boom on the board
PRX
again.
tadi
Will
agak
stave
bad
off
pick
PRX
guys
from
yang
getting
terakhir.
map point in the first one of this elimination game.
Yeah, so much damage dealt here. So another outlaw brought forward.
It's not the
Only
worst.
2 half armors actually here. So not too bad, but
Wah,
Defy
nice
just
banget
disrespects the
Defy-nya.
smoke, pushing
Bisa
forward,
dapetin DOS9.
catching DOS9.
Famous.
Famous. That would have been one hell of a flick. Close but no
Wah,
cigar.
Berserk
Something
ini.
does get taken down.
Berserksnya nyala
All
guys.
gained in death. As Prowler to try to check
Ini
around the back.
Berserk bisa jadi
far,
pembeda
Berserks
nih.
avoiding detection. The bound across Jing.
Oke,
Still
nice, Jing.
somehow comes away with that kill. The
Bisa
judge now
tetap
from
dapetin.
Forsaken just storming forward towards Waterfall. And even gets Shiro down to 67. The armor ripped away from him.
And you've got an operator, remember, for this retake. Do you have to consider saving this for the next round?
I think you absolutely do. But at that point, you're no longer playing for the win. You're playing to try to push it into overtime. We'll see what the call does end up looking like for Boom. Might be best to just cut the losses here on the map and then focus forward for their own map pick.
Dilepaskan sama
however,
Forsaken.
is able to find one. The judge for now on the ground. Showstopper, however,
Showstopper dibuka sama
similarly
Jing.
at the ready. Just looking to try to contain them back.
Aduh, kecepatan.
Boom, pushing
Nice,
forward,
Jing.
persevering. Paint shell sent. Jing frantically trying to figure out Shiro's position.
Ke spot
Shiro
duluan
get him
sama
with a
Shiro
wall-bang
Jingnya.
shot. Once again, up, can it be retained? Boom.
Boom mulai
Continue to
step up.
persevere.
Yeah, by the
Kelihatannya
narrowest
guys,
of margins
walaupun
yet
masih
again,
jauh.
7 seconds and change
Tapi agak
on the
bahaya
clock.
ini
So a
kalau
3
Boom
versus 4
step up
retake
terus
that they
lama-lama.
find successful. Think about, you know, the call that they would have had to make in the scenario like that as well. What do we wait for? But we find some good timing on
Forsaken
Forsaken looking the
ngelepas
wrong way.
angle
The
sih,
operator
sayang
comes out,
banget.
and then there's a couple of trades. 1 versus 1,
Dan ini
similar
Shiro nge-spot.
HP for both members
Buh.
at the end as well, but Shiro getting that one, so they will hold on, and it really is feeling like it's Boom holding on at the moment, but maybe now a moment of reprieve. Stingers, light shields, Steel Garden though, Dimensional Drift, I mean you could actually invest those in a round such as this as Paper X.
Knowing the team, they very well may.
It could be quicker towards the C site with the Nightfall to lead first too.
The paint shell sending him off the angle here. Bucky in hand for Jing, just trying to scare him off and force him back.
Oh, Dostainya gak kecek.
21, swing onto the corner though, Forsaken, doubling back, he's able to find all 9. Shiro, dead,
Oh,
divine,
nice.
got the stinger, pushes in, finds Berserks.
That's the
The slasher pitching through the smoke, is able to find one. The spike drop for a brief little moment.
3v2.
Team is with the off. The swing
Sabar,
down,
oke,
and
Devan.
Slasher loses the fight.
Tinggal Famous sendiri.
Famous has to do it all. The question is again, do you save it or do you try to play it out? His teammates will have relayed how low some of these players are, but now he's trapped in. Slides across,
Ada
hits the
Fai yang
no scope.
ngapain.
Oh, tiny bit of style perhaps.
One bullet.
One bullet. Reloads. Can he split
Nice,
this stealth?
Jing.
The Bucky will once again sing out. Silencing Famous as Paper X get themselves up to map point.
Oke,
I mean, I'm
match
talking about
point.
maybe a Dimensional Drift
Paper
of
X
Steel Garden
apakah
and
bisa
that they
langsung
just
menutup
invest the
match
Nightfall
ini,
and they make
guys?
it look easy a little bit there, don't they? They're just straight shooting in towards it, they're getting the trades, they're
Kalau
commanding
dilihat
space
sih,
towards the holes as
permainan
well.
Paper X udah mulai.
Stingers and the Bucky getting the job
Paper X
done.
seperti
And
biasa
that
ya.
pushes Paper
Paper
X
X
onto round
versi
number 12. Now, map
Chaos.
point, this is their
W
own map
Gaming,
pick of choice, by
tabrak
the
sana
way, for
tabrak
those that may have
sini.
just joined us during the map.
Dan
Now it's
nampaknya Boom
7 in a row that Boom would need to find
kayaknya
pushes into an
player-player Boomnya
overtime
kaget
scenario.
karena waktu di group stage Paper X mainnya gak gini waktu lawan Boom.
Hit on C, Dimensional Drift, storming through the B side here for the moment. Push up, close angle, Jing able to find one before being taken down. Jump up into the smoke. Shorty shot, not quite connecting there as something. Quick little exit. Forsaken in the meantime, though, he's pitching forward. He's gotten himself as well over the baby door. And now this back
guys,
rubble position
pemain
is all but
Boomnya.
shattered. Wide open.
Sama Paper X
Dolph
di
9
rubble.
Berserks left standing.
Yeah, DOS9 could get out of there, but his teammate couldn't. And Berserks just used the pit at the C site, remember? So they kind of knew where he was already.
Peeking in, checking things out. Nothing spotted Berserks. Just the stinger in the smoke. As the Seas gets a grab. I think noise has been made. And like you're pointing out to me now, yep, Devi still on a lurk.
Davai masih di rubble, jagain.
Seemingly has spotted him,
Ambil
but
cap map
Devi just
control.
wins the fight.
Nice banget.
13-5.
1-0 buat Paper X
An
versus Boom.
explosive performance from Paper X on their map pick of Lotus as they take the opening map here in this elimination series.
Yeah, it just definitely feels like Lotus is a very comfortable map for Paper X when they are going through a time of figuring out who's playing on what
apakah akan
role.
terjadi
This one, it
fracture
just looks
kemarin,
much more
guys?
cohesive for them.
Seperti lawan
When we switch
T1
over to
atau
the next map,
tidak?
I know anything can happen again with this team,
Semoga
but
saja
hey,
tidak
they
ya.
are a map up in this series now. The confidence will be riding high for Paper X, and if I'm thinking of Boom right now, I'm thinking you just got to be in the scenario that we had a couple of rounds where we're hitting some shots, we're getting our trades, we're getting dirty in towards it, we just need to have
Dan
a couple more early realization moments
dari
coming in
player Paper
towards
X juga
Fraction
lagi
X
nyala
to
banget guys.
really just set us on the right
Mereka
path.
lagi dapat banget
For Boom,
aimnya.
a loss that will need to be shrugged off.
Walaupun Boom juga
Team
sama
that's gonna
lagi
need to be
bukan
setting
dapat
alongside the
aimnya.
nerves. Some decent moments at the
Tapi
start. A couple players
Paper
were
X
hitting
lebih
DOS9,
nyala
continuing to put up some
dari
decent performances
klik-kliknya.
round over round, but
Dari
the victory's just not quite coming to fruition.
first picknya dapetin first
See how they
skillnya.
fare, bouncing back
First
from the
skill
13 to
itu
5 with their own
pengaruh
map
ya
pick here
guys.
of
First skill
Fracture.
itu
They need it to be
Kalau
a
kita dapet
victory. They
inverse
need
kill
to
duluan,
extend this to that third and
kita
final.
lebih enak.
Otherwise,
Jadi
it will be PRX
jumlah kita lebih
once
banyak,
again
kita
going up
lebih fleksibel geraknya juga.
alongside TRX for final spot at Masters Toronto.
Jadi nggak lebih
Boom,
overthinking
a chance to run this
guys.
back, but need to
Kita
get the
kalau
reverse sweep.
jumlahnya lebih
We're gonna get
banyak.
ready to go ahead and send things back over to the analyst desk. They can break down all of the action here, all of the chaos
Dan
that
PRX
Lotus delivered.
map kontrolnya udah
That's right, and we
Udah enak nih,
expected
mereka udah bisa
nothing
dapetin map
less
kontrolnya.
than chaos. Boom and PRX. PRX ended up
Nggak kayak
delivering all
kemarin
that
waktu
chaos in all of the worst ways against
di
Boom.
fracture lawan
Yeah, I mean,
P1.
Jing, what a
Kemarin di
fantastic
waktu
game
lawan
from him. But
P1,
PRX, their Lotus
di
looks really
fracture
well
nggak
drilled
dapat
at the
map
moment. Like they
kontrolnya
are
sama
going
sekali
from
guys.
strength to strength with this current
Map
comp that they're
kontrolnya malah
running.
dipegang sama
Most of the maps where Jing is on the
sama
race, things are going
P1.
very well for PRX at the moment. And in his current form, he's looking like he might be the best player in Pacific. Like he was in complete flow state that game. It was ridiculous. It's just perfect movement, perfect mechanics, and no one on Boom could even touch him.
Yeah, he could do no wrong, even just from the very start of the map. He started hot and kept going so continuously all the way through. I don't want to know how many showstoppers he had throughout the game, but it felt like near infinite, ending that game with a fantastic 350
Can I
points. Yes.
say something about that? If, at this point, if I'm the opponent on Lotus and if I'm standing in Waterfall, I would get the heck away because you know Jing loves hitting that
He's
spot.
going.
He does.
He's
He'll do
going in there.
Shotgun guaranteed.
Yeah.
We also saw a nice game from Dust9 on the other side. I think he showed some good levels, some good individual, but the rest of the Boom guys not really there, especially as we look down towards the bottom of that scoreboard there. Berserks and Shiro didn't manage to find their footing into this game, which is something that they do need if they're going to topple a Titan like PRX.
Yeah, if we're going to reverse sweep, we need 5 big booms. There's only one in the server right now. And NC Slash did alright, actually,
Yeah,
as
he
well.
was
He was on the breach and he was fragging, okay? Like, half the time he's holding util. He was shooting a fair few people, but 100%. This is a problem for Boom. We cannot go missing anymore, guys. There's no more losses that we can possibly have. And look, it's really hard to fight the group stage allegations at this point. It's getting very difficult, guys.
Okay.
We both predicted for you, but it's getting hard.
I'm going to huff the copium. I thought that was actually better than it was against Gen G. It was better than it was against Gen G. And, you know, Boom did have some nice moments. We can take a look at the replays here.
Both of you guys picked
Okay.
DOS9.
Yeah, we did. DOS9. So, look, talking about DOS9, I mean, I
tapi
feel like
DOS9
this clutch in
nyelamatin
particular we
beberapa
had to
kali
talk
sih,
about. I
guys.
felt like he played it so well. He made the little step running towards A, baits pattern across,
Nampaknya
smokes on
DOS9
A,
ini
buys himself so
tukang
much time,
bersih-bersihnya
positions
Boom ya.
himself nicely
Kayak
at the soft
Davai
angle.
tukang
This was so
bersih-bersih
clean. This is textbook
di PRX.
one-on-one play.
Yeah, I mean, DOS9 winning multiple clutches for them that were the mostly
itu
the only
DOS9
rounds that
kalau-
Boom got. The only other round that they got was
Kalau
actually a pretty
DOS9
nice
lagi nggak
approach to the
DOS9-nya
C
nggak
post
nyala,
plan.
dia
They
nggak
recognized
bisa
that the
dapetin
Steel Garden
clutch
was there
kelasnya
for
kayaknya.
PRX. You have to recognize what kind of
Skornya
game
nggak akan
plan
segitu
your
sih guys
opponent's going to
menurut
come
aku.
in with
Malah
to
Boom
be
lebih
able to
kecil sih
actually complete the retake. So
skornya.
the fact that they were able to play outside of C Mound, nice drone to actually set up
Tapi karena
Famous onto
DOS9
the
bisa
line there,
dapetin
able to get
clutch-clutchnya,
that
dapetin
first pick, and then from
momen-momennya.
here they recognize what the retake plan
Jadi,
is for PRX, and they're
ya
already
Boom
playing
juga
around it
dapet
before it starts.
dapet
Yeah, I love
skor
this.
juga
Famous not
si
afraid to go
di match
forward.
ini.
That's exactly what you should do. You don't be locked in on that Lotus C site because the retake becomes so much easier when they have all that space if you just move all the way back from long. Famous stays on site, pushes into waterfall, makes life hard so they can't take the space with that Steel Garden.
Well, one thing's for sure, you guys did pick the correct Boom player
Main
as
freak
far as
2.0
map
kah
So
DOS9 ini
goes.
guys?
So far.
But I mean, I expect good things from DOS9 continuing on, and I do hope we get a full series today. I know a lot of fans here in Pacific have come to like both of these teams a lot. Now, Jing, we were talking about his performance and how, you know, you're saying he's probably one of the best players here in Pacific now.
Yeah, I think so. Like, when he's in this flow state, he has just continued to deliver every single series. Jing is fragging on the duelist, he's fragging on the controller, and for PRX, he really is just the best player right now. And the thing is, when your Raze is in flow state like this, you know, this is the agent that he's known for.
Yeah.
You're just able to get so much momentum for
Ah,
your team
gila,
because you're
apakah
making
DRX
plays,
akan
getting those
ketemu
opening
PRX lagi,
picks,
guys?
but also you can see just how many showstoppers this man is stringing together, getting 3 or 4.5.
Tapi kelihatannya rosternya mereka udah mulai nyaman ya fokusnya satu sama lain. Terus dari PRX pergerakannya juga udah mulai lebih klop, nggak kayak waktu di grup stage di awal-awal itu hancur banget. Kayaknya dari komsnya hancur banget, dari movementnya hancur. Walaupun nembaknya tetap dapat ya.
1.6 kills
Tapi,
around. He's killing 1.5
nembak aja
people
nggak
around.
cukup sih guys.
It's insane.
Komsnya harus
how he's been doing.
lancar.
We We have
Movementnya
been
harus
seeing
oke,
him play Raze for
movementnya
so
juga harus
long.
dapat,
Do
harus
you guys
bagus
see any
movementnya
difference
buat
in
dapetin
how he used to
posisi-posisinya.
play Raze with this team versus
Kontrol
how he
mapnya juga
plays
harus
it now?
dapet.
It looks a lot
Jadi
more
ya,
controlled in a way. It's not
karena
so
mereka juga
volatile where he's
banyak
just
evaluasi
sending himself in by
mungkin
himself.
I think
dari
for me he's definitely set up a little bit more. We see
dari
that
Alex,
Patman
terus
joining
dari
as a
main
support
pick
player
yang
who's obviously
sudah lagi
very
nggak
good
main.
at enabling Jing. But what I do like is he hasn't lost all that flair that he used to
Jadi
have. We still
PRX
see him go
benar-benar step
waterfall
up
on
nih
C. We
di
still see him sit in the smoke with a bookie.
playoff-nya
I feel like he's
guys.
combining the old school what made him great back in the day, which was the craziness, with the sort of more modern approach of being properly set up and having some coordination with his teammates.
Now, what's really interesting is today's map pool is exactly the same as PRX played yesterday, except in a different order. Obviously, it's not T1 today, it's Boom and it's Fracture. And
Oke,
both of these teams
Fracture
historically
sekarang, guys.
good on Fracture until yesterday.
Yeah.
How do you guys want to break this down?
Komposisi
Because PRX
PRX
looked
di
awful
Fracture
yesterday.
Boom, good on Fracture.
cuman beda 2 agi, cuman beda
PRX, I
agentnya
think,
dari
look, it was a very good
dua
map and a
dua
map
kali
that they
main di
picked
Fracture,
for a
cuman
lot of
beda
the
di
year so
Tejo
far.
Race
It's been a map
sama
that they have been able to
Vice
reliably
Killjoy.
go to
Tiga
and be
agentnya
able to
sama.
pick it up in a series going through
Dan
kickoff
di
into
Boom,
this current iteration
Boom
of the
baru
roster.
main
So I
di
can see why
Fracture
they would pick it into the series
satu
against
kali.
T1 yesterday. They
Komposisi
had an
agentnya
absolute shocker of a
ada
game.
Killjoy,
I
Tejo,
know that they're going to
Neon,
deliver a
Brim,
better
dan
performance
Bridge.
than that, but how much better is the question. For Boom, it's been a pretty solid map for them as well. I
Apakah
know that they're going to be
PRX
backing
akan
themselves
tetap
on this map.
memainkan
They've been getting some good dubs. They've been
something
picking a
di
little bit, but not too
Brimstone
much.
guys,
So,
seperti
look, I think
kemarin,
they're going to be quite confident they can win this
atau
one,
akan
and
ada
they did win
pergantian
it
role
over
lagi,
PRX
atau
in their
something
head-to-head
tetap
that they played
diduelis
against each
guys.
other, and Dot9 had a fantastic game there on the Brimstone as well.
Yeah, this isn't Boom just looking at
Coba
that
gimana
game
menurut
yesterday and
kalian,
going,
guys?
something won't kill,
Kira-kira-
let's pick it. It's more thought out than that, and I think it's a map where they actually feel confident in their own gameplay. They know PRX are going to deliver a little bit of a stronger performance today, but as you said, they already have that head-to-head. I think they're able to understand how
Karena
PRX wants to play
sejauh
this map.
ini
So
2
that's
kali
why they're
main di
choosing to pick it,
Fracture,
and I think that's why they'll still be feeling okay in this series. They are still alive in this
duelisnya yang
series.
pertama
people.
itu
I'm hanging on
waktu
to my
single
prediction.
duelis itu
Dust9's gonna
Forsaken,
deliver me a victory.
duelisnya
Well,
pakai
tell me then.
Neon,
Boom is a very
terus
different team
kemarin
than T1.
double
And
duelis
if you think
Jing sama
they are still
Forsaken
going to pick apart what
dan
PRX has,
somethingnya
well,
yang ditaruh di
let's consider,
Brimstone
let's assume they'll be
di
using the same comp.
controllernya guys.
What kind of things do you want to see from Boom facing us?
So it's the double duelist, right? The Paper X have. It's Neon, it's Raze, and it's very, very fast. And you know they didn't deal with the pace of double duelist well in this first map. I think they have to do a better job of when this double duelist is actually bursting at you. When Jing is satchelating, you have to isolate the rest, deal with that initial insurgence a little bit better. You can't be letting Jing get clean entries on you all the time. He's opening up sites entirely by himself. They need to find a way to shut down that hard entry.
I think it might be hard for them to do that though, because they're not playing the Vice usually on this map. So I think that was critical for Meteor to play the Vice. It's going to come down to a lot more of the execution-based reactive utility. Sky Smokes, Fault Lines, the Teo utility as well is going to be absolutely key. So you're looking at DOS9 again here. But the formula is there for T1. It's solid macro play that picks apart this burst style. It's gathering info. It's
Oke,
actually
satu
taking
syarat
map control
buat
and being
Boom
fluid
Esport
on the
menang di sini
defense rather
guys
than just all
di
retaking
map
through spawn side.
kedua.
PRX is going to death ball and
Di
run it
Fracture
down at the
itu,
sites on the attacking side.
kalau
and you
Boomnya
need
bisa
to be able
ngambil
to set
kontrol
up
map
and have a
kayak
clear
kemarin
retake plan.
T1,
I also have one more question.
kemungkinan
This is,
Boom buat
I mean, a
menangnya
really
itu
good
lebih besar
analysis there.
guys
But
dibandingkan
yesterday,
kalau
especially
Boom
you,
main
big
kayak
time,
tadi
you
waktu
were
di
like
Lotus.
all in
Mereka
PRX. PRX could do
kontrol
no
mapnya
wrong,
benar-benar nggak ada guys,
but
jadi
then
This was the
malah
hardest.
PRX yang
This
ambil
was the hardest
kontrol map.
prediction of my life. I was torn
Pada
between my
akhirnya
head and my
si
heart.
Boomnya ini
And I
tuh
went with my
dijepit,
heart
jadi
with
nggak bisa
Boom. But I
kemana-mana
believe
guys.
both these teams have
Jadi
what it takes to
kalau
make it to
Boomnya bisa
Toronto.
ngambil
I think
kontrol
the
map,
winner
malah merekanya
of
enak
today goes. We do have
buat
our agent picks
masuk-masuknya.
coming in. No big
Oke,
changes for
something
PRX.
di
Something back
Brimstone
on that
lagi
Brimstone.
guys.
Looking at the redemption
Dan
arc,
double
and we
duelisnya
are
ada di
seeing Jing
Forsaken
staying
sama
on that
Jing,
Raze,
Neon Race,
Forsaken on that Neon, a pack
Davai
good style for them
Killjoy,
now.
Patman
Yeah,
Bridge,
PRX wanted to play that
untuk
burst style on
Boom
attack
Esport
to
NC
start things
Special
off.
Bridge,
Boom
Famous
needs to be
Neon,
ready for that. They
DOS9
need to be able
Brimstone,
to slow them
Killjoy-nya
down and stop
bersearch,
them.
dan
I want to see Famous
Zero-nya
get on
pakai
the op.
Tejo.
It's
Ya,
what we
Tejo.
saw there from Buzz. Getting on those op info lines was
Apakah
very
something
key.
akan seperti
Getting the
kemarin
info with the
nasibnya
Teo drone. I
saat
think
menggunakan
Berserk's going to have a
Brimstone?
harder time on the Killjoy though.
Yeah, when you're
Atau
running
dia
this
udah
double
mendapat
duelist, you
masukan
want to
dari
contact a little bit. You want to get space for free. So
main
having
Flick
that
sebagai
op
controller
really picks them apart. T1 did such a good
terdahulunya
job of
di
that. Famous
PRX,
has to be able to emulate
tips
that,
and
get himself
triknya
active
pakai
again today.
Brimstone.
Well, this is going to be a really exciting one. You guys are still Boom believers. We're going to go to map 3?
Yeah, of course. DOS 9. DOS 9.
They need to
DOS
step
9.
up. They need to step up individually at the end of the day. That's what it
Achievement
comes
Jing.
down to. It
Jing
needs
udah
to be
main
at least 2 or 3
100
players
di
having a good game here for
Pasific ya
Boom.
total.
All right, well, we're gonna have to wait and see. We got friends here facing against each other. They sing karaoke with each other, and now they're gonna send each other home. We're gonna send it back to our casters, Achilleos and Komodo. It's not paper thin. I almost said paper thin.
He's younger. He has hair. How is this so difficult, Victoria? God, just
I appreciate that.
You know, I gotta defend you. When you're sitting in the chair next to me, I gotta back you up. Unless you're paper thin, which case I'll always tear you down. Because it's funny. Anyway, we're gonna get into the action here.
Oke, kita
See if Boom
langsung
are
masuk
gonna
ke
be able
map
to run
kedua
this back.
guys. Antara PRX melawan Boom
Third
Esport.
map in this series.
100th map for Jing as well in VCT Pacific. So I'll see if he can get another one going here.
Dan
though.
iya bener lihat, Boom langsung ambil kontrol map walaupun
That's gonna be the sun coming out a little bit too late.
Kalah
Berserk
frag ya.
out from tower, able to find one, but
kalah
cannot get the
tembak-tembakannya.
trade up to try to
Nah,
equalize.
ya,
His
terus
hello
lain
something.
dia langsung masuk di
Takes
smoke
his time, finds the kill,
dan
cherishes
somethingnya
it for a
nggak
moment,
aware.
but then has his life wrested away from him. This Ching has another fiery hot start here to the pistol round. Push out. It's going to be the 4K. Has the paint shells. Might
Oke,
try to
Jing
spread
masih
the
hold di
ball
tower.
around here a little bit more. As
Oh, hang on.
might be
Okay,
regretting that,
Zero.
but there you go. Goes off the peak, finds it. 4-piece for Jing on the raise.
4K
And
untuk
that is
Jing.
going to be 3-0 in pistols for PRX across the set now.
Yeah, it always makes it
Boom
harder
udah
for a
mulai
team,
nih
isn't
kayaknya
it, when
Boom
you're not
mau
getting
ngambil
pistol rounds that
kontrol
you're
mapnya
generally
guys.
finding two on the back of as well, right? So a
Makanya
bit of a
mereka
roughie, but it's good
dimajuin
to see that Jing
walaupun
starts off from where he left off in the
secara
last map.
tembak-tembakannya kalah.
Now, cast your mind back to when we did first
mereka udah
see
mulai mau
these two teams
kontrol
play each other
mapnya.
in the group stage. Week
Dengan
number
cara
3,
mereka
Batman's
maju,
first game with
fokus
PRX.
PRX
They
nya.
had Fracture in the pool. It's a pretty close scoreline in the end. Jing dropped 27
Dan ya,
kills back
lihat.
then as well.
Cara-
so with
cara
him
Boom
already just having an
defense sama
absolute belter in the
kayak
first map,
PRX kemarin.
imagine a world in which he can
4-1
consistently
ya.
do that coming into here yet again.
Yang empatnya bakal nge-push, ngambil kontrol
They
map,
make control for
ngambil
Boom.
kontrol
They'll
map
take
di
the orb.
side satunya.
And with just the Killjoy turret to
satu
protect the
bakal
B site and Berserks in the back lanes, well,
walk di
it's just
satu
going to be
side.
free territory for PRX here.
Biasanya yang ditinggal tuh
Iya,
sentinelnya.
Full
Karena
approach
sentinel
around
tuh
that north side here from the remainder of Boom.
ada
be
utility
a
buat
bit of a
delaynya
death ball.
guys. Tapi ini langsung
See if they actually try
digasin
to make
aja
go of this
sama
or if it's
Boomnya.
just going to be a stack up.
Nah,
Go off
kita
one or
lihat,
two exits and then die to the spike.
kita lihat retake-nya PRX nih guys.
One of the things that you don't want to do is give Jing those last two charges.
Yeah. Something in Divide going with the same pistol play, so the bonus rounds can be
Boomnya sama Boom
caught up with
diputerin
next round.
guys.
Patman able to find.
Wah, agak tidak wise ya. Kalau menurut
It's a
aku Boom.
headshot. Looking for a little bit more.
Keputusannya
Berserks
diputerin
will
dulu.
make it somewhat costly. Jing now
Karena
one
PRX
away.
jadi
Shiro sat here in sewer, gonna
punya
try to stay
timing
alive.
sebenarnya
Divide
guys.
on the hunt.
Jadinya ya.
We'll go ahead, put him down, get his second charge towards that ult. Not
Terlalu jauh
flawless, but
tadi
damn near
Boomnya.
close to it. PRX 2-0 start.
100% increase in the kill performance as well for something compared to yesterday. So you'll definitely take that one. Sorry to highlight that one, folks, but it definitely was a pain point to a
Dan
degree.
kayaknya udah
PRX.
kepredik juga
Ultimately, it's
guys.
positive.
Oh, for sure, right now. Yeah.
A gain is a
Si
gain.
Boomnya bakal
Yeah, and
masuk
they
dari
did win the series at the end. So as
guys,
I said,
dari
they
situ dari arcade.
wipe off that first map in that series from their minds. They come out with a reverse sweep, and they already have map number 1 in this series. So now, coming in towards the bonus round, let's see if Boom are going to be able to answer back. An operator has been purchased up for famous glass cannon style yet again, as it's the south side control approach for PRX silently. And Divide will cross that rope to meet with Team 2.
Oke,
Off the
Berserk
contact of
bisa
the
dapetin
turret.
Jing.
Zerk's on the peak, able to find Jing.
Yeah, raid boss down.
It's the showstopper in death.
Attack sedikit nggak masalah buat
That's what's
Berserk.
possible for Boom's odds here. Try to deny bonus conversion. That PRX was able to do to get off to such a hot start on that defense on Lotus.
Yeah, and just keeping the operator poised towards Dish as well.
Yeah.
Just isolates the whole angle of the
PRX
map
mulai
that
bingung nih.
Boom
Overthinking
don't essentially
PRX-nya.
need to just worry about right now. You got your alarm bot still to play contact over at Arcade
Sedangkan
2,
Boomnya
so
masih
you really
di-hold
only
nih.
need to have a bit of focus towards the
Dua-duanya masih
south side
di-hold
entries
sama
of the
Boom.
map. And PRX is still going to be leaning towards B, so we'll see what the members there for Boom are going to be able to do.
Fast lane to try to escort them forward.
Oke,
Tucked into the
Dose9-nya gak
corner,
ke-spot
never
sama
checked there, but
Forsaken.
might not matter as Forsaken
Bahaya
finding
ini
one. Now peeks
Dose9-nya.
back out there. Made aware. Batman still with that Spectre. Getting himself another 2 kills. Forced to reposition.
Tersisa
Almost
Famous sama Shiro.
Looking
Oh,
back here for the
berani
moment.
banget.
As the smoke
Famous
get
udah
ready to
beli
dissipate, gets retucked
operator
into
ya
the corner.
guys.
Nothing to flush him out, but double stuns available here for Shiro and Famous. Shiro
Oh,
eyeing one.
nice. Boom.
Patman, the vandal recovered, picked up. Pushing forward.
Apakah Ispek
Pistol drawn out
famous?
here in the smoke.
Apakah famous Ispek? Batman di situ?
Dissipating. Tags him to 60. Swinging around. The
Oh,
off shot's
nice,
gonna be good for it
famous.
here is famous. Bonus conversion not to come through, but still, again, so much damage suffered.
How many times have we seen Boom win a round and it's only one member surviving and it's taking that operator into the next one? I mean, yeah, it's awesome that they're able to get online. They're able to, you know, in the early stages, not see PRX just run away with it. But they have to be winning these ones a little bit more convincingly.
Forsaken
Like
bisa
the fact that
dapetin, tapi
Forsaken noted getting in towards the
dia
tower
tidak
and
aware
Berserk
ya
isn't able to
dengan
dispatch
keadaan
of him.
posisi
Patman is
dos
getting all
9.
these trades. If he doesn't allow Forsaken to just, sorry, Famous to just retreat a little bit and bring out that operator shot, that would be the third one for PRX, you would assume. You mentioned that Jing got the showstopper in death. Well, now that's available,
Okay,
accompanied
Jing.
by a rolling thunder.
Akankah duel sama famous?
Go for the classic U-turn setup. Rolling
Nine.
thunder them forward with the showstopper.
Lost 9 also doesn't have any shield here.
Oke, di delay.
Showstopper now going to be
Jing
sent.
maju.
Jing
Oh, nggak bisa.
putting some
Kena delay
pressure off the
Jingnya.
back of that fault line, but the fact that it's just a massive retreat over towards that rope,
Oh,
which
nggak ada
that's
yang
going to be a
kena.
decent amount of splash damage on the DOS 9. Has dropped down from Shiro.
Oh,
He's able to
shit.
find one, but and PRX opens up the firing
Fightnya
squad.
jalan,
Two more kills in
guys.
reply.
Yeah, good trades. They'll
Tukar-tukaran
settle themselves
kill.
down now for the post plant. Remember, the
Terjadi.
rolling thunder is available.
Dan si Slicer nunggu smoke kah?
Still in the back pocket here to try to defend. Situated here in main. Famous just
Famous
blind
main
shotgun.
operatornya. Oh,
Forsaken is asleep
Forsaken
at the
ke
wheel.
spot duluan.
Well, that's going to force the rolling thunder. Connects on the two.
Nampaknya buat ngusir
Continuing
aja
to
ya
tick
guys,
here.
buat delay doang dari
Fault line
Batman.
gets set. Swoop
Rolling
out. Berserk's
thundernya.
good to find Jing. Comes up with that kill, but they still need to break through the door. Berserk's trying to lead the charge. Finds the headshot. That leaves Patman now.
Oke,
Alone to try
Batman
to
dapat
clutch it out.
satu.
Gets some damage across. The stun. Connecting. The op shot. Missing.
No time
The
kah?
NC slasher
Nampaknya no
hitting,
time.
but the time is not there. PRX. A war of attrition. They narrowly win. As it's going to be a Red Bull clutch. Everyone dead, but the round theirs.
Yeah, Boom very scared from the showstopper at drop, understandably so as well. And then the rolling thunder to really push them back before they have any time to just clear the whole site, focus on the main angle. Like you're removing opportunity where something has the
Nah, itu
incendiary as well.
Nice banget sih
And you're
Forsaken
thinking,
nge-spot
all right, this is
duluan.
looking okay. You got a 2 versus 1, or it was a 3 versus 1 in fact, before Patman managed
Dan
to
delay
bring it
dari
to that 2 versus
Patman
1
juga
and just
bagus
bought
loh
himself
guys
enough
itu.
time. Take that one as you are for PRX, with everyone dying, so they will have to reinvest here. But similarly for Boom, I mean, they didn't survive with too much either.
Oke, langsung diterabas sama Forsaken.
Forsaken, does he just go for it?
Thinking
Stealth
about it.
trying to open up the door
Stinker.
here. And, oh, looking for
Oh,
that.
telat.
Two-person face forward. Jing now trapped to the corner. The
Armageddon.
arm again, starting to go
Oke,
across.
Jing masih bisa
Patman
kabur.
gonna be taken down as DOS 9 is able to
Tapi
find one.
Batman-nya ketangkep.
The rest of the players trying to
Okay,
escape.
nice,
Forsaken
DOS
eventually
9.
found. DOS 9 now with an orbital strike
Oke,
online.
famous.
Famous
Dapat pink kill satu-satu.
on a nice line is able to find Jing to find force basically just to drop out of the smoke, try to find
Tinggal
something. But
something guys.
Boom, looking like they might be finding their footing for realistically the first time here in this series. Flawless would do wonders for them. Something will take that away
Something
from
masih
them.
bisa dapetin satu.
But an ace clutch, move up 4-1, seems like it's out of the cards.
40 seconds and he can reposition towards the B
Oh,
side.
nice banget tadi delay-nya dari
One away from the orbital,
dari
smokes
boomnya,
and
guys.
incendiary. But I think priority have the
Si
gun
hero-nya ngeluarin
available for the next
Armageddon.
round. Probably one of the most
Terus langsung
clean
di follow
rounds
up
we've seen
sama
from Boom so far
teman-temannya
here
juga.
today.
Turret set up
Jadi
around the
PRX-nya
back.
benar-benar
Smoke's
ke
coming down.
delay
An
abis
audio
tadi.
distance. It seems like they haven't realized quite just yet, but now they will.
How much does he get here?
Shift walks over. It's just going to be the long wraparound. He's got the orbital to buy himself some time. He could reroute through sewers if he wanted to. Looks like it is just going to be the setup here at Arcade. Shots starting to come through. And
Wah,
they're not going to be good for either of them.
sudah
Two
kuduga.
players narrowly surviving. Boom. Bring this back just one round separating.
Importantly, it's just the team going
Kedua,
together
guys.
as a unit there to make sure they're getting the trades. not leaving anything up to chance, not leaving any opportunity for something to be able to come out with it. I really do like the scrap battles that they have and the combination of utility around the door as well, right? You're getting in the Armageddon, the Aftershock, the fault line. You're just really making PaperX have a bad day
Jadi
with gaining
follow
any
up
space and
Armageddon-nya
any
itu bagus banget guys.
just
Langsung
solidified
di stun sama
positions
Famous,
that they
langsung
can try and shoot
ditembakin
back
juga
from.
sama yang lainnya.
It'll push them on towards the eco rounds now as well. Forsaken doesn't have an overdrive available, so that Bucky is just going to be let in somewhere with the Nikes. A duel early in the tree.
Oh, tucked into the corner, and
Forsaken.
he's looking to get overwhelmed.
Oh,
but
nice.
Nos9 is overstepped. Up here at Arcade,
Gerakan
not
tidak
gonna find the
terpredik.
shot there for Famous. Forsaken, now a weapon upgraded in ahead of that Aftershock. Does get whittled away at, down to 11.
Well, they could try and get the spike plant down here. Got to think about a lockdown. Maybe you have to drop the orbital to destroy that one.
Oh, but Batman dies right
Oh,
before
langsung
they pull the trigger on that,
di-counter,
so
guys.
now working at a pretty big disadvantage, given that Forsaken's eaten quite a bit of damage here. Jing has since been
Tapi
passed over
Forsaken
the
tinggal
weapon.
one hit.
Looking on that angle,
Wah,
but Berserk
Jingnya
just
ke spot.
outsprang. Not suffering any damage. The Vandal not getting through as Berserk finds another something now
Tinggal
dead.
Davai.
It's just Davai around the back with the Sheriff to try to make it a little bit costly.
Wah, hampir
But he
Davai.
can't find the kill.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. It's okay. That was an eco at the end of the day for PaperX, but a bit of an investment with the orbital strike, I will say.
Wah,
Trading out
mulai
the
step
lockdown
up nih
of
guys.
Berserks again, though.
Mapnya
Boom.
mulai dipegang
Clean
Boom kayaknya
rounds,
nih.
breed confidence
Fracture.
here for the Wolfpack. So tying things up 3-3, looking to take the lead now as well against the eventual buyout that'll come back for PaperX.
Itulah guys tadi kenapa Jingnya bisa ke spot
There's no
waktu dia
massive setup to
nembakin
come through on
wall,
the defensive
karena
side. It's got to be those later
kalau Vandal
adjustments
itu
and
bakal
figuring
ada
out how
bullet
to go for those
trace-nya guys,
rotates.
jadi
Now,
si peluru-pelurunya tuh
strategies yet
bakal
again for this train
kelihatan.
control.
Sedangkan kalau Phantom tuh dia peluru-pelurunya gak akan kelihatan guys. Jadi
Yeah, if the ults to try to contend with.
salah satu advantage pakai Phantom ya itu guys. Kalau
By
kalian
a
mau
side, PaperX still going to be in a
spray
little
through the
bit of a
smoke,
rough spot. As
gak akan
that's
ketahuan
unassisted.
guys
Forsaken
posisi
goes
kalian
in,
di
dies.
mana.
Famous peaks.
Kalau pakai
Batman
Vandal tuh
dies.
posisi kalian masih bisa dipredik
So
di
far, so
sebelah
good
mana
for
di sebelah mananya guys.
Excellent. Well, that's not going to do much of anything there. Puts the fear of God into him with the shorty. Lets him know that this tower position not going to be easily breached. Divine able to
Oh,
find
Davai.
Shiro, but swiftly falls NC Slasher. Famous watching the ropes. So then
Tersisa
cleans up Jing.
something.
Famous
Seorang
is going to go
diri.
for it. Oh. Flash out, maybe not.
I mean, it's just another scenario where you're going together as a team, making sure you're not giving something an opportunity.
Doesn't see him, doesn't see the spike.
Si punya banyak waktu something. Apakah maksa ke B?
Just going to be sat in position, but these jiggle peaks. Going to be the pain of his existence here. Too many angles to try to clear out.
Famous
again.
bakal mancing somethingnya nih.
What do you even say?
Yeah.
You just do it time and time again. Okay, there we go.
Oke kan.
It's like when you're
Pasti akan
playing like some
dipancing
kind of horror
somethingnya
game and
guys.
you see that the creatures are spawned
Kalau
in,
something
but
masih
they haven't
punya
like
Seen you
activated
yet.
masih
yet.
punya
Yeah.
waktu
So,
loh
but
buat
you just kind of
rotate.
like see him around the corner,
Tadi.
you're like, oh,
And then you still get jump
I have
scared.
to go in
Dan itu
there. Like, I don't want to do this.
Terlalu
Well done there from Boom.
overextend
I will say,
Forsaken-nya
right,
guys.
a good little grasp on how they need to be peaking around this one. For Famous, how many times do we see the operator just having to come online for some really good successes for the
Di
team of
saat
Boom? So
teman-temannya
it's good to see that they're able to
teman-temannya
repeat
belum
that time
ready.
and time again. This
Forsaken
time,
dia udah
Nos9
langsung
not losing to
terabas
Forsaken
sendiri.
early in the round as well.
Jadi gak ada yang
So
bisa
a couple of
nge-trap
these little nuances that you want to adjust for PaperX potentially, but for Boom, you want to keep happening now that you have slightly adjusted and taken the lead, forcing the timeout here for PaperX.
Well, first one that they've had to call here today. By a
Harus
singular
sedikit
round,
lebih
but
sabar lagi kayaknya. PRX guys.
again, about that activation, about
Jangan
that
asal
run
masuk
back
masuk.
potential. I mean, we saw it from
Dan
Talon, that
karena
0-4
Boomnya tuh
start
sabar banget
into
nungguinnya
an
guys.
overtime on Fracture itself. PRX
Yeah.
wanting to avoid a similar situation. Look to deliver the 2-0 that person's looking for. This guy came from LA.
I came from Australia.
Actually, I didn't quite get the
Oh.
with the verb, but with maybe they didn't.
That's all good. couple of good retakes from Boom. Let's see what the plan is here for PaperX, if at all anything, right? Because again, another scenario where a team is taking a timeout, not before a rifle round, but before a sort of investment round. Whether or not your game plan is to come in towards this one directly or the one after. Getting close to the lockdown for Devi as well, which can just be traded out by Dosh9's orbital strike. Very disconnected play at the moment from Boom on this B site.
Turret getting activated. Drive popped, and then Forsaken is just sending it in towards the spawn. He's almost gonna come away with two, and Devi's right there with the follow-up. Jink considers it, pulls off the angle there at the end. The Boom bot not gonna be lasting too long, but now timing here on this lockdown. Placed in front of Gen, but Shiro looking to try to catch them by surprise. Swing the corner, finds the first. Looking to try to clear it out, but something bails them out. Gets that kill.
Shiro bisa tiba-tiba dapetin 2.
A Vandal versus 2 Sheriffs, both players full HP. A flash on Molly between them.
Masih lama.
Reposition. The fault line now. Sent
Kayak
is
delay.
done connecting. And something
something
swinging
di
around
belakangnya.
the back,
Oh, something
catching
agak
him by
spot.
surprise. Thrifty gets pulled off here off the back of the timeout call. PaperX tie us up at 4-4.
Sampingnya
Maybe
agak
that timeout
spot ya
was
guys,
for
saya
what to do in that
famous.
sort of round just there. Quicken towards the B site. You remove a lot of that Killjoy utility. You remove DOS9 first, so you don't have an
Tapi
orbital strike
tadi
to answer
movement
the
Shiro
lockdown.
berani
That's
banget.
a disgusting shot.
Dia bisa langsung
Not
dapetin
needed in
2.
this game. Great work from Shiro, I will admit, in attempts to bring something back for Boom. Wasn't able to get the lockdown done, but 2 kills, providing his teammate into a 1 versus 2, maybe manageable situation.
I think that it's rounds like that that kind of just show the development of PaperX across the stage, considering how things had begun.
Yeah.
I think back at the start,
operator.
they were losing every round they committed ults in,
Yeah.
regardless of weaponry.
They just looked lost
Famous mulai ambil
and
map
disconnected
control.
a lot of the time.
But now well utilized to be able to find themselves a thrifty win. Forsaken, looking like he's suspicious
Apakah
about this
di pick?
potential position here, but now is at risk of getting
Benar
caught as well.
sekali.
It'll be the
Langsung
orbital
di
that takes him
follow
down.
up sama Berserks ya.
Nice little trap play set up from the
Sama
side of Boom.
Dosna
His
juga
Gunthrow
langsung
gets
di
spotted
follow
out.
up.
Jing still able to find one before getting picked apart.
Yeah, you still are at a deficit though as PaperX hit. Into the site.
Ansis lasernya masih belum ke spot.
Like committed to Devi with the operator, not something we get to see nearly as much
Okay,
these
Famous.
days. Maybe once Sunset comes back
Akan
into the mix.
di-push kah oleh
Now
Famous?
we'll have that in hand. Overdrive in the charge of Shiro.
Shiro juga
Very
masuk.
suspicious about this smoke. Something just trying to stay
Davai
tough. So
dapetin
far has
Ansis
not been
laser.
flushed out. The jump
Oke,
forward
something
looks to try
dapetin
to
2.
steady it. Can't quite
Something
make it
dapat.
happen, but has done a significant amount of damage. DOS9 at 30 HP. Famous, however, on the
Oke,
peak
Famous
instantaneous.
gila.
Finding Devi, leaving Patman
One
now
way
to try to
smoke,
clutch it out. Finds the first, backpedals, has a
Patman
fault line,
versus
even has a rolling thunder.
Famous.
And he's not going to be shy about it, it would seem. Taps the door. Fault line
Oke,
set.
dipongkas.
Famous not sticking to
Oke.
it. As it's going to be another Red Bull clutch. Patman instant
Nice
finds
banget
that
Batman.
and gets PaperX back into a lead.
From that 3 versus
5-4
4 when the spike
guys.
plant goes down as well. Devi with the operator managing to at least establish one. It's unfortunate
Itu
that,
nice
that
banget,
Berserk
Ansis
loses his life
laser.
when Jing is spotted out there as well, but it's
Buat
just the trade game, right? It's
liatin
making
ke
sure that the
dropnya.
trades that you're on top of them.
Dan one way
Nice idea
smoke-nya
for the
bagus
one-way
banget itu
smoke, makes
dari
things a little bit
DOS9
awkward,
dulu.
but some good repositioning from Patman, not wanting to give
Jadi
a
yang
duel. I
hold
think that's
di-
really
yang
important
post
for a
play
player
boy
like him
itu
coming into this
nggak bisa
roster,
ngeliat.
wanting to prove himself, wanting to be part of the team. So far, so good. Liking what I'm seeing.
Oke, pelan-pelan dari PaperX.
Showstopper, Rolling Thunder, no ults to speak of here for the moment for Boom.
Boom mulai ngambil
3 more
kontrol map.
rounds to be played in the half. To cycle these up.
Mulai di-push
We'll
sama
take this.
Famous sama
Get
Ansis
NC
laser.
Slasher. Recharges
Second
away.
mulai masuk
Fast lane.
dari arah double door ya.
Every single player from the Boom side away from the site.
Ansis
Guardian and a
laser
Judge
ini.
here for DOS9 and Berserks. But Berserk's still on the other side of the map.
Oh, nggak kena.
Scan, finding Forsaken, but Devi finding NC Slasher at drop. Player working forward, Famous, trying to put that Sheriff to good use, but can't quite find
Oh,
the hit, can't quite find the head.
player boomnya nggak ngecek
Jing all
guys.
the meanwhile,
Nggak ngecek ke arah
ready to
Forsaken.
descend that Showstopper should it be needed, but right now it is looking like they won't have to.
Oke, tinggal Berserk sendiri.
Push forward, the crunch
Okay,
coming
judge.
in. Forsaken trying to line swing there.
Don't think he expected him down to judge.
Yeah, I think he misjudged the weapon.
Ah ha ha ha.
Yeah,
Nicely done.
All right, I'm gonna jump off the balcony.
Oke, apakah
Please don't do that. I
Boom
need a
Esport bisa
concussing it.
My
mengejar
legs deserve to be
ketertinggalan?
broken after that joke. Anyway,
6-4 guys.
yeah, don't think he read that one quite so well, but it ultimately won't matter too much.
No, not a full investment to come in from them in this round for Boom, so they'll have that coming into the next one, which is now playing catch-up, right? 6-4, the half is at least established for PaperX in
Atau
tie
malah
or in lead.
PRX yang memperbesar jarak.
An operator out for both
Jadi
sides as well,
skornya
Device
jadi
still retaining that one.
8-4.
Immediate utility going to be forcing them back out of main unless they want to wait to contest it, which is what Forsaken's going to be doing here.
Oke, Dosnai mundur.
Immediate rotations too, Boom.
Jing dari arah dropnya. Oh, dropnya udah diambil kontrol sama 3 orang pemain Boom.
Push coming through and
Jing
Jing.
sendiri gak bisa.
Characteristic whips doesn't even find much damage. Shiro really losing a
Tapi Forsaken
smattering of armor.
menuntun teman-temannya masuk ke
Sight
arah
still does
side.
get taken. Plant coming in. Rolling Thunder held.
Sementara tadi
But
3 player
Armageddon,
Boom
I don't
ke-distract
think that
sama
Batman's
Jing.
gonna be able to get away from this one. Oh, he's barely slides out.
Wow.
What a narrow window. And now he's got the Rolling Thunder at the ready. Orbital strike will start.
Orbital
Forcing back NC Slasher from drop. Something spinning up towards
something
Sand.
ketangkep.
Ends up getting taken
Gapai
down to
masih bisa
Divide.
dapetin.
Finding one with the op, eating a flash. Rolling Thunder holds the rest of the team back. 2v3, looking for the smoke timing. Forsaken, finding the headshot. And they're just picking their targets and nailing them.
Wah,
Batman,
speechless
what
sih
a
guys,
game so far.
speechless.
Oh yeah. No, 100% is just getting involved in all of these
8-4
duels. He's
kah?
making
Atau
sure the flashes
7-5?
are on point for the team and the aftershocks to buy time as well.
Kalau
You look at the
7-5 tapi
Armageddon
nilainya
placement in that one from
pas-pasan
Shiro. Had he
KKM
reversed
guys.
it and had it from the site on
Kayaknya
outs
mending
towards main,
8-4 nggak sih
maybe you're looking at a little
guys?
bit of a different scenario
Biar
and
lebih dari
flushing the
KKM.
team into the open instead of containing them to be stuck in towards the site.
Lebih enak gak sih
Never really
kalau di
know
atas KKM
in the sort of
daripada
situation like
pas-pasan
that, which
KKM.
way would be more valuable though. 7-5 is what Boom will be chasing for the last round of this half.
Yeah,
A couple of
it's
valuable ults. Same utility to be poised at the front of A,
Kayak di
which will
delay.
actually invest
So,
quite a
Boom mulai
significant
ngambil
amount of
kontrol.
numbers toward.
Last
Boom
round
mulai
of the
maju.
half, and it's
Apakah
bound
ke
to
spot
be
Boombot?
a pretty chaotic
Dari
one
Jing?
based on what we're seeing at the moment, but
Gene Showstopper, I imagine.
Tapi kayaknya feeling PaperX lebih
taking
bagus.
their time with this one. Waiting for contact, waiting for info. Drone on the corner.
Yeah, I am noting that Devi is one away from a lockdown, by the way. They can pivot towards Tree if they want. Turret hasn't spotted anything, but still staying around
Sedangkan
A.
Berserk masih nge-hold di B-side-nya ya.
Showstopper
Jing masuk,
opened up, blast forward.
langsung.
2 players
Oh,
over here at
dapet
Sands.
trade.
BNC Slasher taken down.
Dosnai dapat
Is it Dostine?
Jing dapat
Avoiding damage.
NC
Looked like it was going to at least be a bit of splash there.
Oke, PaperX
In the
mulai
end, somehow only a 1-for-1.
rotate ke
Lockdown
arah
now.
B.
Tempo use.
Berserk
Sent
sudah
over on B.
mengeluarkan lockdown.
Keeping PaperX locked away for the time being. A couple seconds remaining. They can tuck in over towards tower, avoid the detain, and then look to try to get the spike in play.
Ke tower
3 members
dulu.
now here for Boom as well. Don't want to flood in before the plant goes down.
30 seconds left.
He tapped it. Oh, just
Oh.
spray through. Berserk's able to find him. Forsaken.
Di wallbang saja
Massacres
oleh
two.
Berserk.
Divine out. Sights back over. Lockdown is
Dapai lockdown.
brought forward. And Berserk
Hanya
has
tersisa-
his
wah,
work cut out
Berserk's-
for him.
Oh, something's quite low.
Berserk sini kuat guys dia
Takes
kalau
the
di
first step.
dia
He knows where they've gone.
Alarm bot, yeah,
harus
gets
nge-hold
the trigger
sendirinya
there.
kuat guys. Berserk ini
Something
nih.
escaping forward into tower. Low 1 HP, as you
Makanya dia
say.
suka ditinggal di side
No utility
sendiri.
between them.
Jadi last man standing juga.
Just a turret. Just going to be the blind push into tower, and Berserk is able to find it. Might just be able to bring this back into their favor. The tap, the scale forward. Forsaken, though. The
Tapi
perfect place at
Forsaken
the
gak ke
perfect
spot
time at
posisinya
3K.
sama Berserk.
As it's going to be 8-4. PaperX out in front once again here at the half.
A big stringing of rounds at the end of that one for PaperX too. You think it's a pretty early contest that we're seeing between these two teams with a lot of backwards and forwards. And I mean, the round count kind of doesn't give you the full story on this one, does it? Because there's been a pretty lot of close rounds, close scenarios where a single engagement going the other way could have spelled a different result for the rounds. On this map though, Forsaken and Jing not getting too involved a lot in a lot of these fights to win them. So it's good to see that Forsaken, at least at the end of that one, is getting the right timing for the kill there, playing a lot more of the distractor and
space creator on this map as opposed to the real kill collection.
Hey!
Makan nugget.
Who's showing up today?
Ya.
We got even more. Trailing Monyet chilling
Ada
out, cheering
monyet.
on.
Guys.
Whom it would seem here perhaps, or
Max
maybe even just
Vero
a
juga nonton
former
ya.
PRX
Wait for
team
Monyet, we
yet.
might have to challenge later as well.
It's market research, you know?
Market
Just
research.
Yeah, just on the ground, just seeing what's going on, trying to figure everything out. Which one's more impactful? Well, we haven't seen some things yet
No,
today, so
not today.
I think by default you have to give it the jing there.
I mean, yesterday there was a really good to the moon
Apa?
rise up between the maps and the changes.
Lagi
But
ini aku.
yeah, Jing rays today. Map number 1, gorgeous. Map number 2,
Nanti aja aku mau ke gereja dah.
but together as a
Yeah.
team, PRX are certainly looking to get the job done. 8-4 at the half with PRX now going on to this defensive side, though for Boom, casting more eyes towards them to see what they're going to be able to do here. Of course, 5-0 in group stage, coming in with the first seed, skipping the early stage of this bracket.
Oke, sekarang
Losing the first one,
PRX
if they lose
defense
this one,
guys.
2-0 as well, that's very hurtful.
Langsung delay oleh
Just one on the
Jing.
north side. Nice set there for now. As Famous moving forward here. All's in control of Boom.
Main sama
Completely
Jing
and
langsung
utterly, but that's
ambil
good. Go
kontrol
ahead and
dropnya.
call for a three-player
Berserk
push
sendiri.
out from that B side, but Berserk
Oke,
just
trade.
had it aligned, but couldn't quite find that final shot. Still does an immense amount of damage, finds the kill on the Jing, opens things up here for the team. Dawson, however,
Mulai
going to be
di-push
overwhelmed.
dari belakangnya
Here the
ya.
attacker spawn.
Boom.
Let's take it down at the spike now planted.
Something does
Sama
have 3
PRX.
sky smokes as well, put them to his heart's content.
Shiro.
Tap of the door, the bounce
Langsung.
forward. Shiro, great readjust. Finds something. Is Shiro and
Tinggal
Slasher's
Famous
going to be taken
sendiri.
down. Now it's just
Oh,
sliding
duel.
neons.
Neon.
Right at each other, but Famous comes out on top. The tap of the spike. The Sheriff from
Oh,
the
tapi
five.
Dafai.
And he hits
Sudah
him right
putih Famous
between the
duluan.
eyes.
Not a
Every single pistol.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Not a
9-4
single pistol to
guys.
come through for Boom in this one, and that just,
Apakah
how
akan
difficult
terulang?
does it make it here?
Seperti map sebelumnya.
It's such a good start as well. Nearly finding that second and
The last
just
shot,
far too clean.
yeah. Dot crosshair accuracy on that one. Do like to see it. He's had his moments in this map.
Oh,
Nothing
something
too
langsung
super stellar, but a
di-phantom.
couple of big frags with that operator earlier, with the sheriff just there as well. An
Nampaknya
important one. It's
something
the
udah
force
dapat
up though with the
wejangannya
plant going
guys.
down for
Jadi
Boom.
tidak seperti kemarin mainnya.
Glass cannon bulldog.
Oh,
Jing
langsung
around the
Jing.
corner. Putting some damage through there.
Batman
swinging in,
backup.
trying to reinforce
Okay,
this
nice
position.
break.
Dawson, however, is able to collect two.
Dua
Things
tukar
up a
dua.
bit, while
Berserk
Berserks,
dapetin Dafai.
Glass cannon coming up with value.
Tinggal something dan for second something seorang diri di side.
Getting cheeky.
As a slide up into the smoke.
Oke,
Forsaken
something
still
keluar lagi
slow
nampaknya
walking
menunggu for
in
second.
the halls with that outlaw.
What's been holding for it though?
For second, nge-spot.
Forsaken finding the first shot. Can he pick up the weapon? He's going to look to do so.
Oke,
It's up dying though. Berserks from drop.
2v1,
Finding it.
something. Apakah
Something now.
bisa?
Has to try to pull this one off. Shiro. Salvo's at the ready. There's the tap.
Oke,
Forcing
no
it back
time
away, guaranteeing that
nampaknya
this
untuk
is just not going to
something.
be enough time. Berserks will end up falling. Something
Diratain aja sama
collecting the
something
2
di
kills.
kill.
Will get a couple extra charges up
Walaupun
towards
no
his
time untuk
ultimate as
defuse-nya,
well as
guys.
retain the weapon. And that is Boom with a
9-5.
much needed. If the answer back it up, it's a force up here, force by victory of their own.
Yeah, one of the more needed rounds for them to stave off any further lead for PRX here, just getting down and dirty in those duels, right? A lot of trades to come on out.
Itu
Berserk
Berserk
just
nice
scoping
banget
and
nge-spot
bursting.
Dafai-nya guys
Thinking an
dari drop.
opportune situation in the 2 versus 2. The fact that he's just able to remove Forsaken on that slide, and they've got salvos in the back lanes waiting for the spike tap. Yeah, the right members doing the right things for Boom in that round.
Something dengan Phantom lagi guys.
Big tree approach.
Oke, Berserk bisa menangin duelnya dengan Dafai.
Whip on the first, hit on the second. Not much damage going to be taken. Divide.
Mungkin
Dead.
tadi
One of the side anchors now
ceritanya
gone here.
for second
You can see
ngebait
Boom
Dafai yang
all
nembak.
play with the
Tapi
numbers together
Dafai
as
yang
well here.
Kena kill.
There's a bit of weaponry on the side of Paper X still. Forsaken with the now Outlaw. Something with the Phantom from the last round. You are really spread across the map as Paper X, so taking the initiative to clear some parts of the map. They can further extend and clear all of north side and have to turn back towards A as the stealth drone goes out. Sky Smoke to buy a little bit of time, and you're now fully clearing north side. So it should be the idea for Paper X that it is A, and they will now know with all this util.
Fastlane set, Patman dropping down, getting tucked in towards default. Slide forward, he's going to get caught up into the crossfire. As Famous does continue down, Patman joining in alongside something, finding the kill, but that will push out of the smoke, and Berserk's good for one. Jing, Sheriff shot to the space. Finds another before getting traded out by Shiro. Suddenly, it's Forsaken.
But it's a hard spot to take a retake from.
It's a fast lane for a reposition to try to grab a gun, perhaps. Just a Sheriff at drop. Goes down, finds the first. Oh no, it's full armor striking. At the worst possible moment for him.
If it was the other way around, Shiro would have been done, and then maybe you're looking for him to slide in and have a really good how do you do, but just expecting that the kill would polish off his opponent there.
Itu kalau tadi udah Pais sama Forsaken bareng sih, kayaknya Berserknya juga dapat ya.
But he had a Bible in his pocket. It caught the bullet and it kept him safe. Oh boy, well, still close, you could tell. Paper X looking to persevere even when they themselves not in the best position weapon-wise.
Apakah akan terulang seperti di PRX lawan Talon?
We're going to have a pretty stacked ultimate round soon. North side approach for Boom now, full clearing arcade. Killjoy set up towards B as well. Meanwhile, a bit of a slow peek in towards A main for Paper X. The further they go, the more info that they get. Together as a team as well, recognize that no one's going to be here. So similarly, like last round, they got all of the north side control. Now you flip it for the south side. And also mean on the other way that Boom can just get into the A site almost scot-free, see that no one's home. Have some time to set up for a post plant here.
Wah, greedy banget guys.
Everything wide open. Door left unlocked, and Boom looking to just make themselves right at home. Jing though, nice shot, finds the kill there on a Famous. Coming away with two. Well, it's finding an immense amount of damage on the Jing before getting taken down by the Showstopper. Something trying to steady those shots, but Dawes 9 a little bit faster with it. Finds the headshot, keeps them with the advantage. And Defiance still at B with a judge.
Yeah, and they already noted where Jing was as well with the Showstopper, right? So this round is pretty much just done and dusted.
He's going to try to juggle the weapon over here to his teammate. Get the upgrade. Will be able to do so. And that's going to be them going for a save. Boom. Looking to claw this back 3 rounds consecutively. Just 2 away from tying it up.
Essentially, the delayed bonus rounds coming into this one as well, right?
Yeah,
so,
we're finally getting there.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's talking about this track by track for Paper X, but what about Boom? I mean, they're slowly starting to figure out what they need to do on this attacking side. The next gun round is going to be a really important one for them to get through. And then if you also consider that the ultimates are going to start to really come online soon as well, if they're able to navigate their way through that one pretty cleanly, or even Scrappily was still winning the round, I mean, they're setting themselves up to try and tie things up.
That's going to be the second timeout call you would suspect here from Paper Rex. There you go. Alex on the try to keep them up to that double-digit point here. Try to get over the finish line. Last time out worked a treat for them. They went on a massive streak to go ahead and close out that opening half as well as get the pistol. See if that can happen again. Otherwise, Boom. It's going to be closer and closer to try and take us to that third and final map of Ascent.
I mean, you look at it for the past 2 maps as well, right? With the exploration to come out from Paper X, they've kind of just picked the wrong corner of the map. Like, there's 4 of them, and they've just gone to one where Boom have just gone in towards the site and tried to set things up for the end. So if they're getting a bit of a contest early on, maybe they would feel a little bit more comfortable in trying to get through the battles. As the timeout now fades away, see what things are going to look like for Paper X with just the 2 guns retained from the previous round, some upgrades for the rest of the squad with the pistols.
Well, they got themselves a thrifty in the last time out. Don't have the ultimates to back it up quite as much this time around. One away from an overdrive here is Forsaken as well. Something with the orbital strike.
And Berserk is just waiting for contact on the turret to skedaddle on out of here.
Oke,
Fault line will do the same.
Line.
nampaknya
Spot
akan
him
kalah.
out.
Dari
That'll
Bully
be escapes.
Sports.
In the meantime, a sight once again going to be the target. The push forward getting ready to come through.
Kena
Something's trying to
sudah
watch the
langsung.
angle here with that sheriff. The push
Oh,
out.
langsung.
It's going to be Divide with the Phantom. He's able to catch him by surprise. Dancing around the wall here is Forsaken. To the opposite side finds NC
Bombardier.
Slasher and Paper Rex are doing it again.
Tersisa Berserk seorang diri.
He's got the
Oh,
outlaw, and now they
udah
have it confirmed.
Berserk sudah nge-spot Batman,
Spike
tapi
picked up.
tidak kena.
Berserk has to go absolutely
Langsung
crazy,
aja.
and it'll just be whizzing right past Patman's ear. Paper Rex off the back of the timeout will find themselves another thrifty win. And now get up
Oke,
to double
banyak
digits.
Rifty ya PRX,
I'm
guys.
sure a lot of teams would like to know what gets discussed in these sort of scenarios from Paper X to come out with just the magic.
What's the
in
magic?
in the thriftiest grounds that they come out with after these
Itu
timeouts.
nice
I mean,
banget,
the
Dava bisa
5
dapetin
versus
famous.
3 that they set themselves up for. DOS9 tries to really drag them down,
Dan
but by then you feel like the damage was already done. Duelist action trying to come in from Jing and Forsaken. You know, we've kind of
Walaupun
switched up
mereka
our players who were having a
unggul
stellar map
senjata,
1 and a
tapi
abysmal map 1, haven't we, as well? When you look at Berserk's, right? He was absent
karena
in map 1,
chaos,
now
jadi
he's
mungkin
having a bit of a
mereka
banger.
pusing ya.
But as you say, Paper X are the team here to find double digits first.
Kind of curious to see, you know, no timeout call here from Boom. Twice now, giving up these thrifties. No assessment. Try to at least steady the nerves of the players. Maybe as far as comms are concerned, they seem right as
Oke,
rain,
apakah
but
Boom akan masuk dari 2?
they're now just
2 ada,
3 round
entry
losses
dari
away
2
from being eliminated from stage 1
atau
playoffs.
mereka rotate lagi ke A.
Yeah, massive pressuresome environment for them in their first endeavors in towards VCT Pacific.
Drone
Stage
oleh
1,
Shiro untuk cari info.
creep up in towards A main,
Hotline
util
dulu
to flush
dibuka.
Patman away, push
Flash
Forsaken back, who
dibuka
has
sama
brought an
Batman.
operator to the party
Buat
here.
delay aja.
Just a slow
Oke,
paced
Boom
round
menuju
from
ke arah
everybody.
B lagi,
But the lurk
pelan-pelan.
from Berserks as well, Northside Arcade. Just being very patient, not overstepping.
Hard to blame them for slowing down after the previous bit of damage there
Oh,
onto the buy.
Forsaken dapat
Forsaken though.
NC Slasher.
Kicking in, yep. Am fast with it, finds NC Slasher. Hell, Boom, they don't know which way to go. They have 30 seconds.
And
Oke,
what do?
Boom
You need to have your lurk start to
agak sedikit
activate, but it's been
kebingungan.
noted.
Jing dapat
Spotted
Berserk.
Jing just on top of Jen.
Oke,
Pops his head, and now
mau
it's a
nggak
go
mau.
button. But they're losing
Boom
the plot.
harus
Divide,
pilih
Line
satu
one,
side.
Shiro fighting back.
Tapi Shiro dapat 2.
Might just give them the opportunity here, trying to
Armageddon
plant
langsung
down the
dibuka sama
Armageddon,
Shiro.
going to be called in, but the orbital
Orbital
strike is there in
Sweep
response
langsung
from
dibuka
something
sama
with the hair
samping.
off the mark. Shiro narrowly able to stay alive. Rolling Thunder committed. The frantic spray eventually rewarded.
Oh, tersisa DOS9 sendiri.
As DOS9, he has been a god incarnate in the past series that he has
Line
played.
up.
Can he deliver
With
here now
DOS9.
today? The Molly, it's just going to be far too late.
Oh, nampaknya
It arrives
terlambat.
exactly
DOS9
where it
buat
needed
line
to,
up
but
nya.
not when it was needed.
11-7.
Paper Rex, they continue onward now,
Apakah akan
11
match
7.
point setelah
Yeah,
ini,
that's the
guys?
sort of thing that I was actually wondering, but not wanting to out something for in the first half, actually. It was playing the Brimstone on this map. You see internationally and, you know, namestate Brimstone players having a lot of these
Itu Shiro
quote-unquote
nice
nerd
banget.
lineups
Bisa
to be
langsung
able to
dapat
drop
dua ya.
on towards the spike for the
Langsung
post-play meta.
ngeklik Shiro-nya.
DOS9 is just showcasing us that he's got the lineup, but the
Time
timing
up,
a little bit
recall
wrong.
semua Boom
Generally,
Esport.
you would also see them coupled where you're dropping that incendiary,
Boom.
you're doing the orbital strike first,
Recall
and then
time
buys
out
the sky
juga.
time for it to land, and then you're affording yourself essentially 12 seconds total, 13, 14 on the tail end too. Hey, we saw Big Time be signed by
Yeah, he got signed on
someone
the
here,
cheek
by
with
Tens,
by Tens. So, well, and that just says Boom. So I think that just implies every single
Every
player.
member?
So, gonna have to, you know, tiny font.
Here's your
And-
timeout though.
You know, I think there's an opportunity here. Everyone keeps going with the track by track.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that if you wanted to, if you have somebody who's very good at editing GIFs, you could take a bunch of scenes from Snowpiercer, edit Paper X on top of them, and then say car by car. They're fighting their way up to the front of the train, rather than building the track in front of it.
You know, I
Okay,
had
Paper
nightmares
X
on that
itu
when the
dua.
arm was shattered.
Oh,
Dua
yeah.
poin
I had
lagi
some
untuk
nightmares after that.
memenangkan game ini, guys.
The brutal one.
Sedangkan Boom masih
Let us see
harus
though on the back of
mengejar
that
4.
timeout if Boom are going to be able to come away with we call it the magic that Paper X had after their timeouts come with the Thrifty.
Jing langsung
Jing
di-push
classic
saja
roll
oleh
setup
Jing.
here, but no one home to
This is ambitious.
destroyed by it. Forsaken is about
Forsaken.
about to
Nice.
be rewarded. How does he get away with
Nice flash
that?
dari
Even into
Admin.
a half buy.
Oke, Jing kontrol towernya.
Jing now finds Famous.
That's just blasphemy there. DOS9 didn't deserve it. No smokes, no orbital. Famous down as well.
Oke, nampaknya
Makes
Boom
things
akan
very difficult to
merelakan
come
round
back in
ini
this round when you've also got Dish being looked after by the Killjoy utility. Now spotted out.
dengan senjata seadanya untuk di next round.
3 versus
Atau
5
Boom
on
akan
a lesser
mencoba
buy.
mati saja
Map point, 5 of them
untuk
series point
mendapatkan
rather.
uang lebih banyak.
If this gets dropped. With the rotation
Berserks
towards the A site now, it is the
di
lesser
A
defended
side,
one.
di drop,
So that's a plus
sedang
for
mencari
Boom.
informasi. Tapi Batman
Now not
dan
so much though.
Something sudah datang untuk membackup Davai.
Well, on
Sini
the
ya.
approach, just trying to keep it quiet.
Top lane dibuka.
Be a 3v3
Galaxy
towards this
Slicer.
side of the map. Quick clear out, Berserks shoot forward, trying to take some forward space, but a glimpse is going to be
Batman
found.
juga membuka
There's the
top
stun.
lane.
And
Batman
swinging
langsung
out.
dapat Berserks.
So damn snappy with it,
Galaxy
finds the
Slicer belum
headshot.
ke spot.
NC Slasher tucked away. It's just 2 stingers in their hands,
Zero.
forced into the open by the Molly.
Oke.
And he can only deliver
Nah,
one.
akhirnya ke spot
What a
juga.
round response here from Paper X.
Match point untuk Paper X,
On the
guys.
back of the timeout from Boom, the magic is not found. They get up now to match point, and that is a gut punch to this Indonesian squad.
Yeah, I mean, in the first half after the timeout, it was flawless
Itu
for
nice flash
Paper
dari
X, and now it's
Batman.
still flawless
Buat
after the
Forsaken,
timeout here
guys.
as well. 12-7, it's 5 series points that Boom are going to have to contend through to push us into overtime. Otherwise, they will be bowing
Match
out
point.
in this playoffs
Apakah
stage. Still securing a
Boom
lot of
Esport
championship points in their
bisa
journey
menambah
to continue to stay in Pacific
poinnya atau
when you
game
think
ini
about
akan
what the
ditutup
Ascension
oleh
teams have
Paper X,
placed on them
guys,
too.
dengan skor 13-7.
They don't want to bow out here.
Just 2 series away after a first seed. A brutal position now for Boom to be in. Jing this time not able to get a glimpse. Famous does manage to slide across the bottom of the rope undetected.
But what can he do more importantly? Vi is being very
Masih saling
careful
hold saja.
about the rope.
Zero sedang mencari informasi di A side.
Gun barrel spotted. Can't confirm who it is. They might have a
Oh,
sneaking
Zero
suspicion
nge-spot.
though. Still a bit of info gained, and Divide now
Davai
spotting out even
terkena
more. 2
damage.
players on this side of the map. The Nanoswarm going to be disrespected.
Langsung
Famous trying to run
di-push
him down
oleh
the shorty. Gone
Famous.
out, but a tiny bit of damage going to be found. That paint shell, however, might find more as Jing, position given up, shifts forward towards
Oh,
Arcade, and
Berserks
eventually will be
dapat Jing.
found. Berserks comes away with it. Something trying to go off a timing, but Famous just a little bit faster. Forsaken now
Forsaken
sliding forward. I mean, she's getting shot by the turret behind.
seorang
But do they
ini
realize that he's in this
Oh,
spot? Seems like the answer is
Berserks.
no.
nggak sadar ada Forsaken di belakangnya.
Elbow taken off. Famous 5 HP. The off would
Oh,
be overkill, and it will not
Famous bisa
find
mendapatkan
the
Forsaken.
chance. As Patman now
1v4
a 1v4 clutch to try to bring this to a conclusion.
dengan Famous low HP.
A couple shots in, but ultimately will decide to back away.
Got to also consider that Boom need to be managing their economy throughout this journey to
Oke,
get back
nampaknya
towards
Boom
this
masih
map too.
memperpanjang nafas
So they don't
mereka, guys.
necessarily have to hunt, but it looks like they want to. I mean, you're not getting closer to any ultis here too much. They lose anything. Oh, Pamet has just jiggled out of that one.
Hampir aja
I don't know how he's
Batman
managed to do that.
tertangkap.
After all the great shots from Boom in that round, that's the one that gets away.
Oh, itu nice movement dari
So
Famous.
Thing able to escape there.
Dia langsung nge-follow up.
Yeah, but it's one round. It's one round to answer back with at
Tadi
least
itu
for
Berserks kurang
Boom.
aware ya.
Very patient in the beginning, trying to find the right timing to get up the tower. I like it from them. Some, not generally something that you're trying to, practice and reiterate time and time again, those sort of things. It's just trying to figure out individually what you can communicate to the team.
Jing langsung
More
push.
control against Jing, trying to spot what he
Oh,
can on
nice.
top of
Jing
the smoke.
bisa
And it's
dapat
a
satu,
kill.
DOS9.
Tried it
Terspot oleh
previously.
Jing.
He had Berserks hiding in the
Berserks
smoke, but
seperti
this
biasa.
time Somebody takes the bait.
Dan boom, akan sedikit
Showstopper
kesulitan
lockdown available
karena
to try to close this out, and
yang terlihat
Toss9
duluan
dead.
adalah
That orbital,
kontrolernya ya
that
guys.
counteraction to this Killjoy ultimate is now gone.
I mean, you just got to consider how to boom get back in towards a site
Okay,
as well.
Berserk
You're going to have
cari
to
info.
rely on Famous
Di
with
A
a good
side,
fast lane, with some good timing of NC
Jadi
Slash's
ada
fault line to
dropnya.
off-put another angle.
Something.
Oh, what a
Fokus.
catch!
Oh,
Doesn't squander it.
Famous
Overdrive here from Famous doesn't
mengejar
manage to find one, but
4 second.
Jing takes down
Akan
Shiro,
ditutup
the showstopper
oleh PRX.
at the ready. Famous the tower, sends it to the side. Nothing gonna be found there, but lockdown to create some more shallow angles. Jing trying to counter swing out, eventually finds it. It's all down to NC
Oke,
Slasher.
akhirnya
he cannot
ditutup
make
oleh
it happen.
PRX guys.
Padman is there, finds the
Dengan
finisher,
skor 13-8.
and the track will continue one by one. PRX run it back here in this lower bracket. And as if fated from the beginning, it is going to be PRX versus DRX to decide it all for that final slot.
Yeah, are we going to have another team from the Korea side of things going back to an international side affair, or are we going to have PRX who have been on a downward journey from last year? Performances going down, kick off out too early, let's just put it that way. Here, a bit of a rocky group stage, but now, little by little, track by track, placing the railings in front of them. They will have one more best of 3 to contend with to try and get into Masters Toronto, though for right now, it is a huge amount of commiserations for Boom Esports.
Absolutely, a big round of applause here to this squad coming through in stage 1 and pulling off wins that we never could have anticipated in fashion with which that we could not have expected. And this is a team that is certainly going to be hungry, going to be looking to run it back and have even more impact in stage 2. But for now, it is PRX here in the spotlight playing against DRX next weekend to see if they're going to be able to get themselves that final position. Given the form that they're in right now, given the impact that we are seeing from these players, they absolutely could get it done.
Yeah, and don't forget as well, the teams that are up in the top part, Gen G, RRQ, who's going to get to the grand final?
We'll have to wait and see. We'll get ready to send it down to Bella and hear from one of our winning players. That does it for myself and Komodo. It's been a pleasure, my good friend. We'll send it down to the stage now to get back to shoveling that coal.
Last ticket untuk ke Toronto ya.
I guess so.
I guess so?
I guess so.
Good enough. Alright. Jing. Yeah, I just wanted to get that from you next time. Oh, you look disappointed. Alright. Jing, hello. Thank you. Alright, please join me here. PRX의 찡 선수 인터뷰 만나보겠습니다. 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 어제 이어 2연속 복수전에 성공한 PRX입니다. 지금 오늘 경기 승리로 4연승 중인데 붐을 상대로 복수전 성공한 소감부터 한번 물어보도록 하겠습니다. Another revenge successfully done by PRX. It's now 4 wins in a row for you guys. How was that? How was taking that revenge against Boom today?
I mean, definitely feels great because it's always good to win the opponent that you lost to because you know that you improve.
Good. 뭐 이기는 거야 항상 좋고요. 복수전이라서 특히 더 기분이 좋다고 만족스럽다고 이야기를 했습니다. 뭐 찡 선수야 워낙 레이즈로 유명하고 아까 만나봤던 썸띵 선수도 제트로 유명한데 이제 제가 궁금했던 게 하나 있었는데 만약에 그 두 타격대를 제외하고 PRX가 다른 맵에서는 좀 그 결정하는 과정에 대해서 한번 찡 선수한테 직접 들어보고 싶어요. You know, you are the Rays of obviously something is the Jet. But with the two duelists aside, how do you guys as a team work on which duelist when it comes to other comps? I wanted to ask you, because you know, you're the best Rays.
I mean, we try many different comps in practice and we just see which one works out the best. So, yeah, I mean, I think now me and something we can play like slightly more agents, so that's better for us because it just gives the team more flexibility. And of course, Forsaken can play everything, so yeah, I mean, we just try every single comp and we just see which one suits us best and we just use it.
연습에서 어느 요원이 이제 잘 좋을까 조합을 많이 연습을 하면서 테스트를 많이 한다고 했고요. 찡 선수도 그렇고 썸띵 선수도 있고 잘하는 타격대가 있지만 또 포세이큰 선수가 워낙 요원풀이 넓기 때문에 선택지가 좀 더 이렇게 유연성이 있어졌다고 이야기를 해줬습니다. 그리고 팬맨 선수가 합류하고 나서 적응도 완벽하게 마쳤고 특히 찡 선수와 좀 많이 개인 방송에서도 돈독한 모습을 보이고 있는데 팬맨 선수가 합류하고 나서 좀 어떤 분위기 변화가 있었는지 한번 물어보고 싶어요. You know, ever since Patman joined, I haven't had a chance to ask you. We see a lot of you two together on stream as well. Can you tell us like the positive energy? Can you tell us about him?
I think Batman is a really like motivated person, and he has really good comms and really good like team player. I think overall he's a really good player, and yeah.
Just good guy.
guys,
Yeah, good guy.
Good guy.
Batman
팬맨
benar-benar
선수가
bawa
되게
warna baru buat
동기부여도
PRX,
많이
guys.
해주고 스스로도 되게
Dia
열심히 하려고
benar-benar ngasih
하고
pembeda.
소통적인 면에서도
saat
항상 팀에게
player-player
좋은 변화를
PRX
가져다
lain
주는
yang
선수고
lainnya udah
아주
jenuh,
좋은 선수
masuk
일원이라고
Batman,
이야기를 해줬습니다. 다음 상대
untuk
토론토
decision ya.
인티켓을 앞을
Karena
맡고 있는 건
Batman bisa
DRX입니다.
bawa perubahan
이제
buat
세 번째
timnya
복수전이
juga ya.
되기도 하는데요. 다음 경기 어떻게 예상하는지 한번 물어보도록 하겠습니다. Only one in your way to Toronto is now DRX. Also, it's like a third revenge for you guys. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I feel like now, like all of us are on fire, and like we are really feeling it. So even if we win or lose, just hopefully us and DRX will have a really good game. So yeah, I hope everyone will enjoy the match.
네, 이제 팀원들도 그렇고 PRX가 다시 그 기세를 타고 있다고 생각하기 때문에 그냥 뭐 부담 갖지 말고 그냥 재밌게 한번 경기 해보겠다고 이야기를 했습니다. 페이퍼렉스의 찡 선수 인터뷰 만나봤습니다. Thank you, 찡. Congratulations again. Best of luck to you for your next match.
Thank you.
All aboard the Sliggy Express. Tickets are still on sale if you believe in PaperX now securing their fourth consecutive win so far here in playoffs.
Yeah, I gotta say, for me, I think this was the biggest hurdle for them. I feel like getting past this established boom
PRX
team
sudah
who
mulai
did manage to best them in that group
bangkit,
stage
PRX
will
sudah
give
mulai
them just
bangkit,
that
guys.
confidence they need, but they have
Di
one more hurdle
keterpurukan
left
group
in the
stage
shape
dan
of
tahun
DRX,
kemarin.
but I have to say, a much more improved performance from PRX
Udah mulai
today.
improve.
Yeah, absolutely. They look fantastic. Look, I think here on the
Dua match
fracture, they had a lot of
group stage kemarin
opportunities.
dan
It didn't feel like they were getting
dari
disrupted
kemarin
as
ya.
much by Boom as T1 did. Didn't feel like Boom had as clean of a game plan. And PRX doing it by committee this time. You had a good performance from everyone,
Yeah.
something included,
Comeback
great
stronger
performance
buat
on the
Boom
Brimstone.
Esport.
You even got a little bit of his flair. I love the round where he smokes himself off in drop and then pushes straight through it. There are little tricks and
Apakah
aggressions that you
Boom
can do
belum
on the Brimstone where he could actually
melaju
add
ke
a little bit of his
Maxers,
own kind of
tapi
game
Boom
into
udah-
that agent, and I'd love to see
Buat
some
aku
more of
Boom
that.
udah bagus sih
Yeah, that's a
performnya waktu
fantastic
mereka
point.
di
I think switching
grup
roles, you learn
babak
more about other
group
roles,
stage ya,
even
mereka
in other
benar-benar
genres of games.
tidak
Playing
terkalahkan
multiple
Bumi
roles, so
seperti
you'll
group
only get
stage
better.
walaupun
Well, PaperX,
di playoffnya
like you guys said, I don't know what to say at this point.
turunnya
This is a
mungkin
complete
mereka
turnaround from yesterday.
masih
But
belum
what is missing from
konsisten.
Boom today?
I
Jadi,
think it's
With
still
PaperX
perlu
just too solid.
banyak-
I think it's two-pronged, right? I
banyak
did think they
latihan
crumbled a
aja,
little bit
Boom.
against Genji. I actually thought Boom looked better today, and I think this is more about the strength of PRX. In that T1 PRX game, I felt like it was a T1 loss. I felt like T1 sort of
Yeah.
crumbled, and that's more why I led towards predicting Boom today, but I felt like PRX really, really earned their win today. I think for this last map in particular, that 11 post plants really speaks volumes. I don't think Boom were able to shut them down at all on their attack like T1 were able to, and that means PRX are improving, they're fixing things, and that gives me a lot of confidence to continue through this lower bracket.
Yeah, for Boom, like, I feel like the first map was the problem of not dealing with pressure, players not turning up to the game.
Dari
I actually
segi
felt like
skill
this fracture
sih bisa
game was a bit
dibilang
more of
merata ya
game
dari
plan
dua
wasn't
tim.
really great for me.
Nggak
I
ada
think
yang
that
jomplang
T1
banget. Kayak
really had a
kemarin
good
waktu
approach
lawan
against
T1.
PRX. They understood that PRX wanted to contact burst a
Lawan
lot.
T1
They
kemarin
disrupted them well.
tuh
They
killnya ada yang
saw map
jomplang
control
banget.
and info quite
Ya,
often.
tapi ini
There were
enggak
plenty of
sih.
rounds in that game for me where Boom I would see them, you know, on the defense playing against, you know, Bray's old Breach ult, and they are running a setup I wouldn't really like to see from them. I didn't feel like they were active enough on their defense against PRX's attack, and I think unfortunately they bore the brunt of that. So although they did pretty well for themselves, a bit better of a performance this time from Boom, they just weren't up to the task against the PRX, who, to be fair, when you get 13-2'd, you don't have to show very much of what your defense looks like. So there wasn't much to read into there.
Very true.
I'm curious, actually, do you think this is a comp, these are gameplay that they should continue with going in through playoffs?
Yeah, I think for PRX,
Yes.
I think they very much can. Like I say, I don't think the comp was the problem at all against that T1 game. They showed it today that they can make this work. You know, there's something on the Brimstone had a lot of questions, and I think he answered those himself today.
Yeah.
But even then, it's a simple agent. We talk about this all the time. You can put your fraggers on it. We saw Jemkin do it before. You know, I think this is a very natural fit for how they want to play this map, and it is a map that they are good at. You know, they've been historically good at that. We talk about that all the time. I don't think they need to rush to make changes. I think they're finally finding their groove a little bit more style.
Yeah, finally about time. Now, Pilsky, you have often defended Jing when there are so many people who are like, Jing is over.
Yeah, you guys are lost.
yeah.
Like, I actually don't understand. I know that, like, especially kickoff, or when you did get a little bit of a fall off for PRX, a lot of people were down on Jing, but Jing has been phenomenal. He's been the best player on PRX throughout stage 1. He's been great on the controller, but on the flip side of that, you know, there are a lot of fans of PRX that say, why have we not been putting Jing on Raze this whole time? And I think now you're seeing why you should put Jing on Raze on Jing, freeing on the Teo, all that stuff. Yeah, this is an agent that really suits his style, and you know, plenty of maps where you can play Raze, you can play double duels. So look, it's going great for PRX right now, and I think Jing is, especially when he's in his flow state, like the mechanics on this guy are absolutely unreasonable. It feels like no one can win a duel against him.
Now, I do want to say something about Boom. They had a completely flawless run up until playoffs, lost against Genji, got some lowers. Unfortunately, this happened, but I think there's a lot of promise for this team. For a runner-up Ascension team to be performing the way they did against the group they were in, I think this is going to be really exciting coming into stage 2.
Like, I would say there's still a lot of hope, because we look at what happened to them in kickoff, right? Didn't go well in kickoff, and then they used their time between kickoff and stage 1 very well. They looked redefined coming back. I feel like they were much more solid in their approach, and I think they can do the same thing between split 1 and split 2. I think this is a team that benefits from time. So I think we can expect them to continue to improve in stage 2. The biggest thing for Boom is they have to learn how to manage that pressure. I think when things really get to the crunch time, that's when they fall apart. So some mental work, I think, will go a long way with this team.
Yeah, 100%. It's mental and composure with Boom, but it's hard because in the group stage they're beating a lot of opponents that have other extenuating circumstances. So they are asterisks on some of those wins. That gets them a lot of championship points nonetheless, which they will need. They need to make sure they can try to stay here in Pacific, but if the pressure's on, we get to stage 2 and they need to guarantee themselves a spot in playoffs or try to avoid getting relegated. They need to be able to step up to that task when we get into stage 2. They cannot crumble under the pressure like they did here in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for stage 2 already, but you know, playoff is far from over. And another thing that's almost coming to an end is our build diff. I actually don't know what the score is going to be. I am feeling...
I think you've won
I think you've won today. I mean, you had Jing, who went crazy.
Jing and Mako.
Mako was another excellent choice there. Even NC Slasher actually did fine. I think this was all for you today, Vic.
I don't know. I think it's close. I think one thing I will say is that all of our rosters are pretty damn solid.
Mika's roster, mine.
Yeah, exactly. I think Mika and Pilsky actually...
Yeah,
I think I'm way out of this today. I think I'm last pretty firmly today.
Hyunmin was pretty decent.
Yeah,
Hyunmin did well.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to win. I would guess Victoria. Indeed, she's won again. I was pretty close, but well done, Vic. You're just too good.
Yeah.
I think Jing on Lotus has literally won you. Putting Jing on Duelist has actually won you
every
today.
single time. Yeah. Like you, I'm a believer.
We gotta take notes.
Like you, I'm a believer in this. Put him on the Duelist. He's great on the Jomin, but it is what it is. And of course, winner of this is going to be getting an Acer Predator laptop. I'm really excited. I think we have like 2 more days to play this.
You've won. I think you've won.
Very far in the lead.
I think you would have to throw to close, what is that, a 23-point gap between me and you, Vic. You've 100% already won.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick your comp next week. So
That's crazy.
I keep it
most you
under
can do
lock
is
and
tie.
key. There is no
Okay,
way
minggu
you will
depan
be
ya,
able to
guys.
pick my comp. Like, it is a trade
Buat
secret.
boom.
You will
Really?
never breach this vault.
Terus
Well, we
jadinya.
always pick the same thing. But anyway, it's
Buat,
been fun playing that, and we still have 2 more days left. And
PRX
never give up
lawan
hope,
DRX.
okay?
Yeah.
Dan
Just like these teams here, you never
Genji
give
lawan
up hope.
RRQ.
Now, we do have the schedule for next week. And here's our bracket
Nah, ini
as
dia.
well. All right, is this how you think things would have panned out? We're going to get PaperX, DRX again. We're going to get Genji and RRQ.
We should have expected it. These two teams are always playing each other. I mean, it's kind of crazy. So I think we kind of should have expected PRX, DRX going into this. That was always a fantastic matchup, though. 4 teams left, 2 Korean, 2 Southeast Asian, and 1 more spot left on the line.
Yeah, I think Genji versus RRQ
Sampai
for a spot in the grand final there.
finals.
RRQ, they want to push it further than just an international
Kayaknya akan di hari
qualification.
yang
They
sama
want to really
nih, guys.
stamp the
Baru
point home
besoknya
and be able to try to
baru
win Pacific here.
baru
I think
final.
Genji also have a point to prove about winning championships, winning titles with this core. They will definitely want to be getting a spot in that grand final. But I would be lying if I was going to say everyone is anticipating who that 3rd spot in Toronto is going to. Yeah.
Absolutely. This is actually insane looking at next week's schedule. It's like 2 long-time Pacific couples facing off one more time. Genji, RRQ.
Genji, RRQ. Oh my god.
It's crazy.
RRQ can't lose it again.
I know what I'm
They can't lose it
predicting.
again.
I know what I'm predicting. The talent curse has proved to be correct every single time. RRQ are done for. They're done. They can, yeah, they're done actually. Because even if they go through the lowest, they're going to have to play Genji again in the grand final. They're done. They can't win.
PRX dan DRX
Alright,
akan
Big.
memperebutkan
I'm going to continue my predictions the way they are. But it's been absolutely fun going through this playoff weekends with you guys. And it's always sad to send teams home. It's not too far away. We're still in Pacific. But yeah, we are going to go home soon.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we've just been, we're going to hang for a minute.
I'm surprised you haven't been gloating about winning this Build Diff competition.
Some people have
hate
sportsmanship.
you. Okay, I mean, some people have sportsmanship. Can I get a fist bump for that one? Nice.
Nope.
Oh my god, that's cold from you.
I'm sorry.
Someone say that.
I'm sorry. Coaches,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry we're poking fun at it. It was amusing.
She has been gloating. It's just all been behind the scenes. You're too nice on the camera, on the stage.
What are you talking about? You're making things up.
Yeah. There's been a lot of gloating.
All right.
For sure.
Do you guys want to do some early predictions for grand finalists?
I think now PaperX are over this hump. I think they run the whole thing. I think they have.
You're on the train.
Yeah, I mean, I was on it. I just felt like I wasn't as convinced by the performance against T1, but now they've kind of got past that. I think they show a lot more promise, and I think PRX are in the final.
Oh, against who? Gotta pick the other one.
RRQ.
Ooh.
I'm a believer.
Wow.
Do you think? How about you?
Genji win it all.
You think Genji's
that's
gonna
so
win it all?
boring.
Genji win it all! They got a free win against RRQ in the upper bracket. Trust me. Pilski certified guarantee right here. 100%. The curse continues. The talent curse is real. The Genji RRQ curse is real.
Okay, I think it's a pretty base take, but I'm sure a lot of us would not be upset to see something a little bit different in Pacific, and it is still within the realm of possibility to see 2 SCA teams in the grand finals instead with RRQ and PaperX. But who knows? Pilski is right most of the time.
What? Look at my predictions. I'm barely scraping 50%.
He's on fraud watch.
I'm a established fraud at this point. We're past fraud watch.
That's right. Take your picture with the frauds, guys. You don't know when they're gonna disappear.
Big moments.
Screenshot this. All right. With that, we are gonna go off and eat some chicken or something, Korean food. And guys, we will see you next week for more VCT Pacific action. I'm Victoria Pilski, big time. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night.
Oke guys, cukup keseruan dari
Gunman is moving forward, gets himself up on belt, spotting one, dropping, hitting the floor, and push under the corner, buy more time. The swing out, Gunman finding the first, and the shots. DRX looking very well prepared here for Talon's pick of Icebox. Getting the read that it was going to be Premi rotating through that defender spawn as well.
ketinggalan watch party minggu depan.
Finding one, Baco. Just, hip fire action, looking to steady it. Bring, just walking right into it.
Next live stream selanjutnya.
repositioning, shifts over, gets over towards